with this shit here. Dude, what the fuck is that?
I thought you expected it. I've had that happen so many times before I go live. Go to adjust one thing, and it's like they should let you like confirm and save it before you go live.
Yeah.
You're like, nah, son. But you also know that you can change the name of your Twitch stream today, like on Twitch itself. That's what I've been doing lately. Well, yes, but what I mean is if you're actually on your Twitch page, you know, you can go over to edit and just change it there so you don't have to rely on this. You see what I'm saying? Because like Polypop doesn't actually give you these options, or maybe I just don't know where they are. Polypop just says confirm and go live. And
We're doing it.
Yeah, we're just doing it. And so you have to name the stream separately on your Twitch channel itself. Which is more reliable because you don't have to go through all that shit, you know, and it's always accurate. So that's what I've been doing lately. Weirdness.
That's wacky, wild stuff.
Wacky, wavy, inflatable, arm flailing tube man.
Like this.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, welcome to the show. We're just doing a little Kermit the Frog. That's
Little
it, you know?
Kermit
the Frog
here. Oh, I love Kermit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Kermit's
know?
a good guy.
Yeah.
With an abusive girlfriend.
Well, he's been curbing her for so long, dude.
I'm Scott.
I'm Trey.
And I'm Phil.
Yo.
What'd the five fingers say to the face?
Slap. Slap!
That's what they fucking
We
say.
are going to be talking about the slap heard around the world.
Oh,
We
man.
got to.
But
Ooh.
we're also talking about Prisoner.
Yeah.
A movie from
Prisoners.
Prisoners from 2013.
That's right.
Um,
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve film.
Uh-huh.
In my opinion, his best movie.
ooh,
Yeah.
we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we got things to say. I got some notes.
Yeah, notes.
Ooh. Yeah.
I got a lot of notes.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to go that way,
Right.
and it went that way.
It went that way.
Yeah.
So what have we been doing this week, guys? What you been doing?
Me? I've been working my ass off. Man, look, I've been trying to play Horizon. I want to finish it, right?
Mhm.
I want to go ahead and get it done. But Horizon suffers from this little bit of story lock. Like when you get to a point where you finish like a main story quest, right? You go to turn it in at your base. You can expect at least 30, 45 minutes of dialogue. You know, very interesting dialogue, very
absolutely.
well acted, very well written. So
Absolutely.
you want to hang on to every word.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of it.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot, and it's very, very pretty. Everything's gorgeous. The music is super serene. You know, very atmospheric, and it draws you in to such a point that it'll lull you straight to sleep if it's not like the middle of a day. And usually when I play, it's after work, after dinner,
Oh, yeah.
after
That's
spending
a little
bit
too
of time.
relaxing,
It's like
isn't it?
2:00 in the morning. And I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And so instead, I've been cracking out on Tentacular.
Oh,
there you go.
dude.
That's my jam.
I've been
Nice.
watching you play that.
Boy.
That shit's weird.
I
That shit's-
love it so much. Devolver just doesn't miss, man.
Was it Padushka?
Padushka. Yeah. And so Tentacular is a really it's a puzzle builder in VR.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so
you
like
stack
you have,
stuff.
pretty much you got your two tentacles, and they are insanely accurate. You know, like they'll have you manipulating the smallest items. You know, on both of your tentacles, you have one side of them with all of your suction cups, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
and so you pull the triggers, and you can actually just affix them to whatever.
That's how that
Like
works.
humans,
Okay, so you
exactly.
have to pull the trigger.
You
to
have to
suck.
pull the triggers
Okay.
to suck on them. Exactly.
Okay.
We're gonna let that one slide. We're just gonna let it go.
Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, we're gonna keep rolling
Move
on that
past
one.
it.
And so, but you know, your tentacles are thicker towards the base, and they get like thinner towards the ends. And so, if you grab a heavier object with the end of a tentacle, it's gonna kind of wave around, right? So it's harder to control it. If you
Yeah.
grab with the thicker part of the tentacles,
Yeah.
then you have more control. So when
I
it
saw
comes
you
to,
having some shit that was.
Oh
you had
yeah,
to,
it was like super heavy, and all of a sudden your tentacles are all drooping down.
Yeah.
You're trying to pick them up, and so yeah, and they'll have all these weird puzzles, man. Like they have these different like magnets that you can use to connect things together. I've gotten magnets that you can attach one to one structure, right? Put something on top of it, it'll make it spin around.
Yeah.
They have these little like fireworks launchers. They're really like little rockets.
Why
where
are you launching folks into space, man?
Because this dude is basically Elon Musk. His name is Jeffrey Mollusk.
Oh, okay.
And and he's just like, hey man, you're a giant kaiju, and so we could use your powers for. Okay, so what ended up happening on your sister tells you the game starts. It's your 16th birthday.
Oh yeah.
And she's letting you know that you were adopted. She's like, you were adopted, and she's like, I got a surprise. You're adopted, and you're like, no. And she's like, and it's your birthday, and she's like, and also, you're gonna become a citizen of this town.
Yeah.
And so, of course, you go to the mayor. Mayor's just like, okay, well, you're a citizen. Good to have you. Now get to work. And so they make you start. They assign you a job, which is like cleaning up all of this like debris and these shipping containers out of the ocean.
I mean, you're a useful kaiju.
You are. 'Cause you're friendly enough, and that's the thing. If you follow the storyline, then it's like, yeah, you're pretty helpful. But if you follow your own wiles, you can take people's cars and slam them against the ground and destroy them, chunk people off into the distance.
Do you get in trouble for anything?
Nope.
There's no consequences to being a bastard?
Nope. You just get to do
Awesome.
it. So every once in a while, you can just have a fit of rage.
Yeah,
and it's
I've
nice,
seen you
dude.
do it.
Yeah, dude, it's
like,
so
fuck
fun.
this puzzle. Bash, bash, bash,
exactly.
bash.
And so you end up, like, you find these shipping crates or whatever, and they're like, okay, we got to pull this thing out of the wall. You do that, and you end up finding a UFO. Right, so you found a UFO that's been like buried in this mountainside for who knows how long.
Yeah,
and apparently it has some kind of weird technology that if people get within range of the UFO's crystal that's in the heart of the UFO, it all of a sudden goes like DMC. Where all of a sudden they're just like must buy, must consume, all this shit, corporate jargon just starts spewing out of their mouths. And so now you're trying to figure out what that's all about.
Those they live aliens.
Right, exactly. So the mayor's like, okay, this is kind of odd. Let's do some research into it. Old Jeffrey Mollusk over here is like, oh no, we can use this technology to do what I want to do, which is launch people into space. We're going to space, and so so there's a side quest where you work with him and. They're a lot of fun, man, because he's a bastard.
Is this company called like Space Y or something?
No, that'd be really funny. As it stands, it's just all about Mollusk. He doesn't really have a name for it. Yeah, man. But I mean,
Tersla.
Oh, that's funny. That's good. But no, it's like the physics just work so very well. And for a VR game, like. It's crazy just how detailed you can really get with those giant tentacles, man. Like, there was one puzzle where I had to, because there are challenge stages, and this is one that I accidentally stumbled upon, and it took me like maybe 82 minutes to finish it.
God damn, dude.
I didn't know. If you ever seen one that's 1 out of 1, because usually they're chapters, right?
Yeah.
So usually you have like 4 chapters within like one quest, one character's quest lines.
Yeah.
If it says 1 out of 1, it's a challenge stage. And I went into one and it took forever. And so what they wanted me to do is take this restaurant that was sitting there, disassemble the foundation for it was on the ground. The other pieces were strewn all around. And you actually have to put the restaurant on that foundation, the building itself on the foundation, put the tables and the chairs on that motherfucker. And then you have to somehow elevate it, using magnets, using your steel beams and all that kind of stuff. Elevate it and support it so that people can go across this bridge and actually get onto the restaurant, right? And so it's crazy some of the ideas that you've got to get creative in there, man. And so I was like, I had it up there and it's precarious, of course, it's just waving around. I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work. And I realized that there was one little objective that I hadn't finished, and it was a single chair. It was a single tiny little chair that I had to adjust. I had to get around all these humans and try to adjust that one little chair with these giant tentacle suction cup. It's nuts, man. But it's so rewarding and it's so fucking fun.
Have you tried? Because I saw that there was a tentacle size slider.
Right.
Have you tried making it smaller mid level just to get something?
No, I'm already at the smallest level.
Okay.
So and you can only take it up to
those are kind of big.
They're kind of big, right? So it only gets larger from here.
Yeah.
And actually, there's a lock on the slider. So I think probably after you finish the game, you can max the tentacles out. So you'll just have some giant ass tentacles. Because you can grab multiple objects at one time.
Yeah.
So if you line up a whole bunch of like shipping crates, you line up a whole bunch of magnets, if you hit it right on your tentacles, you can just hold all 3 things at one time and move things around. And
so is it the kind of game where your physical hands, like how in Half-Life Alyx when you come up to a wall, it like does that like contour to the surface kind
everything.
of thing? Okay, good.
So sometimes I'll just slam
it all
my
has
hands bounces around.
collision. It all has. Okay,
yes,
good.
you
good.
know, and
Yeah.
so and it has really, really good writing. Surprisingly good writing. You know, there's segments where all of a sudden they'll take you like into either outer space or something will drag you deep under the ocean. You know, and everything gets really, really surreal. But you have these cutscenes where, you know, people are talking and you can just sit there and like flop your tentacles down and kind of lean in and just hang out with them. You know what I'm saying? And it really gives you a sense of place and being this kaiju who just wants to live its life, man. You know? And so, dude,
he's a good boy.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
He's trying to help.
They want to take advantage of you, man. And so, I mean, I highly recommend this game to anybody who plays VR. It's one of it's one of those games that I feel like a lot of people will miss.
Yeah.
They won't play it, you know, and that is folly.
Yeah.
You know, it's so fun, man.
It's unique. If anything else,
and it's just fun. It's just
I like
fun.
the art style too.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's simple, but it's got charm to it.
Right, and then even like, you know, it's one of those games where all the civilians, none of them actually speak. All the spoken dialogue is just gibberish. Yeah, you know, which hence the, you know, padushka, you know, you know, and so it's just really, really charming. And it just goes to show Devolver's.
I'd say that's what stuck out to me the most is the audio in the game. Like it's not just about like their gibberish that sold me. It's also like all the tiny little sound effects, the suction sounds, and the way that like you sound.
Yes, exactly.
Like when you touch it,
and then also
you
just,
know, like,
just the way that like their physics engine works. Like there's situations where they want you to like throw these rockets. You have to throw them like darts, and you have to throw them through like these rings. And I got to a point where I was sitting there, you know, doing like jump shots. I did a fadeaway. I was like, oh, and it worked. I was like, oh, this is hot.
Does it? I wonder if it follows your vision, because there's a lot of VR games that'll do that, where it's like although you're throwing it. It does a little bit of calculation between, you know what I'm saying?
Nope. It's all about just your
oh
release
wow.
point. It's all about how you aim
and you're
it,
throwing with tentacles.
Yeah, exactly.
My
I mean,
God.
you can, dude. I did that a few times. Like, they have some where you have to launch these rockets. You have to actually arm them, and then you throw them up in the air. And I wasn't even looking. I was just like, you know what I'm saying? Launching them off, going to the next one. And, it's just, I mean, everything just works so well. You know, that's usually... Throwing things is always weird in VR, you know, and every development team handles that differently.
Yeah, which like I was talking about, I really like the point of focus style, where like, because I want to say what's it called? Does
Hitman?
That?
Hitman 3.
Well, I was thinking Saints and Sinners.
Okay,
because it does that too.
Yeah,
because you can pick up a katana and throw it into a wall. And if you're trying to throw accurately, like you're not going to get it. But if you just look at the spot you want, then it'll go right fucking there.
No, this is more like you need to throw it pretty accurately.
That's crazy.
But it's also kind of forgiving. Ish.
It's got a good balance of it.
Yeah. But they definitely want you to try for it.
Yeah.
You know? And so it is, man.
So it's tentacular?
It is tentacular. And every time after you actually like solve a puzzle, it comes out with that sound bite. It's like, tentacular.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, tentacular, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's so good.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so, watch playing a lot of that. Check out the stream. I'm doing a full playthrough on Power of Grayscale. So hit that shit up. And then I watched, outside of watching the movie, I watched The Bubble.
Oh, cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
That's definitely worth your time.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Where'd you watch it on?
Netflix.
On Netflix. Yeah.
It's on Netflix? Fuck yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing tonight, guys.
Absolutely. I definitely highly recommend it.
Hell, we can make that next week's movie if you want.
We can talk about that.
We can talk about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, what about you, Scoot?
Man, a lot actually. I'm trying to piece together exactly what order I want to go through this. Well, I started playing Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty good.
Jelly, man.
I mean, like, there's really, I don't really have much to say. It's not open world.
Really?
Yeah, no, I didn't
is
think
it kind
so.
of like what they did with Arceus?
Huh?
It's kind of like what they did with Arceus.
I wouldn't know. I haven't played
didn't play.
Arceus.
No, it's more like a 3D world, right? Super Mario 3D world.
Kind
of. Level based.
Yeah, it's very level based.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you have an overworld.
Yeah, but it's the same way they've been doing
this...
Overworld forever, though.
Yeah,
right.
You know, you go to a place and then you go into the level and then the levels. The levels are pretty linear, but I mean, you do have the free roam. It's basically like the
Mario
Kirby
Odyssey?
64.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kirby 64 with different camera
What is that?
angles.
Crystal shards?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a Kirby game, so it's fun.
Has
Yeah,
another
that's-
Kirby game done the thing that Crystal Shards did where you could hybrid powers? remember that?
I do remember that. I
Yeah.
remember that. I don't think so.
I don't
Not
think
that
so
I know
either. I
of.
think that's the
Yeah.
only one that did that.
I think it's the
yeah.
only one that did it.
And that game's awesome.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Yeah.
Um,
But how does the control feel in 3D? Like, do you still feel like you're moving?
yeah, I mean, it feels.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Okay.
I mean, it's a well-made game. I do think people are going to be a little disappointed because I don't think it innovates as much as people thought it was going to. I
Oh,
mean, literally, I have nothing else to say except it's a fucking Kirby game.
Okay, well,
Like that's
yeah.
it, you know. And
Yeah, but a
if
you're
good
looking
Kirby
for
game.
a
is-
good Kirby
yeah,
game
that's-
is
that's
an
perfect.
enjoyable time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's
And
a
then
good.
how about
comfy-
mouthful mode? You like that?
Mouthful? I
mode?
do like that.
Really?
I do like that, dude. That traffic cone don't fuck around, dude.
Yeah, because
So
you can
wait,
like
like-
break the ground with it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
how many objects can you?
So far, I've seen there's this little circle thing that's like a wind thing, so you can push out like big gusts of air and
Okay.
like
Like a fan?
kind of.
Okay.
And then there's the car. There's the traffic cone. There you can mouthful a soda machine and
What?
spit out fucking soda cans.
That's kind of rude.
Yeah, I mean, rude.
He's Kirby
hurt.
though.
I'm about to say,
Yeah,
when has Kirby
Kirby's
ever
cruel.
been polite?
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's an omniscient amoeba creature. You know, he doesn't have empathy just because
Right?
he looks.
just wins.
Nah,
yeah,
man.
just
He's-
because he looks cute doesn't mean he won't eat your ass. So, like,
He's high on candy over
That's
there.
right.
Okay.
all he eats
Bubblegum
is
and
cake.
taffy.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, rinse me off a couple of those bunnies for the
Um,
road.
but yeah, I mean, other than that, haven't been really watching a lot of anime. My
I'm
Dress
surprised.
Up Darling wrapped up this past week. It's pretty
Oh, I think I
satisfying
saw
ending.
something that they're doing a game of My Dress Up Darling or
Really?
something. There was another property that they're
I know they
things
announced
doing off
season
of it.
two.
I don't know what
Yeah.
it is though.
I
Yeah.
know they announced season 2.
I don't think it was season 2. I think there
Yeah.
was something else about it. Like there was some other My Dress Up Darling, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw an
Tie-in
article
thing.
about it exactly,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly
I don't remember what it
I figured
was,
that
though.
you would know.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so I
I haven't
figured that
heard
I didn't
anything
have to
about
know.
it.
Yeah.
I haven't. That look, I still think that show is really good,
Mhm.
but it kind of dips a little bit towards the middle when it tries to get into some harem territory, and it's just like, this is not what I came to the show for.
Mm.
But it corrects by the end. Like
Mhm.
the last episode is very satisfying.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least the last scene, because it's like I mean,
Does it actually feel like a complete story in that?
at
I mean,
that point, yeah, I
it
mean,
at least wraps up what it's doing.
yeah,
You know it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least I mean, it's a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
the win state is
Awkwardness.
Yeah,
Oh.
well that and no, that's gamers,
Oh, okay.
which I've actually been rewatching as well. It's
Yeah.
fucking great. Love that show. A goody best girl. Anyway, yeah. But other than that, man,
Yeah.
that's really been it.
That's it.
There was one more. Raised by Wolves.
Oh yeah,
started that.
totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Mhm.
Check it out. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fucking weird.
It looked weird even just from the little previews I've seen.
I mean, a
Mhm.
lot of the themes that they are trying to go for are kind of awkward to
Mm,
some degree and
Mm.
very, like, it seems like they're trying to make these big sweeping statements, but, like, that they feel are really meaningful, but they're doing it in such broad terms that it kind of comes off really awkward.
Hmm.
But it's visually
yeah.
it's worth it just watching it for, like, the unique visuals alone.
What
Yeah.
studio is this?
Yeah.
I don't remember what the studio. It's on HBO Max.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's not an
it's
anime.
that-
It's
Okay.
It's
It's that
like
Ridley
a,
Scott show.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Ridley Scott. Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
that
Okay.
the thing that Moth was talking about.
You know,
Right.
the pod
Gotcha.
babies or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
Pod
that's
babies.
fucking weird.
Pod babies raised by androids.
Yeah.
You know,
No. Just
mean-
no.
shit gets wild.
yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, what about you, Phil?
Been playing New Game Plus on Elden Ring.
What's the big difference?
It's harder.
Is it
That's about it.
like significantly harder?
No.
Or
I mean,
okay.
I'm over leveled.
right.
Yeah, so I'm running through it. But
Yeah.
but I mean, you notice that stuff does more damage specifically and has more health, but it's
Do they move bosses around or?
No.
Everything's in the same place.
And when you start New Game Plus, you already have your map unlocked. You just don't have any of the Sites of Grace.
Right.
So you have to go find those again. But other than that, like I still have all the map there. You know, there's I'm actually gonna try to get the platinum on this one, and
might as well.
I'm only 5 trophies away, because there's a weapon that I couldn't get in the first playthrough, because once you get to a certain part in the game, it locks you out of being able to get it, right? So I was like, okay, well, I'll get that in New Game Plus, but I got all the rest of the legendary weapons except for the one. And then there's one boss that I couldn't fight because I fucked up the quest line. So, and the thing is, like, the first time I was playing through this game, I was trying not to look stuff up unless I was absolutely stuck, you know? But now that I'm on the second one, I'm looking at, like, as soon as I beat the game, I was like, fuck it, what did I miss? What did I, you know? And so weapon, a boss, there are 2 endings that I need to get, because there's only 3 endings that have trophies. Even though there are 5 endings.
How do you get the different endings? Like, what's the criteria for another ending?
One of them is a specific quest line. The other 2, as far as the 3 trophied one of them is a specific quest line with Ronnie the Witch, and then the other 2 are a choice that you have to make later in the game. So it's either option A or option B.
Right.
But option B actually takes you finding a specific item. You know, that I think there's like a short quest line to do it, but there's just this very specific item you have to have, and I'm not trying to get So one of them's just a B choice, and then the other one is a whole different quest line to get to the end. But there are 2 other endings.
Right.
Yeah, and one of them includes that. Have you seen the Dung Eater? Have you seen that guy? Oh,
Is that why you have all the gold tinged excrement?
That's part of it. Yeah,
that's part of excrement.
There's a lot of poop.
There's a lot of poop.
Yeah, actually, there's this part where you're going through the sewers, and they have these big slugs, and they totally made them all brown and slimy, and they just look like poops. They just look like big poops crawling all over the place.
You're going to fight the Golgothan?
Yeah, really. The shit, man. But yeah, I got to get those. I'm thinking about just starting another character to get one of the other endings, because it would be easier than trying to play through New Game Plus 2.
Okay.
You know? Plus, at this point, since I know what I'm doing, because I said I'm going to go fight all the bosses.
I was about to say, how many have you actually fought?
What I meant was all the ones that give you a trophy.
Heard that. All right.
I don't know that I
say, it's like 120 bosses.
There's a shit ton, dude. There's a fucking shit ton.
Yeah.
And people keep finding new bosses. That's the crazy part. Yeah. It's fucked up in this game, though, because there are some significant things that if you just, like, I don't know, don't go over one hill or something, that you would never see.
Right.
And like there's this elder dragon god in Caelid.
Okay.
And she's just fucking massive, you know?
Right.
But because I never went over this one hill, I never saw her. Wow. You know? And then at the end of the game, I'm looking for dragon hearts, trying to figure that shit out. And they're like, oh, go over here.
Did you see that whole thing with, what's the item that you get to fight Margit?
Oh, the shackle.
Yeah, Margit shackle. Did you see that can actually, like, reveal hidden pathways? Like,
what?
Yeah, it'll actually show you where, like, hidden walls are. If you use the shackle near hidden walls, then it'll, like, make the hidden wall invisible. The wall will be invisible, so you can see the hidden path. Yeah.
Whoa.
Like, there's so much weird shit, so it has more of a functionality than just using it against Margit.
Man, there's a bunch of invisible walkways in this game.
I've heard about that too.
There's one of them that's complete bullshit. Like, it's just in this area that you know, you'd look down, like it's like a kind of a, I don't know, castle rampart kind of style thing. But it's like, so you're looking down off this edge, and you can see that there's items over here, but there's nothing else. There's nothing going on. And unless there's some nice fellow that's dropped down and then left a message on the pathway, you would never fucking see it at all. And the only way to get to it is to drop down off of this, you know, inconspicuous edge into nothingness and hope that you land on the path.
Dude.
And then hope that you align yourself in the right direction to get down the path. Like,
This is like NES gameplay logic.
Dude, yeah. It's a whole bunch of
like
Castlevania 2. It's a whole bunch of that.
Exactly,
dude.
Dude. Yeah.
Well, I hope there's a floor down there.
For real. Oh, yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Like, just shoot arrows at everything and hope that you find something that
I don't
sticks
have an answer.
against an invisible floor? Or
I mean, you
throw
look it
a
up
rock,
online is what you do.
Right.
You look that shit up. I don't know how people have found out some of the things. And there's a couple of the quest lines in this game where, I mean, I'd get to a hard wall in a quest line and go, okay, so I've done exactly what they told me to do, and that didn't produce any results. What am I doing wrong? And it turns out that I'm supposed to go talk to this guy that's completely not mentioned twice before I can do the next step in the quest line or some dumb shit like that. And they're like, how the fuck do you even...
Well, I mean, you are
know?
supposed to exhaust all dialogue options whenever you talk to
Yeah,
someone,
but it'll be
right?
like somebody that isn't even involved.
Right.
You know? What's this guy got to do with it? You know? But I'm getting to it. I've been doing that, and then I played some more of the Ascension, the Returnal Ascension stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Some more of the tower.
Okay.
How
far did you make it?
To the third boss,
Okay.
I guess. Yeah.
We need to play some more Returnal, man.
We do.
I wanted to play the other night. I'm just like, dude, I can't figure out what I want to play. And Returnal just sounds hype because we were doing really well until you started chatting with Nathan. And then my boy got distracted. Next thing you know, he's just dead. And I'm just like, I got to run through all these lasers. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, that's it.
Damn.
Like 2.5 hours later.
Nephan was getting wild.
I know.
we were having fun.
I'm over here like, Philip, focus. He's like, oh, I'm dead. I'm like, fuck. You mean we?
We
are dead.
We are both dead now. That's it. I
Great.
fucking dropped the ball is what happened.
That shit was so funny, man.
Yeah.
It was really good.
News jutsu.
News jutsu.
Always starting with the bad news.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Hey, guess what I didn't do? Boop, boop, boop. Let's see. Hold
Technical difficulties, guys.
on. You are the technical difficulties.
Got an ID10T error right here.
Boom. Okay.
Oh.
Got it.
Yeah.
Start with the bad news.
Well, he didn't die.
No, he didn't
Right.
die.
That's positive, but he has retired.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
retired. No more Bruce Willis.
What's it called? Aphasia?
Aphasia.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
he's
Bruce
been-
Willis is having a really bad memory issue, and he's not able to speak correctly.
Right. Aphasia affects your ability to communicate.
Yeah.
And so he's not able to speak consistently enough, so he can't do movies or films or shows.
Yeah.
You know,
He-
kind of like Michael J. Fox, man. It's just sad to see those debilitating afflictions come about where the person's still there. You know what I'm saying? Like they're
Oh,
still
yeah.
very aware of this condition. There's just nothing they can do about it. you
Right.
know? And so it's very saddening.
Yeah, it's rough. He's done a couple of quick movies that I've heard a number of people, hating on because they're like, "Oh, these are just piece of shit movies,"
Right.
you know. But it really seems like he was just trying to get a couple of things out of the way that he could, make some money so that he can, live off of.
Yeah,
You know.
retired.
I'm sure he's getting royalties off all the shit.
Oh,
he's done.
yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah, and he's got it.
And he's
you know?
good, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is ending his career though, and that fucking sucks, man. We all love Bruce Willis.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So it is really, really sad. But then again, there's little like B movies and bit parts. That's how Nick Cage got out of debt. Like seriously.
Nick Cage is free from his debt now.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you just have to. Who else did that? Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
These guys
yeah.
they just hit the bricks.
Wow.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, well here are these
Time to go to work.
smaller roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, just time to get to work. And
That makes me wonder if Anthony Hopkins was also in debt because he did a bunch of movies for a while there where you're going like, what the fuck?
No,
are you doing?
I
Anthony
think-
Hopkins just said yes to everything.
There's
Yeah.
that,
But
I
he's
think
always
people
awesome,
also.
though,
I think
so.
it's once again that Morgan Freeman
Yeah.
stigma, where it's like, okay, our movie kind of sucks. Anthony, can you come in here and
Can
just
you come in here?
Can you
Can you
save our
glass the
movie?
joint up a little bit?
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I'll throw some Hopkins on
I'll
it.
throw some
right.
Hopkins
You
on
know,
it.
and
That's
all of a
right.
sudden, I mean, we're up, 87% on
Yep.
Rotten Tomatoes. We're 76.
Just because he stood there and made that weird look.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
For real, it's like, hey, how are you gonna put makeup on Anthony Hopkins
Yeah.
to make him into an old man? I was like, what the fuck is going on?
But you ever seen, what is it? Is it The Right? Is that it? Where he's the priest?
Yeah. The
Man,
Right's really good.
Have you seen The Right?
Right's
No.
really good.
Wait,
I like
have I
it.
seen the right? I don't think I've
He's
seen the right.
well, okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to ruin this for you.
Okay, go ahead.
But he is a priest that is part of the
exorcism.
Portion of the Catholic Church. Right?
No, I have seen this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's actually got a demon in him.
Uh-huh.
You remember that scene where he slaps the fuck out of that little kid?
Yeah.
Like the kid's just playing outside. He just comes over there, and puts him on the ground and just walks away. And everybody's like,
yeah. That always kind of reminded me of kind of like Devil's Advocate.
Kind of,
Remember that shit?
God, Devil's Advocate,
That's a great
man.
movie.
Ooh, at the end when he's full on just Satan.
Oh yes.
My God.
Yeah.
He starts licking, and
that's a real good scratch.
Yeah, that is. It is. That's a good one. Man.
Right.
So sad days.
Yeah.
Sad days.
You know.
Also.
Yeah, so Crunchyroll has announced that they're halting ad-supported free viewing.
Yeah.
For like starting with this current season that's coming up. So I mean, it's in effect now. Now what they have said is that they're still going to allow like the first 3 episodes of the new series that are coming out. Those will still be supported with ads.
Okay, so stuff that's like in mid-season right now.
Well, it's more like the new crop of shows that are coming out. Like they have a list. Like if this comes from Anime News Networks, where I get all my anime news.
Anime news.
Yeah. But they have a list of the new shows coming out, and I would assume that it would apply to most ongoing stuff as well. But specifically, they're saying these will have, like, you'll get the first 3 episodes you'll be able to watch for free, but if you want to watch past that, you're going to have to get on one of their, payment plans.
Sony.
Yeah. I mean, hey, man, Crunchyroll's been trying to go in this direction for a while, and, now with the
that merger
of Funimation, them being, like, really the biggest legit anime streaming service at this point. I mean,
like, where else you gonna go?
Yeah, why wouldn't they?
And it's worth, well, I mean, that's a different thing, but it's kind of worth it, if you watch enough anime,
then
it's
worth
totally
it. And
worth
if you want to keep on top of the new shit, then it's totally worth it.
Because we're only at what, like $9.99 a month now. It was $7.99 a month before.
There's still $7.99, but they have the premium service, which is $9.99, and then they have like the mega fan or some shit.
What does that do for you?
Every time.
You
get a
waifu pillow?
Yeah. I mean, if only.
You know what it is.
Right.
For real, dude.
Yeah.
I almost did buy a Gojo body pillow.
Yeah.
I really did think about it. I'm like, shit, dude. Where am I going to put this thing?
So
in
just know that moving forward, if you have Crunchyroll, you're probably already paying for it, So I mean, like, this isn't like a huge change, but I mean, for the people that maybe can't afford it, and they're fine with dealing with ads, this does kind of suck.
Yeah.
So my heart goes out to you guys.
More anime news. You got new Ruby
spinoff.
Ice Queendom.
Queendom.
That's a thing.
Yeah, it's being produced by Shaft, one of the best
which is dope.
fucking studios in the game. Akiyuki Shimbo, brah. And like, I mean, to tell you the truth, like, watching like some of these characters in like games and shit.
These characters are amazing.
The characters themselves and the original Ruby show threatened to get good multiple times.
Well, some of those fights are okay.
Dude, some of the fights are rad.
Some of them are really,
and
really
that's
cool.
about the only thing that it really had going for it.
Right. Because everything else seemed kind of soulless.
Yeah.
But
well,
the
it's
truth
almost
of
like
matter.
they didn't know where the fuck they were going with it.
Well, I think it was also like they were kind of experimenting with that animation style, like using 3D, models to actually try to represent an anime and do it in an effective manner. Well, because once again, these characters deserve being represented.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
BB Cross
totally.
Tag. BB Cross Tag really makes me interested in everything that Ruby has to offer.
Absolutely.
But then whenever you go back and try to watch Ruby,
it's
like,
let me go back to playing Cross Tag.
Exactly. I'll watch the still images on the story mode, and that'll be fun.
This will be out, I think, this year. Let me double check on that real quick. But it's going to be relatively soon. And, I mean, there's a trailer up online. Go watch the trailer.
It looks good.
It looks
really, really good.
It looks like it's gonna be hype.
I like this ice Nazi outfit she's got going on.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's Weiss Schnee.
Man.
Weiss Schnee. And so I'm all about Yang, man. Yang's my girl.
Yeah,
really.
You know,
she's
so
gun
she's a
fists.
badass.
Yeah,
She's got
absolutely.
gun fists.
Yeah. Blake Belladonna
Soul.
wrecking shit. Ruby herself wrecking shit. And so, and then a lot of the music
The music's hype.
Yeah, I love the music.
Yeah.
Well, for original Ruby,
For
yes,
original
that's
Ruby,
Casey
yeah.
Lee Williams, and that's something else. But for this show, I think I don't remember the name of the artist who's actually singing a lot of these songs, but it's the same voice actor or voice actress for Ruby in this new.
Really?
American or
That's dope.
Japanese?
For the Japanese.
For the Japanese,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it's the same artist.
Oh,
that's actually
yeah.
singing all the songs is
That
voicing
makes sense.
Ruby.
I mean, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Mhm.
Most seiyus are double as idols. So,
Yeah.
I
Wow,
mean,
yeah.
most seiyus are idols.
Right. Yeah, like
So-
I'm super hyped.
I'm excited. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
If for nothing else, just because it's Shaft, I know it's not gonna hurt my eyes to
Right.
watch.
Yes.
So I mean, that's worth it just right there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, but you said it is more of a side story than a
it's a
retelling
spin-off.
of the.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
it's not like a remaster or like.
I
Hey,
guess
we're
they
gonna
still
try
want
it
people to
again.
go back and watch the original Ruby.
Yeah.
because they worked hard on that.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that wasn't easy to do.
No.
You know, it
No.
just doesn't look that
It
great.
just doesn't look good.
Oh.
It really doesn't look that great. But
Characters suck.
you know, well, the characters rock. But I mean,
No,
just the representation of these characters in a 3D space. It's almost like you remember Reboot.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, like Reboot
Love
was one of those
Reboot.
things where it's like because it was 3D CG, you know, those silicon graphics.
Yeah,
you
that's
wanna
what I'm
like
saying.
it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But,
But
then
then
you
you
start
try to-
watching it, and it's like
try to go
Reboot
back.
kind of
assy.
sucks.
Yeah,
I know.
right. You know,
In my head, Reboot seems amazing, but
Uh-huh.
it's not.
yeah,
No.
it's kind of like that game Rise of the Robots. You remember that old ass fighting game?
Oh shit.
Where they use
yeah.
the silicon
Robots.
graphics, yeah, and just like you
No.
know, it seemed like it should be so cool, but then you see it in motion, it's like, God, this is ass.
Yeah.
You know,
So
That just made me think of War Gods.
that too.
Yeah.
happened then. Happened then. Tao Fang, Fist of the Lotus.
Tao
Happened
Fang was
then.
such a cool idea. You could break people's limbs and shit.
Yeah.
That game sucked.
but high hopes for this one though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
High hopes for this. Check out that trailer, guys.
Yeah.
It'll get you hyped.
Yeah.
Ice Queendom.
Ice Queen.
That's some shit.
Did we put One Piece?
No.
let's-
Hey, there's a One Piece. I didn't get a picture.
Oh, you didn't add it at all?
Wait, no. Oh, it's wait.
I think you have it next.
It's next.
Yeah.
It's next.
Okay. Well, DNF Duel. They're getting another beta.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
DNF Duel's beta is live,
It's
right,
live
now.
right now.
Oh.
Yeah, it
Yes.
happened
Oh, so that's what we're
yesterday.
playing
That's
tonight.
tonight,
then.
big boy.
That's what we're playing
That's
tonight.
what we're playing tonight.
Ooh,
And
they started
they
off
announced
motherfucking duel,
from the
dude.
1st to the 4th, and
Yeah.
oh yeah, we got the fucking Ghost Hunter in there now.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's all the
Yes.
characters from the last one plus
Plus
Ghost Hunter and
I think there's one more.
yeah, I think there's another one too.
Yeah.
I think you're right
What
about
is
that.
his name, like
Absolutely.
Ghost Blade or some
Ghost.
shit.
Yeah, I think
You-
it is the Ghost Blade.
You
I
did
watched-
play that with us, right?
The DNF Duel.
Yeah.
The last beta.
I
yeah.
thought okay, I was
Yeah,
pretty
the
sure
last
we
beta.
played it.
Hell
Yeah.
dude. It comes-
Fucking.
What was
yes,
that dude
that's
who looks
tonight,
like
dude.
fucking Alucard from Helsing with the flippy guns?
Totally,
Who's-
yeah.
who's
Well,
that
there,
guy?
there were two Dantes,
Gunslinger.
remember?
There were two
There
Dantes.
Yeah,
Yes.
there was a sword master,
getting hyped.
and then there's
And
a
a
gunslinger, and the
gunslinger.
gunslinger is just so fucking sick.
Yep.
Yeah, he is.
Vanguard
Dantes.
was
That
what
was my
I was
boy.
loving on Vanguard.
Uh-huh.
And then who
This
else they
boy
got?
was
Okay,
good.
so they got
The
Berserker,
Yeah.
Inquisitor. Inquisitor's gonna be a
was-
problem.
Oh, my Inquisitor.
Yeah, that was the problem.
I
He's
forgot.
like, "Welcome back, baby." We got our grappler, striker, ranger, hitman, dragon knight, of course, Vanguard, and now we'll have our Ghost Blade as well.
Yeah.
I think that
Along
might be
with
the
his
only
persona.
one.
Oh,
you gotta
yeah.
fucking
The
stand.
boy's
Yeah,
got to
man.
stand.
Boy's gotta stand. And so,
Man, JoJo's is on Netflix. I think I'm gonna start watching JoJo's.
Do it.
With Iana.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
awesome.
back.
I mean, she was looking at it and she was like, "This looks cool." I was like, "Yeah, that's JoJo's. That's
Boy,
right.
yeah.
You want to watch
So-
some JoJo's? Okay."
Yeah, I would definitely, man. I'll get down on that. So we also have Crusader,
Yeah.
Dragon
yeah.
Knight, and Hitman.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it's going down.
My God,
cast.
tonight,
Come
DNF
back, yeah, come
Duel.
back
Yes.
later to the
Ooh.
channel.
I'm so
excited.
I didn't know it was right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot too. I thought it was next
Fuck,
weekend,
I did
and then it's
too.
like, wait
Yeah.
a minute, no, it's the 1st through the 4th.
It's the first
It's
of the
a-
month.
wake up, wake up, wake up,
Cash your
wake
checks
up,
and
wake
get
up,
drunk.
get up, get up, get up.
It's the first of the month.
Gotta get mine. Claim the sing with me double nine. Get me started, man.
Oh,
You know?
yeah. That
Oh,
song
yeah.
right there.
And so,
This
yeah,
is awesome news. Oh
that's
my
the-
God.
That's why I was like, get One Piece out of
you
the
better
way.
go ahead and text
I was
Nathan
trying.
right motherfucking now.
Oh, and he got a paddleboard.
Oh, he got a
Oh,
paddleboard.
Yeah, we
he
sat
got him
there.
a punk.
He got him a paddleboard. Yeah, we were sitting there.
He kept saying,
look,
I want
man,
a paddleboard.
Our boy Nathan, man, he calls arcade sticks paddle boards, and he'll be like, I need to get a pad. I'm like, no, it's not a pad, Nathan. A pad is a very specific thing. You got to learn this terminology, or else you're gonna order some shit and be very surprised when it arrives.
A completely different thing.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, he got an arcade stick in.
Nice. What'd he get?
So I think he got like a Kanba.
One of those RAFs or whatever?
Yeah, he didn't get one with the Sanwa parts or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, he really doesn't need that necessarily.
I don't even know that I need that.
You know,
what I'm saying? Like, as long as they're not
do.
assy, then
Right.
it's fine.
Well, I prefer being able to, mod those things. I prefer having those snappy buttons.
That's what I'm saying is that as long as they're interchangeable, just get something.
The
to
one
have
that
a
he
stick,
has, but that's the thing. It's like some people have this weird idea that having an arcade stick makes you a better player.
No.
And it's like that is not the way that it works. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, if you didn't grow up in arcades, if you're not used to that, it's gonna be very difficult.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, but people hear that clack, 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 and they're just like, oh, you have an advantage. And they're like, nah, man, it's just another method of input.
That's it. Right. It's just my preferred method.
Yeah,
that's all
dude.
it is.
I know people who crush with a pad.
Dude, it's
doing
just like motherfuckers
and shit.
I mean, it's like playing Halo, right?
Right.
I know that there were a lot of people, PC gamers, that were playing Halo with mouse and keyboard.
But I will wreck you on a
better
controller.
with a pad with Halo.
Yes.
I'm used to it.
You know, now if it's like Unreal Tournament, something like that, mouse and keyboard, right? You know, Halo was made with a controller in mind.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Works.
Gears of War. That's another one of those games that sure, you can use a mouse and keyboard.
I think it feels worse.
I will say that with certain characters, using a pad is easier. Like stuff that does negative edge.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like playing Arakune is easier.
Using our arcade stick is easy.
That's what I mean. That's
yes.
Yeah.
Like
see, I fucked it up.
Like,
using a paddleboard is easier.
Because you have paddleboard in your head now. You know what I'm saying? What's that paddleboard? He said it so many times with confidence. But you're absolutely right. Like characters that use negative edge, being able to hold on to a button while hitting other buttons, that is way easier.
But I'm better at doing quarter circles with a pad.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you can always assign like hotkeys to your triggers or whatever, things like that. So you're not confined to your.
You got a friend.
Oh no, is it a stink bug?
Stink bug.
Motherfucker. That's not good.
No, it ain't good.
No, it ain't good.
Give us a second. We got to deal with the stink boy.
Yeah, what you got?
Hold on.
Sorry, guys. Press pause real quick.
I'm gonna handle this.
Don't let him watch.
Let him watch.
Because this could go south real quick.
Yeah.
And so.
Can you?
Yeah.
And then we'll eject his ass.
Hold on, make this.
We didn't ask you to come on the show.
Oh, brother. That's a terrible location.
Fuck a stink bug, dude.
That's a terrible spot. There we go. Here you go.
Now I'm gonna burn it.
Oh man, good eyes, man. I didn't even notice.
I was watching. I was just like, I wonder when he's gonna notice that.
I didn't even see it, man. I'm over here just like off in paddleboard land.
Yeah. DNF land right here.
Fuck that.
Oh, dude, that could have gotten really bad really quick. All right. Crisis averted.
Crisis averted. Back to the show.
I had a stink bug that was. I had a stink bug that was on a Coke one time, right?
Oh no!
But it was like stuck to it a little bit, right? But you know when you get a Coke out of the pack, sometimes they'll have like the glue on it.
Yeah.
You know, so I was just holding this Coke, and then I started picking, and I was like, oh, it's got glue on there, and I kept picking, and then it got real funky, and I was like, oh motherfucker! And it was a stink bug that I had already half crushed on my Coke can.
Oh no!
I ruined everything. I have to throw this away now.
I have to throw me away.
Right.
Can I burn my hands off? Fuck. Those things are the worst.
Yeah.
What is that? Function, you know?
Funk.
Funk.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
We'll come back later tonight, guys. We're gonna be jamming on this new band.
Dude, I mean, just one more thing to say.
Yeah.
This is still one of the best looking games I've ever seen in my life. It is so gorgeous. You know, like that. If this is the direction, well, it's not if. This is the direction that Arc System Works is taking anime fighters. We are just in for treat after treat after treat in the future.
100%.
You know, you know, like, I mean, it looks just the Ghost Blade, man. Just looking at that trailer. It's just like, how are y'all doing this?
He looks like he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm excited.
And so that's all I wanted to say, man. Like, get hype.
Get hype.
DNF
Get hype.
Duel. And I'm sure some One Piece fans are getting hyped for this One Piece Odyssey.
Hey,
It looks kind of cool. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not a One Piece fan, so I don't have a whole lot of input on this one. But
Right.
it looks. I know that they got the original.
Voice actors.
No, well,
mangaka?
yeah, they did
Yeah.
get the voice actors, but they got the mangaka to come in and come up with all the monsters that you'd have to fight and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Right.
So it's true to the source material, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I'd imagine
you know?
it would
I wonder
be.
if it's gonna be like a 700-hour plus game.
God,
You
I don't know.
That's the only way to do it justice.
I know those the Musos, the One Piece Musos did really well. Like a lot of people that liked One Piece were really into those.
Well, I mean, you don't
know?
really get very much representation of One Piece in the video gaming space.
You don't.
A lot.
And there are a lot of people who really do laud it as like the best anime of all time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder how much of that is, just because you want to protect your time investment. But there's probably
What a
really
time
just some
investment.
great, because
I
that's a
mean-
serious time investment. But they're probably, with that much of a time investment, you can tell some like really great stories, right? Like,
yeah, I'm about to say. I mean, I haven't been willing to make that time investment myself.
Right.
I really need to just suck it up and at least watch through a few episodes.
and
Yeah,
just see if it
yeah.
grabs you.
See if it grabs me. But because most of my knowledge of One Piece comes from internet videos. I
yeah,
love
me too,
listening
yeah.
to people talk about it, and it
Uh-huh.
sounds like they're doing
It's very silly.
What is it?
It's
Oda?
very silly.
It's
Yeah.
very sad. Oda
What I know
almost
the
like
most
hype
shit.
is everybody has a weird laugh. That's
Yeah.
what I know the most.
And a weird face.
They're like
Yeah.
key or something like
But
that.
it seems like a very imaginative universe, man. That
Yeah.
would, like, I mean, I can fully understand just hearing people talk about it, how you can get really sucked into it.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
So, and
Mhm.
this looks cool.
Yep.
You
This
know,
might be a good gateway for those of us who don't want to really commit
easily.
that much time
Yeah.
into One Piece.
Yeah.
Like, okay, here's
Mhm.
another avenue. Kind of like what they're doing with, the League of Legends franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Mhm.
so maybe you feel like it's too late to get into this MOBA,
Yeah.
but here are other ways to enjoy our universe.
That's
right.
And I think that's smart.
That's
you know,
great.
it's good
Hey,
at this
man,
point.
The more representation and more media for, like,
Especially
Art.
for stuff that has a specific niche to it. you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
I mean, hell, it's a lot like, for instance, JoJo's Fighters.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Oh, you don't want to watch a bunch of JoJo's? Cool. Just play this fighting game, you know?
Yeah.
And
You'll get your story beats. You'll
Yeah.
understand the characters and
Yeah.
what they can do.
Yep.
And once
Mhm.
again, it's like you can expand your player base or
What was the
user
name
base.
of the
Luffy.
Yeah, that's
What?
it. The fighter that was like Shonen Jump.
The last one, most recent one,
Jump
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 Force.
Force?
Jump Force.
Jump
That's
Force.
what it's called.
Yeah,
Yeah,
trash.
Jump Force. Yeah, I
Game's
know
garbage.
that sucks because I thought inherently I was like, oh, this is a good idea.
It
There's
was
so
a great
much
idea.
shonen. Yeah, that
It's
you
a
can
really
work
good
with.
idea, but
Yeah.
look, in most cases, unless its arc system works, anime fighters don't really have a chance. In most cases, you'll get maybe like arena fighters that kind of nail it. CyberConnect
Yeah.
2, they do a good job.
Yeah.
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 Outside of them, usually it's like more of a cash grab.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mhm.
okay, well, here are the characters that you like, and we're gonna put them in these environments that really aren't that fun.
Yeah.
But press
yeah.
buttons, have fun.
But
use your-
that honestly makes me kind of think of Pokken.
yeah.
Because
Well, Pokken Tournament was actually pretty good.
it was a pretty good game,
Mhm.
but it was also one of those where you're like, this is strange,
Right.
And it's so different in its mechanics that I think a lot of regular fighting game fans didn't like it. Where They're
Right.
like, oh, this is too weird.
Well, I think that's the problem. I think the problem is trying to like pigeonhole everything into
a
fighting
fighter.
game.
Right.
FGC, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that means a different
Because
thing
we're
for
elitists.
those of us who,
We're,
yeah, because when
Mhm.
you grow up doing that thing
Yeah.
for so long and it's fast
Yeah.
paced, it's,
then you go, well, Smash ain't a fighter.
Right.
Why are you in my tournament?
exactly.
Why don't you go somewhere else?
You're
Yeah.
over here molesting these children.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it does. It completely changes the landscape, man. And
With Meta Knight.
and things are. I mean, I love Meta Knight. I ain't gonna lie.
Of course you do.
But I do. But I mean, it is one of those things that over time we've kind of had to loosen our grip on,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
now with the esports market taking off
Mhm.
the way that it is. It's just like, okay, what constitutes a fighter?
Right.
Street Fighters,
Right.
whatever it is,
Mhm.
2D fighters or whatever they are.
Yeah.
But these other games, sure.
There's going to be these other things.
Yeah.
Just
Mhm.
because it's one person hitting another person, sure, you're a fighting game.
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
whatever.
I always think it's funny when people call beat 'em ups fighting games.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Because I mean, sure, you're fighting,
Yeah.
but that's not what a fighting game is.
Right.
Right.
I've
Fighting
also
game
heard
is
people
high
call.
speed chess, man.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
what a fighting
Mhm.
game is, and I think
Yeah.
that's one thing that people don't understand. They
Mhm.
think about just they're punching one another. It's like, no, man,
Ooh,
it's
no,
a situation
There's a bunch
where,
of strategy going
especially
on.
when you're playing against somebody that you're used to playing. saying? Because over time, it's just like, okay, I know what I want to do, but he also knows what I want to do, and I know that he knows what I want to do, so I'm going to do something different. But he's kind of expecting that too. So if he does that different thing, then I need to have this backup strategy or plan, and it's just so rapid fire, and a lot of people don't understand that. And that's why when you get somebody who's new to the game, they're going to catch them L's because they're just like, what the fuck? I'm pressing buttons and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but why are you stopping me at every turn? And it's like, well, I'm kind of multiple steps ahead of you, and predicting what you're going to do next. Absolutely, right? And so, and that's why, like, it's hard for people to get into fighters. They're one of the most difficult genres of games out there to really get into. Because you got to catch them L's, boy. Before you're going to get any W's, you're going to lose. And so, man, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Baby, ain't nothing wrong with losing.
Right.
It's an opportunity to get better.
So we know any more about this One Piece?
Nah, man. Nope. It's coming out.
Yeah, it's coming out.
It is One Piece.
It is one. Yeah. He put it all in one big
they just let us know about it.
That's
so we'll have more information in the future.
Yeah, well, worth keeping an eye out.
The One Piece is like a big gold coin, right? Isn't that what's going on?
It's something.
So nobody knows?
You should just let it go. I don't think we know enough about One Piece to really do it justice.
Right.
You're right.
And I don't want to misrepresent it. I'll be honest with you.
Oh.
I mean, because the One Piece community, boy, they're fervent.
Yeah, but I'm honest. I know I don't know.
I don't know shit. So I can answer your questions.
Shit about One
don't
Piece.
ask no questions.
I mean, for real. I mean,
why Preach you gotta have a nice car. He's sweating his ass off too, dude. He's up there wiping the.
God,
that's so good.
I want to know, but I don't.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I probably won't play it.
I don't know.
Depending what it comes out for and how
what's happening at that time.
What's happening at the time.
Yeah.
I'll definitely keep an eye out on it.
And then Breath of the Wild 2 got delayed.
Was anybody surprised?
No, not at all. Not even slightly.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Yeah. Because, I mean, the funniest thing to me, man, is like I think they may have been able to release it this year. They said it was due to COVID that they had to push it back. I think it was due to Elden and it was due to Horizon.
Yep.
Like two games that similar. Well, because they do that same thing. Right. Remember that when Horizon Zero Dawn came out, Breath of the Wild came out a week after, right? And they're both similar styles of game. As much as people hate to make that comparison, they are very similar styles of games. But they were doing things in just very different ways.
Yeah.
Right.
And while, Breath of the Wild just had that charm, Horizon had that blue.
Yeah.
And the lasers had that, you know what I'm saying? Like, from a technological standpoint, Horizon was vastly superior, but Breath of the Wild, from a creativity standpoint, was vastly superior. But now, with Elden and Horizon 2, it's like, you have to do some shit to really set this game apart.
That's right.
And so giving it more time to bake, probably a good call, because I'm sure they played Elden, and I'm sure there's some things they're like, God damn it, we were going to do something like this.
Yeah.
Same thing with Horizon. Like, fuck, man. Like, everybody has a crafting system now.
We did find out a little bit of information about it, which is that they are expanding main Hyrule outward, and then there's also going to be a sky layer that's going on,
the floating island.
What they did in Elden.
Skyward Sword. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Elden's all over the
Elden has
place.
layers. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, layers. It's like I thought that map was it, and it's like.
Have you guys seen those new chips? The layers.
No.
They're layers.
No, I have seen
that
they've puffed up Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its now have a puff version.
Yeah. So so this is kind of similar. It's a puff. Okay. It honestly reminds me of. Do you remember those 3D Doritos?
Yes.
Doritos 3Ds.
Right.
These are kind of like those, except it's like a little puff circle that then has like an S in the middle of it for some reason. But I mean, they're just good.
I mean, it's extra crunch within crunch, right?
Right, crunch within the crunch.
Like what they
and
did
their sour
with,
cream and cheddar.
You've had the tortillas.
Tortillas are good.
Tortillas are amazing, dude. Tortillas. Are they tortillas? Y-A-H, I guess.
Yeah,
tortillas.
Tortillas.
Dude, they're phenomenal, dude. Man, they're stepping up the chip game.
Yeah, dude.
And so
this is now the chip cast.
Yes,
like snacks.
Yeah.
You go snack with us.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's all go to the lobby.
Yeah, so we're going to see it in 2023.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just delayed till next year. I think they're going for that game of the year shit.
Oh,
they know they can't get it with Elden and Horizon, so it's just like, let's just push this back another year.
That's a good point, man.
Yeah, really I didn't even think about that.
Because 2023, there's a lot coming out in 2023, but nothing
Nothing
as
like
powerful,
this.
Yeah.
right?
As
You know, because we still have Forspoken coming out at the end of this year,
Right.
and so unless we get some, God of War Ragnarok.
That's what I was thinking. Is that next year?
That is we don't know.
We still
And
don't know yet.
That
Yeah.
it might slip into next year, and then they'll have their hands full.
Man, I have a feeling that right now Sony Santa Monica is fucking full force ahead, just going, can we bang this shit out this year? Can we bang this shit out this year without burning all of our guys?
Yo,
you know?
what up, boy?
What up,
Nah,
Rainbow?
hey man, you're here now,
dude.
Rainbow.
Yes, right.
Rainbow.
Oh, that's
Rainbow.
fine, dude. That's fine.
Don't apologize.
As long as you're here now, baby.
Yeah.
Cause then I got
Love
high.
to see you.
Cause then I got high. La da 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 da. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that we have the same opinion on pretty much every game that's delayed. Good. Because then it won't be fucked up when it comes out.
Right.
That's all we want.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just release a complete game.
Yes.
Exactly.
I just want a game that works.
That's it.
At this point in time.
Please.
Isn't it sad that that's
the standard, right?
Yeah.
Can you just work?
Can it just work?
Fuck, dude. I mean, even Elden Ring, which I think is in totality pretty solid.
Yeah.
You were
Considering
following through the map and
everything
shit.
that
You were still having, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep.
goddamn, everything, dude.
That's a big
Everything's
fucking turnoff.
broken.
Yeah.
Still why Resident Evil Village is the winner of last year, because it was
bork.
perfect.
Yeah.
It worked from start to finish.
Well,
without
Returnal
a
worked until they started patching shit.
Yeah. Well, they'd break it, and then they'd fix it, and then they'd break it,
something else, and it's like, goddamn, just leave it alone, man. Or give me the
Yeah.
option to update. Be
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
all right,
absolutely,
You know, it's like,
yeah.
okay, well, you won't be able to play multiplayer. Well, you don't have that, so
Yeah.
let me just
whatever.
let me just
It
keep
doesn't
it
matter.
functional. But yeah, so Breath of the Wild 2, we'll see.
Wild 2, yeah.
Even though I guess that really does suck for Nintendo, man. Like, now what do they got for the end of this year?
I don't know.
Yeah, do they have anything else big? Like Kirby was the next big player.
it,
Like,
and then I mean,
Fuck, I can't think of anything.
Pokemon,
yeah,
the new
it's all
Pokemon.
indies and stuff, right?
yeah, is that? Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
what they can focus on.
Pokemon.
They can focus on the new Gen 9
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely,
that's probably
that's
what they're
everything.
gonna do. That's probably the
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah,
more
that's
than likely.
smart. That's
You
smart.
know.
They're safe. They're fine.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Nintendo don't compete. They're
They,
all
they
all
do
over
not
the world.
compete,
Nope,
dude.
they do
They
not.
don't give
Yeah.
a fuck.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna do us.
Wandering in a
They
field
said-
over
they said,
there.
We will mind mine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You mind yourn. I'm a mind
I'm
mine.
a mine.
I'm a mind mine.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we
So-
talked about this a little bit last week. The
Uh-huh.
PlayStation expanded
Different tier packages for PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we got 3 tiers, right?
Mhm.
We I think we already kind of covered the majority of this. Funny enough.
Dude,
Because I
we
mean they've
called
been
it.
leaking this shit for like months, and then they just slowly started to kind of go, okay, I guess we
Well,
gotta
I mean,
talk
we,
about
we,
it.
we saw what was happening,
Yeah,
man. You can read
absolutely.
the signs,
Yeah.
especially when
Yeah.
Game Pass is, cracked the concrete the way that it has.
Mhm.
Like you got to follow suit because Game Pass
But this
by
is
itself
not
is
Game
kind
Pass.
of no, it is not. However, that's what it's being compared
It
to.
is, and I think that's a bad
and
comparison.
It's a very bad.
It's a
comparison.
different kind of thing, and I don't know. I mean, for what, $18 a month, the big boy package doesn't sound like it's a bad
so
deal.
You have your standard PS Plus package,
Which is
for
what we already got.
$9.99, exactly. So that gives you multiplayer gaming. You still get your PS Plus games every month. Which April, this is what time we have SpongeBob, Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
We've got
On
Hood.
On
We got Hood Outlaws, which actually looks kind of dope for real. I hear it just does have a lot of
Yeah,
substance.
no, Hood does look good. Yeah,
And we've got Slay the Spire,
Slay the Spire.
which is supposedly
yeah,
epic.
uh-huh.
All right, I've never played it. I've got a friend who swears by it, and he's like, "You gotta play it. You gotta play it." So now I will definitely give it a shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But there's the extra tier, which is going to be $14.99, and that one gives you 400 PS4 and PS5 games, for free. And so we'll see what those are. They've been showcasing things like God of War and Returnal that will be available. So a lot of back catalog, but
Yeah.
as far as going
But
forward,
if you have a PS5, you probably already have these.
exactly
games. Yeah.
right. Anyway,
I guess
And
somebody
so
buying a
then-
new PS5. I don't know.
right. Well,
Wherever
no,
those
you're
are.
kind of getting shafted there too because you could have just gotten that shit for free anyway, right? If you had just gotten a PS5 earlier.
You still had to have
Um,
PlayStation Plus to get the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's $10 a month versus 14. So anyway,
So,
and so we have a premium version as well. That's going to be $19.99 or 17. What was it?
I thought it was $18. $17.99.
$17.99. This
Yeah.
one's $17.99.
Mhm.
And that'll give you access to the backwards compatibility catalog.
PS1, PS2, PS3,
PSP.
streaming, And PSP, yeah.
Yes.
It still doesn't make sense that it doesn't have Vita on here. I wouldn't doubt it if they expand it to Vita after a while. After everybody goes, what the fuck, no Vita? And then they're going to go, okay,
well,
whatever.
I think it all depends on adoption. You know,
right?
Like, you know,
it
how,
does.
Yeah, how many people actually choose to, because there's so many modern games right now that are just coming out at a rapid pace.
Yeah.
I don't have time to play PlayStation 1 games.
Well,
you know, as much as I would love to see Jumping Flash, I
mean,
like to see these things, but I'm not going to put time into it. I'm not going to play Siphon Filter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm not going to do it.
I would absolutely play through Symphony of the Night again.
I've done that so many times.
I'd do it again.
I already have
like,
most of the
own
PS1 games that I would want to play.
Well, but where do you own it?
I own it on my PlayStation. I have like 2 copies, one of which is still sealed, of Symphony of the Night. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
Sealed Black Border Symphony?
Yes, sir.
Fuck, dude.
Boy. Absolutely. Ooh. I ain't telling nobody where I live.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
They're going to steal all your McFarlane toys?
For real. Clean me out.
Dude, no, the Vita is absolutely a great hack box. You're completely right, because I hacked mine, and I have, I mean, not only did I get, like, just a bunch of other stuff on it, but, you know, I mean, mostly emulators. Like, it's the best emulator handheld. But also
PSP was good.
Yeah, dude, yeah. You can play all those PSP titles on it. You can play, you know, I mean,
Power Stone Collection.
Yeah. See?
That I would play.
Yeah.
There we are.
Hey, the best version of Street Fighter Alpha 3 is on there.
Facts.
On the PSP.
Hard fit.
You know what I mean? And still, I got to tout Prenny, dude. Prenny.
Yeah.
Okay. Prenny and Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins are like the games to get. Or if you're more of an RPG fan, what's it called? Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And then Valkyrie Profile Lenneth.
Oh, hell
so these are all games that I'm looking forward to seeing on the PSP.
It's Gaia.
It's kind of funny to me because the more that I think about it, I think the PSP might actually have the hidden gems that people haven't played on it more than the other consoles.
I wonder how they're going to adapt the controls for PSP games, because that was really the biggest problem with a lot of
not
PSP
having a
games
right stick,
is not having thumbsticks at all.
Yeah,
you have that little slider. You know, and so
did you play Peace Walker?
Yes,
because Peace Walker, you used the face buttons to do a fake stick thing.
That's what they do,
and it was like, I mean,
and so
it worked,
this could really make a lot of games a lot better.
Customizable controls. That's all I ask for. That's all I ask for.
Yeah.
It really,
do not map that shit to my face buttons. I'm gonna be mad as fuck. I'm gonna be very.
The thing I think I'm disappointed the most with this is the streaming for PS3 games. I feel like we should be able to play them native, man. We really should. And then and then we should also be able to look, man. You know, I'm gonna break it down real quick.
Break it down.
Break it down, Philip.
I just fucking want to play Metal Gear Solid 4 at a higher resolution and a better frame rate.
You know, well, you say that until you see it at a higher resolution, and then it makes the flat.
That one's awesome. 4 is fine.
I mean,
4 looks great.
I think
4 looks great.
In your memory, it does.
Nah, man, I've seen it recently.
Them textures, man. You see them textures.
It's
in
old.
high
I didn't say
res.
it wasn't old.
Oh boy, dude, them faces look real flat.
Metal Gear Solid 5's all right. It's all right, man. I think those games have
4.
Yes, 4. I meant 4.
Okay,
4 is 5
right. Is fantastic.
No, 5's fantastic. No,
yeah.
But 4 looks good, man. Yeah. It's got its own thing going on. You know.
Yeah. All right, good for you.
Trying to hate on 4 like
I'm not
that.
hating on it. I'm just saying that when you
I'm
see
trying
something,
to scrub on
what
my
I'm
back
saying,
and throw grenades.
What
like
I'm
this.
saying is sometimes things are better left to nostalgia for me personally. Because when you see one of those older games, all right. Battle Arena Toshinden.
I think you've become a graphics snob.
No. Seeing Battle Arena Toshinden on a
that is a
4K
big difference
display,
between Battle Arena
do
Toshinden.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do, and I'm saying that Metal Gear Solid 4 don't look that bad.
I'm saying that maybe it doesn't, but just as a package,
and
right?
I don't want to have to jump through hoops to play it on my PS.
Don't forget that our topic is not Metal Gear Solid 4.
It is.
Our topic are these subscription services.
That's the only game that matters.
You know, and so it's just weird.
Well, they took down all the Metal Gears from the stores. You know about that?
Yeah.
Like they took down 2 and 3 specifically, but I think they also took down the other ones, and you couldn't play 4 anywhere.
Man,
like
Konami's
fucking
assholes.
up, dude. Yeah,
they're assholes.
Yeah, and I guess that one's just one of those things that the movie of 4. It is a movie. You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And
But
so,
still.
but seeing
Okay.
these things on a higher resolution display, some of those graphical issues are going to become glaring. And so I'm really interested to just see it for myself
Yeah.
and see how
Yeah.
they handle that jump.
So
Because
let's put it
if
here.
you had a CRT,
What would
good
you play?
for you.
Well, what would you play? Backwards compatible. Would you play anything? Is there anything PS1, 2,
Like
3,
I said,
PSP?
I would go back. I would see. I think a lot of the games that I would want to see, they may not actually have available.
Okay.
Like I would want to see Zero Divide again. I'd want to
Okay.
see, like I said, Battle Arena Toshinden. I'd want to see that just
Mhm.
because I have great memories of
Yeah.
those games.
See, I want some
I want some
Einhander, man.
Alundra. I would play some Alundra.
Ooh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Breath of Fire 3.
You know.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one to play
Mhm,
again.
That'd be really good. The Lunar games. I would play
Tenchu
Lunar.
2. I'd like
You
to play
know?
Tenchu 2 again.
Yeah.
That game
Bushido
definitely
Blade
looks like
2.
ass.
Toe Ball number 2.
Oh,
They have
dude.
Toe Ball.
You know, it's funny you say Toe Ball. I
Uh-huh.
did not realize that Toe Ball was made by the same dude that made Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that at all. And then it's
Art style by Akira Toriyama.
yeah, dude. What
Yeah.
the fuck, dude?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Japan only.
Mm-hmm.
Toe Ball 1 came stateside, but
Yep.
Toe Ball 2 is the one.
Toe Ball 2.
Toe
Toe
I
Ball
had
2
to play
looks
that whole
amazing.
thing
and
in
it,
Japanese.
And it was 60.
Uh-huh.
That's the crazy part. It was
Yeah.
like 60 at high res.
Uh-huh.
They
Wow.
did some
It was
magic. on that
gorgeous.
shit. Yeah.
But it came out so late in the PlayStation's life cycle that it just never came stateside.
Yeah.
And Toe Ball
Yeah.
number 1 just didn't sell that well over here.
Mhm.
And they had an amazing grappling system and everything too. I would play that. If they did it, which they probably wouldn't, I would want to check out Thrill Kill.
Dude,
You know what I'm
Thrill
saying?
Kill, yeah.
Which I have a copy of that.
I mean,
But
Bloody Roar 2 is still
I
absolutely
would play Bloody
a
Roar
blast.
too.
Yeah.
Yes, I would actually.
Well, so we got a question here. Does this include multiplayer? Are they going to have online multiplayer with these games?
Probably not.
Because I mean, like
No,
this
that
is
would require them to rework those games on an individual basis.
nah, man, nah. Like emulators will do this shit where all they do is they set up
Sony's not gonna do that.
That's the problem. It's not about this reworking the games.
Yeah,
it's about
Sony's
Sony
not
won't
gonna-
do the extra effort to implement.
No, they would
this
rather
thing,
they would rather
you know?
re-release a modernized version of the game
and charge you more for it.
and charge you more for it.
Which, by
because
the way,
this is
didn't
the
Persona
biggest,
come out?
Well, Persona 5.
Persona 4 Ultimax.
Oh
Whatever.
yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
that already
P4
come out?
AU.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I
it's out.
thought
already
it's
out.
It's out
it's like that
with
shit.
no rollback.
Like they would rather re-release some shit, and I know
Uh-huh.
that's not Sony. I'm just
Yeah.
saying broad spectrum
Well,
here. That's what people want to do. They want to
right.
re-release a game,
Uh-huh.
make you purchase the whole thing again.
There we go. Right. Which you get your graphical updates and everything, and you get more online stability.
Yeah.
But that is the major difference between what they're doing with their subscription service now versus Game Pass. You know,
Right.
Game Pass,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft is like, hey, all of our first-party titles will be available day one on Game Pass. So if you
Sony's not doing that
subscribe,
shit.
then you get that game,
Mhm.
right? Full price, $70 game,
Mhm.
you have it,
Mhm.
right? So that leads to giant install bases for any new games they put out. Halo Infinite, right? And so,
I could
but
see
Sony's
Sony doing
not,
it for third-party games, but not for first-party.
They
games.
said that they're not doing it for first-party games. It
they did
might
it
happen for third.
Shadow Warrior 3
you
with
know?
PlayStation Now.
Right.
You know,
yes.
so I could really see them getting certain third-party games to do it, but no. we're
But
not
without
getting-
your first-party titles doing it,
Yeah.
they said that they would lose money overall that they could use towards development of these games by making them accessible on their service. Now,
Wah.
if there's a high adoption rate, then
Yeah.
maybe they'll change that. But as it stands, I mean, but that's the giant difference between. This is why Game Pass still wins.
Mhm.
You know, is because you know that whenever there's that. You know, here's Horizon Forbidden West, right?
Yeah.
Here's God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And everyone who has this service has access to it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like that's massive, man. All of a sudden, that's all people are talking about on Twitch. That's all people are talking about on YouTube, on all social media, on Twitter. But now you still gotta, get through that gatekeep of $70, man. You know, that's a lot of money.
I guess
So-
they're looking at it and being like, we don't understand how Microsoft is sustaining this
right,
platform. by
and they're like, we don't
releasing
have
this."
to because people are gonna buy our shit. so,
Seriously, yeah.
sorry.
I also wonder whether that is purely a quality thing, because I mean, like, I'm not trying to hate
They're
on
gonna
Xbox.
make it about that, but it's a money thing, baby.
Well, sure, but I guess what I'm saying is, like, for instance, Halo Infinite, one of the
Mhm.
biggest fucking games that was supposed to come out on Xbox. It came out, and everybody's like, "Oh, Halo Infinite, Halo Infinite."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
but Sony ain't gonna do that.
Sony's not gonna.
No,
do
that's
that.
Microsoft, man. Like Sony, no, they're on top of their shit,
They are,
and they know it. You
Mhm.
know, like as far as from a games development standpoint, you can't fuck with them.
Mm-mm.
Like they're that good, and they're willing to take time, and they're willing to think outside of the box when it
Mhm.
comes to game development. And so, like, I mean, seriously, dude, look, I don't give a fuck. playing Horizon Forbidden West 30 frames per second, that water still blows my fucking mind into my skull. You know what I'm saying? Like even like swimming underneath these crashing waves above you. Like I'll just sit there. This is another reason why it takes me so long to play that game. I will just sit there for like minutes at a time, sitting there watching like sea foam form on the top of water. Like they get it, you know? And so as much as I lament to say it, I would still pay $70 for a new Sony game, new first party.
Yeah,
you know? I'll pay the $14.99 a month because I probably won't get the 17. I may or may not. But
I'm definitely gonna get it for a month or two just to see what's up with it because I want to see. Like, I have pretty good internet most of the time, but sometimes not so much. You know.
Yeah.
And I want to see how well the streaming actually works. I think I got PlayStation Now for a small amount of time, and
I did the same thing.
Yeah, and
I wanted to play Katamari, and I wanted to play Luminous.
Yeah, but they were PS2 games. So you downloaded them and played them. Right, and I was in the same boat. I mostly played older stuff. I didn't play anything on PS3. So I just want to see how their streaming works on PS3, see if it's actually worth a shit now.
I still believe that PS3 was their weakest generation of
it's I understand that. I get you. I do. Yeah.
Like I think PS2 took a little while to get rolling.
Yeah, but 360 was rolling all over the PS3,
dude. Absolutely.
God.
From Jump Street.
Yeah, it took.
They won by landslide.
It took until the end of the PS3 generation for them to get The Last of Us, for them to get the shit that it was like, oh, okay, now we see it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but most of the time it was like, oh, that's the console that Bayonetta runs like shit on.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's that's the console that fucking Skyrim was borked immediately and like all these fucking problems, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But anyway. Oh yeah, I bet it's good with 100 megabits.
Hell yeah.
Goddamn.
I mean, everything would be good with that. What are you talking about?
Mine almost hits
Braggarts.
that. I really want to say it's like 70 or 80 a lot of the time. So I mean, it's up there. So I bet it'll be okay for me.
Yeah, I got a really good connection. So I mean, it would work very well for me. It's just a matter of if I'd want to do it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm gonna try it. I want to know if they're gonna do like a top-up thing, you know, like if you already are paying for PlayStation Plus, because I mean we always buy the year. We've talked about this.
Right.
It's a better deal to buy the year, you know, and it's actually not that bad of a deal to buy this year because it's $120 for the top tier.
And then of course Black Friday sales, it'll probably be about 100 even.
Right,
you
which
know?
I think that's okay.
You know,
so I might end up doing that.
Right,
but. I'm wondering if you already have a current PlayStation Plus subscription, if you can, you know, tip it up to the next level or tip it up.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
If they're gonna do that without making you purchase the entire list price.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
If you already have it, then your base level of Plus is just gonna ride on through. It's gonna be the exact same shit. And so you can then end up like, you know, taking. I guess you'd apply the credits that you already have to the overall. Now, if you're doing it on a monthly
you see what I'm saying?
Basis,
Yeah,
because you'd have to go to the annual plan.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
So I wonder if I'd have to spend another 60 on top of the 60.
I'm sure. You know? Surely not.
They've got to figure something out.
I'm sure they got a strategy for this. All this is going to go live in June, so there's a little bit more time for us to get more details.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out. But
it's 2:30.
If they're trying to
just flex on us.
If they're trying, I know, right? Ski. If they, ski, motherfucker. But yeah, man. I mean, if they really want to compete with Microsoft, I feel like they're not. I feel like they're just like, okay, well, gaming as a service is that's the future of games. Yeah. So we're gonna do it too. But they're not really trying to compete with Game Pass.
No, they're not. You know, they're just doing their own thing to provide value. I still think it would have been better if they made it a $20 service and also incled Crunchyroll and shit into it.
I think that's still in the future.
That would have been a complete knockout right there.
I think with that Funimation merger, and a lot of people just already started paying more money for Crunchyroll. I think it would have been a little much all at the same time.
They're trying to let this frog boil slowly. So just
and they gotta streamline the PlayStation aspect of it first.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know,
you're right.
And then we'll incorporate other applications into that. So
but
it's coming.
I know Jim Ryan doesn't have a whole lot of faith in people giving a shit about backwards compatibility.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah. Some people love it, man.
I mean, I love it. I love it. That kind of guy.
I'm just not that nostalgic.
Yeah.
You know? And I own most of these games still. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I own Metal Gear Solid 4 and a PS3, but I still want to play it in better resolution and frame rate. I still have the same.
What does that actually mean? Anyway, all right, we'll see. We'll see.
I'd be happy. That's all I'm saying.
We'll see.
I know. I'd be
we'll talk about it.
What the fuck is with this?
Boy,
look, hot.
Bloodstain
and Child of Light.
Together.
Dude,
Yeah,
they've added
you
an
play as Aurora.
We play as Aurora. So
play
they've
as
added
Aurora.
an entire storyline for Aurora.
Child of Light's so old though. It's weird that they'd pop this in.
It's just odd. But Child of Light is a beautiful
it makes
game.
sense
Beautiful
when
game.
you think
Beautiful
it
game.
makes sense when you think about that both of these games kind of have the same like
Mechanics.
well
The
not
Metroidvania thing.
well
going
that, but it's like they kind of came from that same pool of like kickstarted like indie games or
on.
whatever.
Really?
You
Did
know?
this one? Was that one
Not
Kickstarted?
Not Ritual
that
of
was
the Night.
a-
The first Bloodstained.
Yeah, yeah.
But Ritual of the Night was. I mean, that
But
they
it's
had
still-
a budget at that point.
Yeah, but it was still started as Kickstarter. It was one of those.
Was Child
where
of Light
they,
one
like,
though?
I believe Child of Light was one.
I think that this is just them noting. I think they're trying to celebrate Child of Light. I think
Right.
Child of Light didn't really meet the sales goals that they were hoping. Well,
So
it did well
re-release,
enough.
you think?
Maybe just to direct people's attention back to Child of Light.
They might
Yeah.
be,
You
they
know?
might be developing a sequel. They, might be doing.
Well, do you
Right.
guys
There's
remember?
Aurora's a badass character.
It's a
What,
good.
what
and
was what was
it's
this?
a good fit.
What was this
Yes.
engine?
Good fit.
Yes.
Because it was like Ubisoft used this engine to do Rayman and this, and it was some specific.
I thought it was just called the UB1 engine. or the
I
UB
don't know. I
something,
thought it was something a little bit more. I don't know, but yeah, it was that really nice stretch and pinch 2D graphics. Like you have a whole lot of animation options, but it's rendered in a 3D version. I guess it's a 2.5D engine. I guess that's what you
2.5D
say.
would be
Yeah,
the way to go.
yeah,
Yeah. I'd check out Pandemonium. Anyway.
Pandemonium.
But I mean, it's one of those curveballs that it's like, wow, I never knew that I wanted to play this game.
Until-
and
Looks
wow,
good. Yeah.
You know? And she has. They were both versions of Aurora as well.
Ritual of the Night is a great game.
Ritual of the Night, I
it's
believe, is
phenomenal.
on
So
sale
good.
right now too,
Yeah.
with the spring sale.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those games, man. Like, the only problem with it is a problem that I have with a lot of Metroidvanias is if you stop playing the game for any length of time
Yeah.
and try to go back to it.
Yeah.
Good
It
fucking
can be.
luck.
About to say
Yeah.
it can be
You know?
hard to get the motivation.
Well,
back to,
I don't think it's motivation. I think it's just knowing where to go because
Knowing
you have
where
to
to go.
memorize
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
castle
Oh,
and
yeah.
memorize where those walls were that you hit that you didn't have a power to actually, get
to
over.
at the time.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. And so it can be very difficult. Like, I was playing Ritual of the Night and loving it, but then I took a break for 1 week and I came
then-
back and I was like, oh fuck.
I don't know
you
where the fuck I am.
Yeah, so it would
Wow,
force you to
yeah.
re-explore the entire map, which
Right.
is massive.
Yeah.
In order to try to figure out, oh, here it is. Here's where I was. Here's the barrier. And so, but when you're playing with Aurora, that's a completely different game. So you have to start from the beginning anyway.
Completely. Jeez, man. Yeah.
And she's got what's her little fire spirit?
I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah,
but
it's
he's
like-
just like a little blue flame that follows her around.
Calcifer from
It's
Howl's
Calcifer.
Moving
His name
Yeah.
is it's like Inglesias. I think
Oh,
it's
yeah?
like,
Something.
Yeah, it's-
Glacius.
yeah, right. That's what keeps fucking me up. But I think it is like Inglesias or something close
Is
to
it
that.
Julio?
But he would
Iglesias?
actually, yes. But he'll actually go and attack enemies and interrupt enemies for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Which is really, really cool.
It's a neat little
Heather
little
told
turn-based.
him to tell you smoochies.
Oh, what up, Heifer?
Smoochies.
I love you, Heifer. Love some you. Hold on to the camera.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
But yeah, this looks
I'm with
cool.
it.
This looks cool. Yeah, there's a trailer out. You can see kind of.
You can see her roll on
You can see her
motherfuckers.
roll on
Motherfuckers.
motherfuckers.
That's what she
yeah,
does.
She's seemingly OP as fuck.
Really?
Aurora-
Yeah.
And of
Aurora's
course she levels
bad.
up
Yeah,
as you
dude, yeah.
play. Like I said, there are both versions of her. The end game version of Aurora that you don't really get to play a
Yeah.
lot of
Uh-huh.
with Child of Light. Have you both played Child of Light?
I
I
have,
played it. I
yeah.
haven't beaten it.
Really?
I
couldn't
finished
put
it.
it down.
I
Yeah.
finished it.
Yeah, I had to finish
really
that game.
good.
It is amazing.
I
So
enjoyed it.
shout out to Child of Light, man. If y'all haven't played that game, really go back and do it. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's such a serene and beautiful
I
game.
think that's on sale.
Oh, really? Child of Light?
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah. I mean, I
cool.
think it is on the. I know it's on sale on the Nintendo eShop.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know about Steam or anything, but
They do have a spring sale going on though,
Yeah.
so check out spring
I
sale.
wish they bring back Child of Eden. Give me a VR.
Man,
Child of Eden.
man,
Just give me a VR Child of Eden.
man.
I don't care.
He's working on humanity.
He's not.
No, nobody's working on
Damn it!
humanity.
Nobody's working on humanity. I'm so upset.
Another crossover.
Oh my
This is whack as fuck. I mean, I don't play Rainbow Six Siege, but I think Rainbow Six Siege is very cool.
Right.
Like it's one of those things that from external viewing, I'm like, oh shit,
Siege is the shit.
that's something I've always wanted.
It's just
and I'm not
hardcore,
gonna play
man.
it. Yeah,
It's hardcore,
yeah, it's hardcore
and you
as
really
fuck,
need
yeah.
to have a team.
It's next level Counter-Strike.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't have that squad, then I mean, good luck getting into it and playing with randos.
Yeah.
Most people don't communicate, and most people troll, and so it's very, very difficult. I think what they did here is that they looked at Call of Duty and they saw like, okay, well they're adding all sorts of crazy characters. They've got fucking Levi from Attack on Titan. You know what I'm saying? What can we do? Rick and fucking Morty. This seems like so there are Rick and Morty skins for two of their operators.
So
in
it's
Rainbow
just
Six.
the skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, which
So this will
would
probably
be
be like
hilarious. It would be hilarious to run up on, Morty looking freak the fuck
I
out.
love that. I love
Just
that. dude.
blasting
I love
aimlessly with it.
Yeah.
Dude, like it'd be funny.
Great.
But what it reads like to me is that we may see a sequel to Siege sometime sooner rather than later. This seems like one of those like, okay, here's a hurrah. Kind of like what they're doing with what up, Big Demigod? How you doing?
Big Demigod.
Welcome to the chat. Thanks for checking us out.
Yo,
Yeah.
what up? What up? Welcome to the family. Good to have you on board.
Cake
Thank you for the support.
and a taco. He got cake, and a taco.
and taco.
Hey, I love
What?
these things.
I've never had cake and a
I
taco
love
at the same
tacos,
time.
and
though.
I love me some cake.
You
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all like
I like some
y'all like
cake.
a choco taco? Are you a
Choco
choco
I
taco?
like a choco taco.
Nah.
No choco taco.
Choco
Man.
I mean, burrito, taco. I mean, I'll take one if you
Taco
give me
flavored
one.
kisses, honey.
You know, well,
flavored kisses.
no, that's not a full-fledged chinger now. You know, I'm just singing a song. I said burrito.
That's a quote.
That's a quote. Exactly, dude. Sing the song.
man.
But no, I'm about some standard tacos. I've been eating tacos all week. That's my
Big taco in it?
like, how some people make spaghetti.
Oh,
if
yeah,
they want to
yeah.
have that meal that they can eat like multiple times over the course of the
Oh
week.
yeah.
That's
You just
tacos
make a
for me.
bunch
Yeah,
of taco
absolutely.
meat. Well, you told me
Exactly.
about your taco meat nachos situation
Oh,
that
yeah.
you used to have.
Yeah, you know,
oh
smuggle
my!
that meat
No,
on
that blew my fucking mind when you told me that.
Absolutely, dude.
He said he'd
Absolutely.
bring some taco meat into the theater,
I
get
used
the
to.
nachos, put the taco meat
up
on
on them nachos, baby, and all of a sudden, you got a stew going.
You got
what I'm
knocking them out of the park over there.
yeah.
You
That's
got
how
a
we
stew
do,
going
baby.
on.
Like last night, I ended up, or the night before last, I'm like, okay, I've had tacos all week
Yeah.
long. I don't really want a taco. What am I gonna do? Make some mac and cheese. Have the taco meat. Have some taco mac.
Taco.
You know what I'm saying?
Taco
Have
Mac.
some taco
Yeah,
mac.
man.
Why not? You know,
Making me
LIBIN,
hungry.
baby.
Man,
L-I-B-I-N.
Iana just found out about the manwich.
Oh,
It changed her whole
Respect.
opinion.
I bet.
Like I was
Wow.
like Sloppy Joe's, and
Sloppy
she was like,
Joe.
I don't like.
Slop-
She didn't like the
Sloppy
name
Joe.
Sloppy Joe. She's like, this doesn't sound like a good thing.
manwich.
Manwich,
Manwich.
right?
Oh.
Well, we were watching Futurama,
Yeah, you
and
see
he
what
did
you
that.
did, Demigod?
My manwich.
You did this.
Oh, dude, top fucking tier nachos right there.
No, that taco.
My
Mac,
shit
baby.
is custom.
Taco man, baby. You know what I'm saying? Add a little bit of onion to it. A little bit of
Yeah.
onion.
There
Let's
you go.
go,
Yeah, because they
baby.
never have onion at the.
Nah.
Nah, man.
Sad facts.
Sad facts.
Sad facts.
You like the green onion on tacos, or do you like the white onion? You
I prefer white onion.
prefer
on my,
white onion?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You know what I'm
green
saying?
onion more for a taco salad, maybe.
Exactly. You
See,
know what
I
I'm saying?
know
Give me
it's-
some chives
That's
on
right.
top.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to get scientific with it.
Yep.
And so, yeah, Rick and Morty
Yeah,
skins coming
that thing.
to Rainbow Six Siege. Moving on.
Welcome to the taco.
Yeah.
Cast.
Welcome to the Taco Cast.
The bug guys, one of the bug guys from Rick and
Oh,
Morty.
yeah,
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the little roaches or whatever the fuck
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh my
It's a-
God, you killed Ted.
Yeah,
He had
yeah.
a wife and kids, and he's all bleeding out over there. And they're like, oh, they're just
Yeah.
bugs, Morty. they don't
Well, I
matter.
mean, I think it's a cool idea. It's like,
Yeah.
why not goof it up? You
Yeah.
know, Fortnite has amazing success by doing this thing and having those infinite
Yeah.
crossovers.
And everybody wants to be Fortnite.
You know,
Right.
but it's kind of
Yeah.
weird because the Rainbow Six
Everybody wants that
Siege-
Fortnite money.
That's
what it is.
That's what
That's
it
what it
is.
is.
Yeah.
But the Siege community is very much like the
Yeah.
Battlefield community.
Yeah.
Like they like the serious nature of their game.
Right.
Totally.
They like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And so once you start adding these little things, now when you see it in motion, the game still looks silly.
Yeah.
I mean, it still looks serious, but you know, these
Yeah.
little silly moments are just like, holy fuck, that's just kind of
Yep.
funny.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's not like overwhelming, it doesn't take over the feel and vibe of the game completely.
Right.
But if they keep adding more characters like this, and eventually the game will just
It'd be
become a
Fortnite.
meme.
Yeah.
Right? And so we'll
Yeah.
we'll see how the community responds
Mm.
because a lot of people aren't happy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of people are just like, well,
This is supposed to be serious. I'm supposed to be serious in my serious game.
Yes.
It says Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy is serious.
He's serious. That's what
this man writes books.
Serious books about serious issues.
Serious.
So serious. Why are you making that serious shit a joke?
Yeah, so we should have Harrison Ford in this, not fucking Rick and Morty.
And so because Call of Duty, they did. Remember, they added like Rambo.
Oh yeah,
they added fucking
that's good.
John McClane.
Yeah, totally.
But those are good fits for that universe.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, man, it's kind of weird when you start throwing cartoons in.
Hey guys, I'm gonna click this AC on. I think we're good.
That's fine. That's fine. Go ahead and move on to the next topic while you're doing that.
Next topic. This looks good.
Boy,
mm-hmm.
Who saw this coming?
Not me.
They could just re-release Hyperlight Drifter again, and that'd be so well. Yeah, right. I'm not sure how it'll go over for Siege, man. Like that's gonna be.
Yeah, I get it with that community. I do. Yeah. This isn't their cup of tea.
Yeah, but like I said, when you see it in engine, it still looks gritty. It still looks.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Payday.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Where you're like, well, this is obviously some real shit going on, but there's some wacky masks.
There's some wacky ass masks.
Yeah,
And so whatever. Yeah.
But no, Hyperlight Breaker, man.
This looks great.
Yes.
Oh God,
this looks
great.
Yeah, I loved Hyperlight Drifter. That was a
dude,
damn
it's
good
one of those
game.
games that you just didn't know that you really needed.
Man.
It's like I'll just play more Hyperlight Drifter and I'm happy.
Hyperlight Drifter and
Fury,
exactly.
Fury.
Those both came out at a similar time, and I was like, oh, this is like two branching paths of the same kind of idea.
Right.
And I loved both of them.
Yeah.
I never beat Hyperlight Drifter.
I never beat Fury.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. There's a DLC boss too for Fury.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one I didn't beat, but because it gets rough.
I always wanted to get back into Fury because Fury is just so rewarding to play.
Yeah,
that's one that you really do need to stay on though. It's a lot like I've tried to play Sifu again, and I was like, I'm just not in the flow of this. I'm gonna have to dedicate some time and get back on it. You know,
just learning that language.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But Hyperlight Breaker. Full 3D now.
Yes.
Awesome.
The trailer's great. It's actually mostly this animated style right here, which is not the way the game looks.
And then they show you the engine.
And then they show you the engine. And you're like, okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Sold.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, especially after playing something like Returnal. It's just like, okay, you see exactly how this could go.
Yeah. I mean, Returnal has a lot of that hyperlight in it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, especially because it encourages you to dash into stuff.
Yeah.
Into stuff. That is your...
Don't dash away.
No,
through it.
You'll get hit twice if you dash away.
One of the biggest things to learn about Returnal, too, is trust in that sword.
Really?
Trust
yeah.
in it, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
So, we'll get back on some more of that shit. So definitely check out the trailer for Hyperlight Breaker.
Absolutely.
We don't have a date for it yet.
No
we don't
date.
have really any other information other than that teaser trailer, and I am teased. Yeah, consider me teased.
I am very teased.
I'm about it, man.
Yeah.
I'm so about it.
Oh, don't tease.
Okay, so this
looks
I wasn't
interesting.
expecting.
Yeah,
boy.
Right?
Yeah, boy.
It looks fun.
The Sea Beast.
It looks amazing.
It looks fucking cool.
Hey, man, we haven't had a good swashbuckling movie in a while.
That's very true.
It
did kind of put me in the mindset of what was that? The shark game that recently came out for PS4.
Man-Eater.
Man-Eater.
But really, it just goes to show this is going to be a Netflix movie that's coming out relatively soon, sometime in 2022.
Yeah.
They sniped a whole bunch of Pixar and Disney folks.
Yeah, they
did.
They got people that worked on Moana, people that worked on Luca.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So all these people who have been under Disney's thumb for so long, and and it's funny, we talked about it earlier, how the partnership between Pixar and Disney started off as more of a partnership, but ended more with Disney being like, "Oh, we got our thumb on you.
We own
and if
you
want
now."
the budget."
And it
exactly.
made Pixar, and this has been kind of brewing under the surface for a while. We're just now getting a lot of reports and a lot of people who are leaving Pixar because of Disney.
Because of the Mouse Mafia, you mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It'd be terrible if your computers crashed or something.
For real.
It'd be real bad.
The hard drives got wiped out. I don't know what happened to it, but they got
If
wiped
these
out.
computer monitors somehow jumped out a window. You never know when that's gonna happen.
It happens every once in a while with these monitors. You never know what they're gonna do.
HD
So you're giving us
monitors.
50% of your profits, right? 50%.
Yeah, so I mean, they're working with Netflix is over here after taking that major hit for years from like Hulu and these other streaming services, these other giants. They're making a massive comeback, man, and their animation
Well, they have
studios
to.
are I mean, but I mean, their animation studios just they're top
knocking it
notch,
out of the
man.
park right
They're
now.
top notch. And so
Yeah.
if you watch this trailer, look at the water.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing. Like
Yeah.
like we are
That's good.
up to this is Pixar
it
level.
looks really
right?
good.
You
It
know?
also gives me some what's the name of that Sea of Thieves vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's got some of
Absolutely.
that going
Yeah.
on.
You know, I mean, it looks really, really impressive.
It does.
Uh-huh.
It
And
does.
so I'm happy to see these animators kind of get another chance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Well, they're
you're out of the
talented.
house
They're
of
talented
mouse
as
and
shit,
right.
you know?
Hey
know,
man,
they get
it's
pigeonholed.
a lot like what happens in the gaming industry. You know, you have this talented group of people that are used to working for a certain large studio, and then that studio gets too bloated and up its
Like,
own
okay,
ass.
here, make another one this year. It's like, well, we're not ready to. It's like, well,
no,
put it out.
Yeah,
You know,
And
we'll
so
do
then
it
they
with or
go
without
find
you.
a company that appreciates them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then they're able to actually fulfill that thing.
That
whilst-
artistic vision.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's fucked up how the bigger the studio gets, the less of the artistic vision.
That's
actually
because you can't
comes
afford
through.
to take risks
You,
anymore.
Right.
Man.
You know, the cost of developing these things just goes up and up and
Right.
up and up, and that's
Right.
the problem that we have right now with AAA games.
Yeah,
This is why
absolutely.
we see so many sequels and remasters and remakes because nobody wants to take a risk.
Right.
You know, nobody wants to spend that money and then not have it immediately come back. You
Right.
know, and so, and that's the death of creativity.
Yeah.
Right there,
It
you
really
know,
is.
and that's why that's
Look
that's
what
why
it did to
indie
Metal Gear
gamers
Solid
are
5, dude.
thriving, right?
Look what it did.
Yeah.
It made it into 2 games
Yeah.
and then crippled the ending.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, well, the intro to that game was a completely different game by
It was a
itself.
different
Chapter
game.
1,
Absolutely.
that was like, I was like, oh, this is what we're doing? I'm like, okay, I'm with it. Then Chapter 2 is like, oh, no, we're playing Metal Gear. And I was like, oh, well, fuck.
Which is kind of like Metal Gear Solid 2, right?
Right.
They give you the but just in general, it's amazing how much of that pressure to make money will completely just take the wind out of these developers' sails,
Yeah,
you know, or
yeah.
these creatives, you know.
Well, I think that's one of the biggest blindfolds that's been removed from our eyes lately with our favorite chosen form of entertainment is that it is all about business. I think that that's what has exposed Nintendo and why now all of a sudden people are just like kind of anti-Nintendo's practices because the veil's been lifted. This is about money, man. It's like it's not about
Plus
you know,
Reggie's gone,
you all,
so
right.
you know,
That's right.
like
well, now we got Bowser running the show. You know what I'm saying?
That
Should have known
sounds-
about that.
that just sounds bad.
Should have
Like,
known about it.
How'd you
man.
hire this man?
And so
you know?
it's just like it's a
'Cause
matter
his name
of
was Bowser.
yeah. Well, you don't do that. So you don't get the job. If
I'm
your
also
name was-
gonna hire Larry Donkey Kong
Uh-huh,
over
for
here.
real, dude. It's like okay, Ludwig von
Wario?
Koopa.
Yeah,
what the fuck,
Ludwig.
dude? Yeah, dude.
Not Ludwig.
You know,
No.
that creepy looking motherfucker.
Yeah, really.
But it
But
is.
the
It's
sea
just.
beast looks really good.
Yeah. It's just weird, man. It's like now people just don't. They can't afford to take those risks, so we don't see it happening. But now that we understand that about our chosen form of entertainment, now you can kind of put your money into different, developers' pockets.
Put it where
like
you
Annapurna,
Oh,
right?
dude.
They're always
What's the
coming
name
out
of
with
that
some
game?
shit, like fucking Devolver.
What's the one you just showed me? It was a Annapurna game that came out.
Not Exile in
something blue.
Yeah,
Exile in Blue. That's it.
Was it Exile in Blue?
Yeah.
Is that the name of it? Yeah, right. And they just snuck that one out.
Yeah.
It's like they just
It looks beautiful, and it looks
Yeah.
like such a departure from just
a
about anything
memoir
else.
blue. It's called a memoir blue.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right, but once again, it's like they're just kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah.
It's lower budget, but it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. But that's kind of where creativity is shining right now.
Right.
You know, so if you want
Yeah.
something different, something new.
Well, and I think you got, a lot of the reason why Netflix seems to have been stepping up their game recently is because they've had to, because now they've got, all these other different streaming services, and they're getting like, a lot of their like licenses pulled back to the original
Totally.
owner.
Oh, yeah.
So they got to fill that void somehow, which is
Right.
why their originals have like kind of stepped it up.
It still
But
fucks me up that
still-
they transferred the Marvel stuff over to Disney,
And
even
then
though
they
they're a
scrub
Netflix.
that shit out.
That
Uh-huh.
blows my mind.
Right.
dude.
Well, once again, this is how business operates, man. But regardless of the necessity to fight back,
Yeah.
all right, it's hard to still do that and meet that same quality
Yeah,
of these
absolutely.
companies that have tons of money. Now, Netflix
Oh,
has
yeah.
tons of
Oh, yeah.
fucking cash.
Oh, yeah.
But House of Mouse, you are not. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
there's that. But they've been purchasing all these different studios that are just top tier in quality. Arcane, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like things like that should make Disney a little nervous. It's like, okay, you don't own that animation space anymore. You know what I'm saying? With Sony owning Crunchyroll and going that direction, Netflix also doubling down on their anime division and such as well in their 3D animation. It's like the House of Mouse is challenged, and I love
as
it.
it should be.
Well, and you also have
it.
these like you said, like Netflix or Crunchyroll. They seem to be more willing to go in more interesting directions.
Yes.
Yeah,
whereas,
totally.
Whereas Disney is kind of locked into this like
whoa, we got to have our image.
We have to
Yeah.
appeal to as many people as possible because we're
Especially
putting billions
children.
of dollars into these projects, so it has to reach a huge audience. And Netflix is just like, man, we already got a huge audience. Everybody's on Netflix. Let's just throw out some good shit.
Well, I think it does come down to the fact that like Nintendo and Disney are playing the same game, right? It's like McDonald's. You appeal to children so that they remember you nostalgically for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, and then they
right?
grow up and they keep coming back.
And then they have babies and they raise their kids on that same shit. Netflix is like, we're going to aim for y'all bastards who actually made this possible in the first place, and you might be 30 years old, but here's something for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you motherfuckers, you love animation, so who cares if the kids can watch it or not?
Yeah.
This is for you.
Yep.
You know, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I would still love like a Diablo CG movie. Like if they just made a Diablo, go from Diablo 1 through Diablo 3, tell the whole goddamn story, just all CG, because all their CG
I think
cutscenes.
I want that more than a game.
Oh yes, absolutely. Have you seen the cutscenes for Diablo 4?
Yeah.
Oh my
They look
fucking
beautiful. Yeah.
god!
I will say that, man. Look, I'm probably not going to get Diablo 4 because I'm over it. I'm over Diablo.
I'm getting it day one.
I'm fucking over it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
But at least Diablo 4 looks like a Diablo game again, because Diablo 3 looked like World of Warcraft. Like it had that cartoony. They went in that direction, which that's never been Diablo.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Diablo is dark and gritty.
Yeah,
you know?
When I saw the remake for 2, I was like, oh, okay, that's more like it. And now that I'm seeing the 4 stuff, I'm like, okay. See, they're back on track to what Diablo should look like.
Well, we'll see now that Blizzard's going to be, pretty much completely restructured. So we'll see what happens with that development.
I mean, we're probably going to get it anyway, because I bet it'll be day one on Game Pass.
Probably.
Exactly.
You know, so what am I talking about not getting it? I'm going to play
We're
that
gonna
shit
be
if it's
playing
on
it.
Game
We're gonna be
Pass.
playing it. No question. We're going to be playing it.
This trailer's up. Check out this trailer.
Yeah, for real, CBs. We just completely.
No
Surprise!
E3.
Yeah, who didn't know this was like eventually going to happen? Like so E3 is not happening this year.
It's not digitally, not physically, not nothing.
at
They
all.
were initially just changing over to a digital event, which I think is fine. You know what I mean? That seems fine to me. But most of the companies that were involved with E3 are just kind of going like, why should we fuck with your digital event?
They don't need to. And,
What?
And
Yeah.
the people running E3 have been fucking up for so many
Yeah.
years that it's just like, why do we don't even need to deal with you. We just put our shit up online or on YouTube, do our own,
Well, I mean,
presentations.
we live
and
in
we're good.
perpetual E3.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like
It's
every
never
month.
stopped
what
now.
are they going to show off?
Yeah.
What are they going to show off?
Man.
They've already shown everything.
Exactly.
Or it gets leaked.
Even
you
if
know?
it comes down to like showing new technologies, CES takes over that.
Right.
Yep,
You know, and so it's funny because like with 2021's E3, it was canceled due to COVID. Okay?
Yeah.
This year it's canceled, and they're not really saying why.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's just canceled.
Because
You know,
everybody pulled out.
Because
That's what it
everybody
is,
pulled out.
right?
Yeah.
There's no need for E3 to exist.
No, man.
They said that they're
Nintendo
reformatting it,
has
and
Has their direct.
has their directs.
Yes,
Sony's
Sony has
got
State of Play.
Sony has State of Play, and
Yeah.
Xbox doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
Xbox
right.
do.
You know?
They're just like,
Xbox has Game Pass.
yeah,
Yeah, well,
that's really
yeah,
they,
right.
they
all
have
they
a
need.
constant thing you log into and go, hey, our new shit.
They said that they're going to revamp E3 and that we'll see it
Yeah.
in 202023. I could definitely see it just not ever
Coming
again.
back.
Man,
I
you know
could
what
see
I'd
it being
really
too
like?
expensive.
It's kind of an end of an era, man.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
At this
Yeah, and this is something crazy because, like, I remember, 10 years ago when E3 was the thing I was waiting on. Oh,
Yeah.
man, I can't wait to
Can't
see
wait.
those new E3
Yeah.
trailers.
Now I don't. I'm
I don't
like,
care.
oh, is it E3 time again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
so they're going to show the same trailer that I watched last week.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For
Oh, you
real.
revealed one thing.
There's just
Great.
really not a need for an
There-
E3
there isn't.
anymore.
No,
There
no.
just really isn't.
And these companies can do them on their own terms and their own time frame and
cheaper.
their own
Yeah.
for cheaper because they don't have to
Cheaper.
give any royalties to fucking E3. I mean,
Uh-huh.
dude, that was costing each of these companies millions
And they
and
don't have to
millions
worry
of
about any of their employees that get sent to the event,
right.
getting all their information leaked online.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The worst thing is that booth babes don't have jobs this year.
Yeah, that is a major hit to booth babes. I didn't even think about it, dude. That is accurate. Dude, I'm sure there's like
all these cosplay people
whatever.
are out there being like
fans.
You're right.
They
have independent sources of income now.
Still
they're
fine.
Again, they got Insta, they got TikTok.
Yeah, that's right.
Now if they're just lazy, it's like, okay, well, I just want to be a booth babe because I don't want to run my own website.
Right.
That's one thing, but they got other forms of income.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
This is be your own pimp era.
Really?
You
yeah,
know?
and it's kind of awesome.
Yeah,
anybody can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
You just have to get out there and carve your niche.
There we go.
And sit in it.
Sit in your niche. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they haven't existed for years now.
Yeah, but I don't think that really stopped a lot of, especially like cosplayers.
That's more what I'm saying. I'm not so much saying like the classic idea of what a booth babe
the ones
is.
that were just
I really mean more like the dedicated cosplayers that would come up and dress like a specific IP to show off a certain game, because that wasn't just ladies doing that. That was across the board, a bunch of cosplayers.
And it does really hurt for cosplayers, even though you still have your cons and such. But some people really do put a lot of hard work into making these costumes.
Totally. And
so
that shit's great.
Right. Yeah. I think it is great to have different avenues where they can display their talent like that, because some people like some of the like Warcraft and like some of the Diablo, like it's across the board. People just make some amazing cosplay. They should show them off.
Yeah. We're all really good at carving foam nowadays.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We're really good.
Some of the Monster Hunter ones, like
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Dude.
Where you see that giant sword, you're like, wow, they did it.
Fuck you made that sword. You made it. You're carrying it around.
That's fucking great.
Like, for real. I remember one time I was at I think it was like, what was that place in Central Plaza? The old ass the weapons store.
Oh, what was that place?
Corner.
What was that place?
Damn it, I don't remember the name of it, man. Did it have a name?
I don't know.
I just remember it was like
the
tucked
weapons
into the corner, like upstairs, like up in the corner.
Fuck yeah. Just an armory all of a sudden.
Yeah, dude. And they had like a Buster sword, and that thing was like 45 pounds.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like super heavy. You can hardly even pick it up. And these people are over here just like, no, man, I got a materia slide in here and it glows and shit. You know what I'm saying? Watch me. I can do the Cloud Stripe wind pose.
Yeah, right.
It's impressive, man. It's super cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
what I would really like is for them to start doing, which some people have tried this a little bit, but start doing these events as a VR experience. Something that you could
but that's still catering for a smaller market.
I don't think so. I think you can make it as a collective and also have it work on phones as 3D videos.
Right, exactly. That would be the path, because I mean, also with this high adoption rate of VR here lately, with people getting their Quest 2s or the Meta. Once that's going to be released.
They're actually branding the boxes now as Meta Quest 2s
Quest 2,
rather than they're taking Oculus off of everything. When you boot up the Quest 2, it has the Meta logo now, no more Oculus logo.
Yeah, it's kind of.
And Palmer Lucky's making weapons nowadays.
But I do think it would be really cool to do that, because it'll also give people incentive to enter the virtual space.
Absolutely.
Right?
Because I mean the 3D videos on the phone work perfectly fine. And if you had like a leap forward, or you had some kind of hub thing where you could click on which booth you want to see, and you were just able to interact with the stuff, have virtual booth babes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I guess the problem would come with,
really what I'm saying is just have the characters there in front of you that you can
eventually you would still end up watching a lot of flat trailers. It would be like your hub would be VR, but then when you go into a booth, because a lot of these games won't be VR games, right? So they're not gonna like reconstitute them into a 3D space.
So do you think it'd be better if it was more like a VR chat situation where you're just hanging out with other people and there was like a Cineplex kind of thing,
right.
and you
I think
get
that
to,
would be cool,
right? And you're around other folks, and everybody gets to get hype and dance,
throw
and,
popcorn,
yeah, exactly,
do things like that. That'd be really cool. But I think Scott's also right. That's so niche.
It's still niche. You're right. You're right.
There's no reason to invest that much.
You got to think about like a lot of the reason the E3 kind of dipped in value is again what we were talking about. All the other companies are already putting all their stuff out.
That's the whole reason I'm mentioning this, because Devolver did this.
Yeah,
yes.
well, why are they going
to promote themselves?
Put money
That's the thing.
into developing an app or developing a program or whatever that you go in just for a hub when all they need to do is just get all the announcement trailers and put them on a big thing and go.
Well, yeah,
well,
I
that
agree.
was still
Like,
required that they were supported by all these other developers.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part.
And that's the hard part.
Now that we all have kind of accepted this world where we don't have to go to an expo in order to see this kind of stuff, then the value that it held for a lot of people just doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
You know, there's no reason to have to pay a whole bunch of money to try to travel to see some shit that you can easily see online in the same capacity. So,
do you remember the way that they did that with PlayStation Home? Did you mess around with PlayStation Home at all?
Yeah.
So it was like Second Life or what the fuck
Right,
ever,
yeah.
right? You make your person and then you can walk around.
I kind of forgot all about that shit.
Right, but PlayStation Home would have these kind of events where it'd be like, oh, hey, we're showing off a trailer, and you could go into a room and you could hang out with people and this kind of thing and have chat amongst yourself while there's a big screen playing a thing. I could see that
Fortnite a lot.
Yeah, and I could see that being the kind of platform moving forward rather than having actual events, Right. But I also agree with you. This seems like something an individual company would do rather than having a large event that contains everything.
It'd be too expensive,
and
especially
Nintendo's never going to do it.
No, exactly. They would never be a part of it. A lot of people wouldn't be a part of it. I think that we are seeing the death of E3. And if they do come up with something that's really, really innovative for next year, more power to them.
Oh, and he's right. Don't forget about Jeff Keighley's weird ass Game Awards.
Right.
Right.
The game advertisements.
Hey, I'm friends with Hideo Kojima. Right?
All right.
And then the return of G4.
Yeah.
And that, buddy boy,
The return and quick
demise.
Real fast. we like shooting feet over here.
Right?
That's what we like doing.
God. All right.
Oh, man. Okay, Scott.
This
unload on this.
This kind of sucks. It doesn't. I don't think it sucks as bad as I thought it was when I first read this, but I was pissed when I first read this.
Yes,
the original OST is not going to be available in the Radical Dreams edition of Chrono Cross, which really sucks because that was honestly my favorite part of the whole fucking game.
Yeah.
Right.
Playing it. I mean, the game is great in general, but that music just
bops,
bangs,
boy.
dude.
Yeah.
It bangs. But what it is I think there was a miscommunication. People were reporting that you were going to be able to switch between the original and the rearranged soundtrack.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're like completely revamping the soundtrack. It's going to be slightly different.
Yeah.
I'm assuming more upgraded than anything else. So you'll still get those same bangers, and it'll probably sound a lot better. But
they just won't sound how you remember them.
They won't sound the same.
They won't
exactly
sound
it.
the same, and there's a little bit of like, a part of me that's like, super nostalgic for those tracks.
Yeah.
That's a little disappointed, and like this being a I don't think it would have been that hard to maybe not even have it where you can play those songs in the game, just have it as like something that you go scroll down the menu and it's like original OST or some shit.
Well, the question is why? Because I mean, it wouldn't take up much space.
It wouldn't take up much space.
Paid DLC, guys.
Fuck you.
Probably. I mean, honestly,
the problem. You are the problem.
You know what?
God damn it, 'cause you're probably right.
I'm about to say, the problem is again, he's
probably
He's
right.
probably right. $10, dude. $9.99.
$2.
No.
Square-
$7.99 a track.
So there was there were these articles going around saying that were potentially going to be able to swap between the original OST, and Square came out and put a squash to that.
Put the kibosh on it.
Kibosh on it, and was just like, nope, no original OST. It's just
word.
going to be the remastered, rearranged score.
Yeah.
So
because this is what happened with ActRaiser.
Yeah.
ActRaiser, they completely redid the soundtrack, but I really want to say that you can listen to the OG soundtrack on ActRaiser.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Although they completely fucked that game
with
up.
remasters when they give you the ability to like change the filters so that it is either the classic version or it's the remastered version. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really, really cool.
I mean, I thought it was
preservation of like gaming history. Man.
Yeah,
even if you're gonna get a newer version of the same thing, it's also always nice to have the original just so you can kind of compare and contrast. But again, companies aren't really worried about that. They're worried about getting the biggest audience and to buy the game.
Because Halo
again,
Master
like,
Chief Collection did that, where you could
Yeah.
swap back and forth between original and updated graphics.
Yeah.
You know, and that's cool shit. You know.
Yeah.
But I agree with you though. This is it's the easiest thing to add.
It's the easiest thing to
fucking
add. And you know what? This isn't really like. Again, I was really pissed when I heard this
Yeah.
because again, I'm like, I want that.
You
fucking
thought the
OST.
music was gone.
I thought it was just gone.
You thought
and they
new
were just
music
gonna replace
altogether.
It.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, how are they gonna like have that badass intro without that fucking music? You know, like.
Or maybe they, due to the fact that everyone's looking at backwards compatibility now, maybe they're like, we still want you to play the original one now that you have access to it. And so this is the whole new one. If you want those old tracks, go play the old version.
Play the old shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not
take
like
your
I don't
ass.
have that shit already downloaded on my PS3. So
Right.
I mean,
Oh,
I have access to the
original
original
Chrono
game if
Cross,
I
yeah.
really want it. But I'm just like,
But it does.
but again, it's
just,
one of those things where it's just like, man, it wouldn't have taken you any effort
well, it's
to
like,
at
who
least
is this
put the
for?
OST.
Is this
Yeah.
for the people who want that nostalgia, or is
Yeah,
it
or
for
is it
a
a
new
new crowd,
generation
yeah.
to
Yeah.
enjoy Chrono Cross
Yeah.
in a more modern sense? You know, so
I don't know that a new generation gives a shit.
well, it's a new game.
New
And
game, new
people,
game.
a lot of people know Chrono, the Chrono series by its legacy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so a lot of people are gonna play this game just because they're like, oh, this is the Chrono Trigger everybody's talking
Well,
about.
and
Yeah.
for
it's like,
everybody,
no, it's not.
And for everybody that grew up with this series and never actually got to play Radical Dreamers, we're gonna be able to play
Yeah.
Radical Dreamers
Yeah.
now.
Right.
Which I still don't know what it
Absolutely.
is, I'll be honest.
Dude,
I think
all
me
I
and you were
know-
talking about it a bunch, and I
feel
still
like
don't
it's a
know
lot
what it
more
is.
of a visual novel.
I'd
kind of
like
thing,
to be
where
sure
it's
about
more, It's a
that,
lot more
'cause-
reading, but
yeah.
like that's
I
what
don't know.
I've gathered from
Yeah.
like videos talking about it and shit.
Chrono
Give
should've
me
been in
a
Smash.
Skies of Arcadia.
There you
Yeah,
go.
dude.
Give me Skies of Arcadia remastered
God.
right now.
Shit, just port Chrono Cross or Chrono
Chrono
Trigger.
Trigger.
That's all
Just
you
port
want.
Dude, they're
Trigger.
holding it.
That's
They're
all
holding
I
it.
ever
We're not
want.
gonna see that shit until after they're done with Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
And then that's gonna be next up. I'm
Yeah.
calling it here.
And then
All right, so we'll see it by the time we're 80.
we'll get it
Yeah, by
translated
the
Mother
time we're
3 in
80.
20
Right,
years. too.
When my thumbs have fallen off, I'm all shaky.
You
shit,
know,
I
we'll
can't
have
play
like
it.
neural implants for controllers by that
Yeah,
point. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
right.
So that's fine. You don't need your thumbs.
With
Right.
Elon Mollusk over there.
Yeah, Jeffrey Mullis.
Jeffrey Mollusk.
Oh god, he's such a dick. He's such a dick.
So second season of Made in Abyss.
Season 2 announced, gonna be here in July.
Yeah, nice.
This year, so coming around the corner. I'm fucking stoked.
The show is amazing.
This
I want to
is
watch it so bad.
dude.
I'll start it tonight.
I don't care if I'm being hyperbolic. This is the best anime that's come out in the past 10 years.
Damn, dude.
It's
And
my
that's a
favorite.
That's a
I really
high
like
fucking
Kaisen.
bar.
It's
that's
my
a high
yeah,
bar. To
I
clear.
really
like
do
Kaisen,
still need to see
man.
some
I know,
jujitsu.
dude.
Yeah,
dude,
it's good,
look,
man.
Jujutsu Kaisen is great, but like I told you, with a lot of anime, I have to kind of like figure out, okay, what is this person like? What is this person into? With Made in Abyss, watch it. No matter who you are.
Yeah, I
it's
found
the
out
anime
it's on,
for everybody.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
It's
it
on
is.
Prime.
You can
It's
watch
not
it
on
there.
Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
But
There's also a movie too.
it's also a
which is really
movie.
good.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Man, what's it called?
Dawn in the Deep Souls.
That's what it's called? Something like
Is
that?
that it?
Something
I mean, that
like
was.
that.
Yeah.
I would
You
watch
know,
that.
It's
Dawn in the
he's-
Deep
he's
Souls.
so-
Like,
yeah,
oh man,
something.
all right, sounds provocative.
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 But no, this is one of my favorite anime.
Yeah.
Ever.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I'm gonna let
I
you
mean, it
borrow
looks
the
beautiful.
first season.
Like
Yeah.
it looks.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, like I said, if it's on Prime, then
Oh,
I've
if it's
got
on
it.
Prime,
Yeah,
that's
then
right.
I've got it.
I just need to
And-
throw the movie up.
Right. So once I
on
finish
Drive for it.
Akudama Drive, I'm gonna start Made in Abyss.
Oh,
You
dude,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Finish Akudama Drive first, and then jump on this.
Which I
because
might
once
just
you
do that.
jump on this,
Uh-huh.
you're
You're
gonna
gonna be
hooked.
stuck.
How many
You're stuck.
episodes?
12?
Yeah, not the first
So
season.
it's
isn't
not
very
that
not
long.
long.
No,
Like 20
no.
minute episodes? Or
Yeah,
Yeah.
20, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Less
yeah,
than 30
shit,
minutes.
yeah.
Dude, you're
Done
going
with
to
this
knock it
quick.
out so quick, and,
Dude.
and you're
Oh,
not going
man.
to be able to stop. Like,
No,
really, dude.
once you-
It's,
yeah, for real.
And the movie is slightly parallel, but mostly a continuation of
It's
the,
a continuation
same
of the story.
Yeah,
Okay.
it has a
So
little bit
it'll
of a
be the
during,
first-
but then mostly after
Yeah,
the story.
first season, then the like the movie pretty much focuses on like just one aspect. of the
Exactly,
Abyss.
yeah, a
So
very
it's not like
specific
it's not
thing.
like what they did with Mugen Train with Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
You know how they're like the movie was actually a second arc.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is like that, or is
it's
Yeah,
a lot
it's
like
kinda-
that.
yeah.
Oh,
it's a
okay.
lot like that. I mean, it is manga accurate as a lot of these things can be.
Yeah.
Got ya.
You know, so I mean, it's not like this is a side story. They just made up a story. No, this
Naruto,
shit
they do
happens
that shit
in
all
the
the time.
fucking manga.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but yeah, second season in July. I'm fucking hype.
Okay.
It's looking
Yeah.
good.
All right, I'm in.
I'm gonna do this, and I'll be
I'm
right
gonna
back.
do this.
wanna
Okay,
do
so
this?
Netflix is.
How hyped did you get when you saw this?
Oh, dude, I'm so hyped.
Did you get super hyped?
I'm so happy. I'm so happy Ghostbusters finally getting some love, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, after Afterlife, man, they fucking deserve it.
Yeah.
I knew after I watched Afterlife, I was like, okay, this is getting a sequel or like something else is happening with
Well,
this
I mean,
franchise.
it's like
But-
reinvigorating the entire franchise of Ghostbusters, right?
Because I mean, there it was scary. Because I mean, while I'm the easiest slave for ghosts and lasers, I have to admit, a lot of that stuff that was coming out was garbage.
Yeah, it was trash.
You know.
Yeah.
But like Afterlife did really well. Netflix this is a show, and
Yeah.
it's going to be a continuation of the Afterlife with those same characters. Like McKenna Grace is coming
Dude,
back.
it's like that's what everything's doing. It's like with the game that's coming out. It's like everything's
Yeah.
like, okay, here's the ending, the post-credit scene for Afterlife,
Mhm.
and everything's gonna start from there.
Yeah.
You know, and that is a brilliant strategy.
I love it.
It's so smart.
It breathes new life into this, franchise that while I still love it, it really kind of needed an injection of something different.
Right.
And I mean, they can keep going, and they can keep going on this track, and I'll fucking follow them.
Yeah.
Rock the Dwayne Johnson's gonna be in this.
Rock the Dwayne. I love that. His real name is Rock.
His
all
real
right?
name is Rock.
Dwayne
So
is
he's
the
joining
alter ego.
Yeah, he's joining the cast. I want to see that big motherfucker in a proton pack. Like
I love
that's hype.
Dwayne Johnson is amazing.
He's just got a lot of charisma.
Yeah, he does. He does.
And that's it.
Yeah.
He just knows how to fucking work that camera.
Yeah. He can work that thing.
He worked that thing.
Yeah,
but
totally.
this is cool.
I wonder who he's gonna be.
I mean, he's gonna have to be like a newer character.
Right,
You
right.
know?
I mean, I guess this whole thing because it's Ghost Corpse.
It's Ghost Corpse. That's
Ghost Corpse. There's a chance that this might be the Ghostbusters global franchise movement that we've been talking about for a long time. Where all of a sudden it's like, here's this set of Ghostbusters.
And we don't have a lot of
Is there another
information
one?
about this.
No, that's a big ass hornet.
Oh yeah, let's not say we did.
Yeah, we don't really have a lot of information other than The Rock's going to be joining the cast.
The Rock says.
McKenna Grace and what's the dude from the guy who played her brother from
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. He's going to be coming in. So what it might end up being is they may go back to New York, and like you'll probably get a cameo from Winston or Ray or something like that.
Get to see his bookstore.
Yeah, you get to see his bookstore.
I want to see
again.
this occult bookstore.
This is all speculation. This
Yeah.
is something that I as soon as I read this, I was just like, oh, they could do this. They could do this. They could do
Instant
this.
Scott headcanon
Yeah,
is what
exactly.
happens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
oh,
that's
yeah.
where the fun lives.
Yeah,
And,
for real.
Speaking of Stranger Things, they just released information on season 4 of Stranger Things as well. So we have that
cool.
coming down the pipeline. And this one, they're going to horror.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're
instead of
going
the
to
camp.
horror?
Well, yeah, instead of being, because everything got a little campy and quirky there.
Yeah.
It was
The
more
first
like
season
that.
was better than
First
than the other
Exactly.
two.
Great.
First season was
2 and 3 were
darker,
good.
and they were good, but they were
Yeah.
more entertaining than they
Yes.
were scary. This one is more along the lines of like Nightmare on Elm Street. And so it has kind of that darker vibe going.
Okay.
And so I'm really excited to see like instead of like Ghostbusters, okay, as a franchise, for a while there it seems like Hollywood was just like, God, we got to find some way to make money, right?
Yeah.
So let's try Ghostbusters. We'll give it all female cast or whatever, and that's all we need. And it's like
it
it
was
kind of works,
fine.
doesn't really work.
Well,
you know?
it's like it's one of those things. It's just like the movie's not bad because what everybody wanted to say is because they cast all lady Ghostbusters. What the fuck ever.
No, it's
the
just
movie was bad
uninspired.
Right.
because
Yeah.
it was bad.
Yeah.
It's like, but
That's
it seems like-
happenstance.
Right.
Yeah.
where They were just trying to cash in.
Yeah.
Afterlife is like a labor of love, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden it's like you see the effort that they really put into that script. You see the effort that they put into all their practical effects, You see the effort that, these actors, put into their performances, and it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
like wow, man, you made me feel like
Made me
a
feel
kid
something,
again.
yeah.
That like watching Ghostbusters 2 for the first time, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you managed to actually rekindle that spark, and I didn't think that was possible.
Yeah.
And so now, like, going from that and spider webbing out
Oh
into
yeah.
all the
Hey,
directions
hit
that
it
they're
while the
doing.
iron's hot.
Absolutely.
Like I'm all about it. I
Yeah.
want more I always
yeah.
want more Ghostbusters.
Did you
We
ever get
know
another
you do.
Ghostbusters tattoo?
Oh yeah.
If you were to get another Ghostbusters tattoo, because you have what, 3 right now?
Just the two.
Just the 2?
Just the two.
Okay, you got Slimer and you got the Stay
The
Puft?
no ghost kind.
Okay, what
Stay
would your
Puft's
next
going
one
right
be?
here.
Would that be
Stay
the
Puft's
next
right
one?
here. More than likely.
Okay.
More than likely Stay Puft, because I have a whole back piece planned out.
Okay.
Eventually.
You don't want the
Terror
librarian?
Dog's right
Say,
here.
get Vigo the Carpathian. Janusz?
Yeah, I mean, I
What's
might.
his name, Janusz?
I might,
No.
yeah.
That Janusz was...
Janusz was number 2.
Yeah.
That's Vigo's lackey.
Yes.
That weird guy.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I love
that
You know, like
actor.
when
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
like, find me a
command
child.
me on.
Yeah, he's like, find me a child that I might live again. And he's like, whoop, whoop,
A
whoop.
child.
A child. A child? Yeah, he was all, like, patting up his body.
That's good shit.
Love it.
Oh God.
I can't wait. I can't wait. And it looks like it'll be spring next year. So awesome. All about it.
Right? Janusz. Oh, really?
Oh, he hated his name?
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah.
Janusz did have a very specific accent.
Yeah.
You know, very Janusz
Very,
accent.
It's very
it's
Janusz.
quite
You know?
Janusz. Yeah. Do I detect some Janusz in that? Are you from Janland?
The son of your compadre, the sorrow of Moldavia, command you.
That's good shit.
Please don't get me started. I know that whole shit.
Okay.
Yeah, move on. We got to get to this movie, dude, because this news is awesome.
We got one more.
We got to talk about some
slap
shit.
heard
What's a
around the
five
world.
finger say
What's the
to the face? Lord,
Oh my God.
Lord.
All right, so there's a lot to cover here. There's a lot. I think everybody's already talked about this a bunch.
knows what's going on.
We
with
know
this.
what's going on,
just
right?
Have to do it.
There's a couple of different camps moving here, right? There's a couple and guess what? Nobody gives a shit about Chris Rock getting hit in the face. Only comedians care that Chris Rock got hit in the face. Everybody else is talking about it in a different direction. They're either talking about it as like, oh, Will Smith broke the law. He assaulted somebody. Or they're like, Will Smith, did what was right and defended his wife.
I think
or
people care about Chris Rock's perspective on it. It's just that he hasn't spoken.
I think
right?
only
He's like,
comedians give a shit about Chris Rock.
I think that people are like, oh, congratulations to Chris for keeping his composure. It was really kind of crazy because for a lot of people wouldn't have.
Dude, I mean, you could see it on his face.
That shade.
He was shaking. He was definitely
Oh,
shaking.
yeah, he was.
But he didn't get angry at him.
No,
and he laughed
but
it off.
what he did was after he got hit, and he was just like, oh my God, dude, that was a G.I. Jane joke.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Come on,
he's
man.
still processing it and trying to figure out, like, okay, what's this guy on? Is he just trying to make a joke? Or he actually just fucking hit me and just walked off. But he stopped and he just kind of stared and he's like, well, and what he's doing at that point in time, I'm telling you, this man is playing out so many different scenarios.
He's
in
like,
his
I could
brain.
say
If I
this.
say this, here's what happens.
That won't be good.
If I do this, here's what happens. And he's just like, and what he lands on is that was an amazing moment for television.
He
Yeah.
took,
You know,
he took the
Like, he
absolute
took
high road.
the highest road you could
Dude,
take.
he fucking.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't the host of a show. He was just presenting an award.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so there's so much to unpack, and everybody knows, man. Everybody knows that Will, was quite tickled by the situation until he saw Jada's face. Right?
Dude, he was laughing his ass off,
Yeah,
and then he
was having
turned
a good
around,
time. and she had that look.
Xerxes
and
was angry.
was like, she was mad, and it's funny because like I said, I have a lot of thoughts on this, but when
because
he's
there's a lot.
walking
This is
up, when he walks up to Chris Rock, I think that he still didn't have a plan. Until he got up to him,
and he's like,
then
"I guess I gotta hit him.
I have to do it now.
I
gotta do it.
I've come this far.
I've
honestly
gotta do it. And after he hit him, and he turns around, he walks back. The look on his face is like he knows that
like,
he just threw everything away.
Yeah,
I just burned everything for this reason, which in my brain seems right, but it also seems wrong. And that's why when he sat down and he's yelling, "Get my wife's name out your fucking mouth," you can see like he's tearing up, man. He's not an idiot.
No,
Will Smith is not a dumb dude.
No,
you know what I'm saying? But he
right
has
now
been emasculated for years.
He's not only been emasculated for years. I mean, there's been, he came out and was talking about how like less than a year ago he tried to kill himself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right?
Like, Will is not okay,
dude. This is all Jada.
But this is his outburst of him not being okay.
Yeah, because people have been playing him soft for so long to the point that now even his marriage is in question because the old girl still got shit for Tupac, and now she has her own podcast, and so she's gonna invite everybody into their bedroom. And now that embarrasses him and the family in multiple ways.
Yeah.
The funny part about this though is that by going forth with his current action, all right, and you do it under the guise of defending your family, what you've actually done is you put your wife right there directly in the line of fire where her public image is shot
dude, because all people have been doing is ripping her to pieces.
Dude, it's like, oh no, she's a devil.
People aren't even really making fun of Will. They're fucking making fun of Jada.
Right. So what you've done is you made this moment that could have been a flicker and gone away. You made it into the focal point of. There is a goddamn war happening, and nobody cares right now because of a goddamn slap on the Oscars.
How can he slap?
Nobody was even watching the Oscars. Right. Nobody knows. They have
no one gave a fuck about the Oscars until that slap.
I mean, like a lot of people are talking about how the Chris Rock portion, or the Ricky Gervais portion of the Oscars is the only part of the Oscars anybody gives a shit about.
Right. Exactly.
That's the only thing drawing people in.
Because everything else is just like, wealthy, powerful people jerking in a circle jerk.
But it's always been a roast.
We are.
Dude, it's always been a roast
has
with the
always
comedians.
been a roast.
So to show up there live and not expect to get heckled a little bit is stupid.
Don't sit on the front row.
Yeah.
Don't go to a comedy show and sit on the front fucking row.
We got to talk about this Wayans Brothers sketch.
The one where and everybody comes
this is
out.
Like 20 fucking years ago.
98.
Dude,
97?
so like 25 years ago is what you're saying to me. They predicted Chris Rock talking shit and getting slapped.
Somebody walked up there and slapped his ass.
Right.
Next thing you know, everybody came up, started stomping on him and shit.
Yeah.
And
so that's not even the weird part about it. Like, it's kind of like, oh yeah, eventually somebody was going to hit him. Everybody hates Chris, right?
Well, everybody hates Chris, and I mean that's the truth, man. He's a master of his craft. He's really good at what he does.
And he's got a point though. Did Chris Rock even write that fucking joke?
Yeah.
Wait, what are we talking about? What joke?
The Jada joke, the G.I. Jane joke.
Oh, yeah.
Did he even write that joke?
He didn't write it. No, it was off the cuff. He just saw her. He was in a flow state, man. He was just doing the shit.
There you go.
Yeah, he was talking about.
Because sometimes they'll have here's some jokes that we're
and whatever. No. He was just like, it was off script.
Yeah.
And so he was just like doing it, and then he just happened to see her, and Will's having a good time vibing.
He
knew everyone knew that Will was about to win the award for best actor. Everyone knew that, and so he's like, oh, and Jada, G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
Exactly. It was a zinger.
Like,
that was good. And then some people started booing, and he was just like, what? He's like, that was a nice one.
That was a good one.
That was a nice one. Like, whatever. And then everything went south, And so, and furthermore, not only what we saw was all of his frustrations, all of Will Smith's frustrations coming to a head.
Over
years, he didn't slap Chris Rock, he slapped us.
He slapped an idea.
He slapped, yes.
Yeah,
he slapped a perception.
Yes.
And he slapped his own frustration. He slapped himself. That was a lot of complicated emotion that we saw culminate at one fucking time. It was just an error.
If it was somebody else, he wouldn't have hit him, though.
Oh, no, if it was somebody else, they would have escorted him out because they asked him to leave, and he refused to leave. Yeah, they were like, after that, because people were like, there should be backlash, he refused to leave. He was like, I'm going to get my award.
And I feel mixed on that one, too, because, I agree that them asking him to leave and then kind of him refusing and then being like, well, okay, that wouldn't have happened to anybody.
Oh,
it's because it's fucking Will
If he would have
Smith,
slapped a white dude, it would have been, depending on the white dude.
If he'd slapped Bill Burr, you know what I mean? I don't think he'd give a shit. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like,
it would be a different
Bill
thing,
Burr,
you know what I'm saying? But if you slap like Tom Hanks, we got problems.
We got fucking problems. Yeah.
But
because it was Chris Rock,
if someone else had done the slapping, it would have been problems.
Right.
Yeah. It's just because he's one of the most powerful men in Hollywood, and of course, since then he is, he has stepped down from the Academy.
He called him Rich, dude. He called him Richard when he got up on the stage too. He's like, "Whoa, Richard!"
And that's a funny thing, man, because he used that as part of his acceptance speech. He got all emotional. He's just like, I'm portraying this character who's very strong, protecting his family. Art imitates life, all this kind of shit. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about their father, who you're now tarnishing his name just right here in front of the entire globe, that's great. Good job for you. Even his representation of being a strong father that protected his kids was never him being a violent man.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That's the difference, man.
He was hard, but he wasn't a violent
man. And he's willing to stand up for his shit, but he's not willing to just resort to violence. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, dude, if he'd walked up on that stage and put his hand on Chris Rock's shoulder and been like, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth,
that would have been
then sat
epic.
back down.
It would have been legendary.
Then it would have been then Chris would have been like, oh shit, okay.
And the world would have been like, wow.
And he would have got the same point point across that he was trying to get without looking weak. In
Exactly.
That situation.
Exactly. Because now he looks like he can't handle his emotions.
That's it.
And the worst thing, man, is like, look, I don't like to just be racially charged in this show, but Will Smith is one of those weird, unelected, unvoted for ambassadors of the black community.
I got you.
All right, so it's kind of like
Key and Peele.
Well, kind of. No, something else, but more like, what was his name? Is he gonna have to slap a bitch?
Wayne Brady.
Kind of like Wayne Brady. You know what I'm saying? Like, people like him. White folks like him. But seriously, like,
Who's
over his career, hey man, you know, but over the course of Will Smith's career, I mean, it's pretty much just been a flawless run.
Yeah.
You know, even Wild Wild West, we forgave him for. You know, he got $20 million for that shit.
Oh,
you know
didn't
what I'm
like that movie?
Yeah, I mean,
it's fun.
It's fun. It's trash. You know
it's
what I'm saying?
Trash.
It's trash. You know what I'm saying? We got the song.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
We got those Western burgers at Burger King.
There we go. Those were fire. You know, but I mean, his career has been, you know, pretty much impeccable from beginning to this point, right? And so for him to just, you know, make this judgment call at a place like the Academy Awards, you know, that is one of the whitest rooms known to.
You know, you're gonna scare all these white folks, dude.
Well,
what are you doing?
Or what you're gonna do is you're gonna confirm some people's belief and suspicion
in some kind
about people that look like you, right?
Absolutely.
So, like, when all this happened, I couldn't help but feel like, bro, you're I'm gonna get judged for this.
Yeah.
You know,
you're fucking it up. You're fucking it up, man.
Somebody's gonna be like, that's what I thought. Those monkeys. You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
Yep.
what the fuck, dude? Just like, why you gotta bring violence, especially like hitting Chris Rock of all goddamn people?
Come on, man. It's Chris Rock.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
And
you don't need
got
to
like
hit him.
at least like what 60 pounds on him.
Really?
At least like what 7, 8
That's
inches.
pretty good form. I think he had really good form for the slap,
and
dude.
then an open hand slap is just pure disrespect.
You
know what I'm saying?
It's
not
a
like
follow
punch.
through. He followed through.
Oh yeah, he did, and Chris Rock didn't budge.
Man.
It's like he's been hit before. You saw he kind of planted his feet
because
he was like, okay, he's
like,
coming
oh,
up.
no.
I don't know what's about to happen. But he ain't gonna do anything crazy.
Definitely been hit
like,
before.
Like, what? You know, and so it was just wild, man. And,
it really is.
And we're just seeing the beginning of the end because he has to. Firstly, resigning from the academy, had to do it, right? There's nothing else you can do.
Yeah,
you had to do it.
Yeah.
Secondly, he's gonna have to keep his head down for a long
little bit.
They're not
time.
gonna be like inviting him to make any movies anytime soon.
Nope. And there are a lot of people who will boycott his movies because
of this.
There's not. Well, also because he's been able to do it without penalty.
Without that,
you know?
That's the biggest thing here, man.
Right.
Yeah,
you know,
that's pissing a lot of people off.
Right.
You
like
know?
you were saying about comedians earlier.
Right.
Like for a comic, this is a horror story.
For dude, a bunch of comics who come out, like Tom Segura came out and he was like, "Fuck Will Smith, fuck the Academy. I can't fucking believe this is going on. This is setting a precedent that we can just hit comedians because of the shit that comes out of their mouth."
People will me too that
right.
shit. They will copycat it. Get ready to hear it in a lot of music, a lot of rap songs. Get ready. There's already remixes and
man,
shit.
You know everybody was writing lines about that shit.
It's slapping season. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot that, you know, there's already a war on comedy.
Yeah.
You know, and that's unfortunate as in a global perspective. You know, from a freedom of speech perspective, there's a war on comedy, and that's scary, man. It's scary where people's feelings are coming into play, and that's all that matters are individuals' feelings, you know? Ricky Gervais was talking about it. He's just like, dude, he's like, if I'm so worried about one person's feelings, then I'll never be able to talk about anything.
Serious.
You know, you can't have any conversations if that's your main point of focus, right?
Yeah.
And so it's to this point now where one of the most powerful men in Hollywood is able to walk up to a comedian because he doesn't like what he says, slaps him. There are going to be tons of people who just do that shit because that's what they saw him do. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we can act wild like this?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like, I never even thought about that. Like hecklers usually yell from the crowds.
You'll see videos on YouTube popping up, and it's not even motherfuckers getting offended. And it's going to be titled, "Slap This Boy Like Will Smith."
Dude, there's going to be a TikTok slap challenge.
TikTok
you know what I'm saying?
Challenge. Where motherfuckers are going to go up to comedians and just slap them because they know they're going to get
trying to get clout.
Shit. Yeah.
Dude. Absolutely, man. And
it's a flood. The floodgates are open.
It's infuriating. It's infuriating.
Yeah. I still think Chris Rock is taking it amazingly well. He hasn't even thrown shade out to Will.
No. He's like he said he's still processing.
Right.
He's like he's not going to talk about it quite yet. That's
because he did a show
move.
like 2 nights later or something.
Well, like the next night.
It was the next night.
Yeah. And so he had another show. He was like, I want to do my show.
And so he's taken the proper approach, but that's got to be a difficult one because you don't want to tear somebody else down. He could end his career if he wanted to. He could put that man in jail. You know what I'm saying?
He could. But I also know that Chris Rock probably sees this situation a lot more objectively and is looking at it and be like, no, man, I'm not going to do that to Will.
They're both from the hood.
Right.
They're both street gangs
and he's like, hey, man, sometimes you say something, you get hit for it, okay? Sometimes you, but
But
at the same time, he's going like, but I'm not trying to ruin Will's situation. He's already in a fucked up situation.
But at the same time, this is how people are going to also view you for the rest of your life.
Right.
It doesn't go away.
I really think he's going to come out on top of this just because of the way he took it.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're always going to look at it and be like,
real man.
you got hit, but you took it like about as best you fucking could.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because there are a lot of people. Shannon Sharp was talking about it.
Yeah.
He was like, they would have been throwing me out, that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'd be in prison right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then again, Will wouldn't have hit him.
Yeah. I mean, Will wouldn't have hit anybody else.
And then furthermore, man, while he's talking about defending his family,
Yeah.
this is gonna like set a terrible precedent. This is gonna set a terrible. It's gonna be a horrible environment for Willow and Jaden.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Jaden actually responded that day, and he was just like, "That's how we do." And it's just like, okay, I get it. I get where you're coming from.
Wrong, man.
But what this is all of a sudden people are gonna judge you based on this action, man. Like you placed your family under greater scrutiny all of a sudden, right? And so, God, man, it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
I find this whole thing incredibly heartbreaking.
One interesting perspective I heard somebody talk about too is I heard somebody saying, out of all the people, Chris Rock should have known better than to make fun of Jada's hair. Specifically,
but he didn't know. He said that he didn't know she had alopecia. Look, man, here's the other. God damn it, there's so much, right? There's so much to unpack. This shows you how narcissistic that woman is. Not everybody follows your shit, Jada.
Yeah.
I don't follow your shit, Jada.
Nobody even knew you had alopecia.
Yeah, I didn't know you had alopecia.
Yeah.
You've cut your hair short before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've done that. Like,
it doesn't even look like she has alopecia.
No,
it just
she
looks like
shaved
she's
her
got a
head.
buzz cut.
Yeah, she's got a shaved ass head. You know, she probably uses makeup or whatever on top of
Yeah.
it, and that's fine. But not everybody watches your podcast. Not everybody cares what's
You
going
calm
on
down,
with you, boo.
Xerxes. Okay.
Calm down, Xerxes.
Calm down.
You know what I'm saying? Even Xerxes wasn't truly Xerxes. The actor for Xerxes was like 5'4".
Dude, he was so small.
Yeah,
he was a little bitty
you know what I'm
dude.
saying?
It's hilarious to see the actual actor. You're like, this guy.
This guy, yeah, that, you know what I'm saying? And that kills me. There's another scene or another camera angle where they show her, and she's laughing hysterically when Will hits him. And it's just like, dude, you're watching your man walk up there and sacrifice his entire career, put his entire career on the line
because
just
of your
you
pride,
feel,
because
yeah,
of your fucking
pride, your fucking ego. Who are you?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
And
you are the
hey,
reason why this guy's been feeling this way for so fucking long.
If Chris,
and even now, you're like, well, bitch, Tupac would have shot him.
Dude.
What you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck you, man. Fuck you, Jada.
Man.
Fuck you.
And if Chris Rock had made a joke about her cheating on Will again, she would have been laughing her ass off.
She would have been,
and Will would have been over there, been like, and nothing would have happened to her. You know what I mean?
Sad facts, man.
Yeah,
sad facts. And
so this is a fucked up situation. Man.
It's really bad. And the shockwaves, like the slap itself is one thing, right?
Yeah.
That's the point of impact. You throw a rock into a still lake,
and
okay,
I'll
you
agree,
get that one
it was
splash.
a little entertaining for a second, right?
I mean, yeah, it's entertaining in many ways because it's thought provoking.
It's like a car accident almost.
Yes.
You're
But
like,
then the more you think about it, the
it's
more
like,
you dig into the other layers,
and you realize
like,
there's so
this
much
is
wrong
actually
with this.
really
There's so much wrong with this
exactly.
situation.
Yeah. There's a lot, man, and it's up to. Well, really, it's up to Will, but also the Academy to figure out, like, because I don't think they're going to take that award from him. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't
think,
either.
I think they're going to let him fucking keep it, and I think he needs to.
Well,
he should give it back. He should be like, okay, I took attention away from Questlove.
That's what I was going to say. Questlove didn't even get to have his award, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, he cut down all that time. So, no, he got his award,
he did
but
get
nobody
his award?
cares.
That's
nobody
it.
cares
That's
about it. Nobody cares
Nobody
about,
even noticed it happened.
You know, like,
at
what
this
was it?
point.
We had that, what was it, a deaf, what was the name of that? God damn it. Anyway.
Was that the Lifetime Achievement Award? Was the Questlove one?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, like,
Dude,
the Williams sisters, okay?
Yeah,
like, their
absolutely.
moment was completely tarnished. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody
because
cares
now they're
about,
associated with this.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and nobody, it's just overshadowed everything. And Roman Polanski got Best Director in like 2006.
No, you got, dude.
Yeah.
You're right on that. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right about that. Roman
Yeah.
Polanski's
Oh,
also
no,
been
they're not gonna
fucking
take
up
it.
since the 60s. So
Right.
Yeah.
you know, that's a whole different thing. And everybody knew about that shit, but you know, whatever.
You know, and so this is going to do great things for the Oscars ratings. Like they already
Oh, because
said-
they've already been doing so well.
Well, no, they've been
Right.
doing abysmally, but it's like, I mean, seriously, like record lows for the. Nobody gives a
Yeah,
shit
no,
about that.
nobody
dude.
cares.
Whatever
dude.
that big
It's a
circle
bunch of rich folks patting each other on the back.
Exactly,
Well, that's what it's
exactly.
always
And
been.
what they're saying is
Yeah.
that they're trying to get Chris Rock to be the host of the 2023 Oscars now. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying? And
really?
of course, people
Get him to
will
come
watch
back?
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, and so
He's gonna come out there wearing a helmet and be like,
that'd be hilarious.
"You ain't getting me this year, motherfucker."
Big ass fucking bodyguards.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
He's gonna come on stage with Mike Tyson, be like, "Come on, fucking
Yeah.
talk shit about me."
Oh, dude, and then Denzel Washington. You know that's a really interesting thing bringing up Denzel because after the slap and whatever,
the
and they
Denzel
cut to
thing.
commercial. You know, Benedict Cumberbatch, Denzel Washington. A lot of people went up to Will and they were comforting him, which is odd. But Denzel told him, and he even said it in his acceptance speech. Denzel said it. He was like, you know, the devil comes for you at your highest points. You know what I'm saying? And they cut to Denzel, and Denzel's chewing his gum like you like to do, and he's just looking. He's not smiling. He's not just like, I'm on camera.
making that
He's
Denzel face.
He's looking at him because he's like, I just watched you throw it away. Like he's just like, I just watched you do it, and so you can see
He was disappointed.
Yeah,
in him.
dude.
Yeah,
He's
that's
like,
exactly
fuck,
it.
man. He's
Yeah.
like, wow, like you finally made it, and that's what you chose to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, and so he told him that,
Yeah.
and it's like, and he's. That's not saying, Will, in the future you need to be cognizant of this. It's like, Will, this is something you should have been cognizant of before you made this.
Yeah.
So now the devil just got you, bro.
But
you know what I'm saying?
but
What
in
do you feel about
contrast to all this, do you think the motherfucker should go to jail for this? Do you think he should fucking have charges pushed against him for this? Is that really like? Because I think that side of the conversation is reactionary, and I think it's overblown. You know what I mean? Because like, what's his name? That shitty comedy writer guy. I can't think of his name. He was like, I'm so offended by this, and Will should be taken out in handcuffs
I mean,
and all this
that's
stuff.
a
I'm
lot
like,
of people say that.
he should have
man.
been ejected, sure, but I don't think he should go to fucking jail.
I think what I think all people want to see is consequence.
Just something,
Right,
yeah,
like because
yeah.
that is, like I said, that's unprecedented. Like that would have never happened.
But people like
Look,
heads on a
okay,
chopping
how
block,
about
don't
this?
they?
How about this? Steve Carell.
Yeah.
All right, Steve Carell got lambasted by Ricky Gervais for a long time at several different events,
And most
You know what I'm saying?
likely, some of that was not scripted.
Yeah.
most likely.
Yeah, Steve Carell wants to be like, oh, he told me he was going to take some jabs at me.
Yeah.
He's like, but that's all he told. He's like, but he went in on you.
Give it back.
Yeah.
Give it back.
Made him give back the
Give
what
it
was
back.
that?
I know you have it under
Emmy?
your seat.
Yeah,
Give it
he was like,
back.
give me that Emmy. They say you carried around to get into bars. You know, to get, like, what the fuck, dude, to get into VIP events. But, you know, nobody, if there's anybody worth going up there and slapping, that would be the man.
Dude,
You
Ricky
know?
Gervais deserves a slap,
Dude,
most likely.
yeah,
I'll
was
be
that,
honest
was
with
that
you.
last
I
year's
love
Oscars
him,
where
but
he was just lambasting everybody? He's like, you know, all these motherfuckers in here, just rich people
Tim
on
Cook,
all your
dude.
fucking drugs. Yeah, dude.
Dude,
Tom Hanks was mad as fuck.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, mad as fuck. They didn't get up and slap him. You know,
They all
he's
just
over here
sat
like
there and
Jeffrey
mugged him
Epstein.
the whole
He was like,
time.
yeah, Epstein was your friend. You guys
oh
loved
my
him.
God,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. He's like, I didn't like him. You guys liked him.
He said absolutely debilitating shit about these
Yes.
people, and nobody did anything to Ricky
Nope.
Gervais.
Nope.
But you're telling me one G.I. Jane joke just because this bitch is pissed off?
Yeah.
And he gets, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
nah, man, Jada.
So yeah, man. Hey, man, just come out with your best Jada Pinkett memes.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
pro.
Yeah.
I'm supportive of
This
them.
is the Streisand effect.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
she didn't
Uh-huh.
want this kind of stuff about. Oh well, guess what? Everyone's
bad.
dogpiling on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Now-
gonna get
rice
burned
too wet.
forever.
Rice too wet. Now you have fucked up.
Yeah, rice too wet.
Rice too wet. With rice too wet. You fucked up. Start over.
Start over, man.
Don't worry. I'll go on about this for a long time, man.
No, there's this. That's the thing. It's amazing how stupid of a thing it is, and how complicated of a situation it is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's too. It's a dichotomy here that's hard to. It's hard to even put together because you're like, this is the dumbest fucking event that means so many things
Right.
at once.
Well, it also means like what does it mean to stand up for your family? What does it mean to stand up for the people that you love, right?
Yeah.
Because like those people who are in his corner, they're just like, well, you got to defend your wife, you got to protect your wife. It's like, yeah, but your wife also has to be aware of the fact that, hey, you stand at risk to ruin everything. To lose
everything.
everything.
Yeah.
And not just for yourself, but for our entire family. You know, so a moment can be just a moment. It doesn't have to be all the time. It doesn't have to be every second, every moment. And so, yeah, Rice too wet, man. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck her, man.
Well, moving on to our main topic.
For real. Now I'm hot.
It's crazy how this situation, like, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on.
That's toxic femininity.
Really.
And motherfuckers need to be talking about that shit. Okay? Let's
From the shadows.
Yeah, man, let's get real about life. Let's get real. Anyway, thank you for listening to my rant, man. I just oh god, it makes me so mad.
Next topic.
Oh, we doing that thing?
The main
movie.
topic.
Oh.
The movie.
I took notes.
He's got notes.
I've got notes.
Okay, so we're talking about Prisoners.
Uh-huh.
This is a 2013 film by Denis Villeneuve.
So
Yeah.
Starring
jump straight
Hugh Jackman.
into spoiler.
Oh, I mean, I was just gonna tell the cast.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
First, I was gonna
the
go
thing-
with the easy stuff.
Dude, yeah.
We got Hugh Jackman,
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal,
Yeah.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence fucking Howard,
Terrence
boy.
Howard.
and,
yeah.
Let's go.
yeah, it's about a
Got
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis.
Yeah.
Fuck
Viola
yeah.
Davis.
And what's her name? The Hugh Jackman's wife. I know her from so many things and can
Maria
never
Bello?
remember. Is that her name?
Is that his wife, Grace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. The cast is great in this. I love Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie.
Oh yeah.
He is never ever had sleep.
No,
That man
no,
has
he's
never
such a
slept,
sleepy
dude.
boy.
He's blinking the whole time because
Uh-huh.
he's just like, I want to take
Just
a nap.
want to lay
Just
down
wanna-
just for a minute.
I love Wayne Duvall.
Oh
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Dude.
Yes.
Oh man. And what's his name's in it too? The Riddler from Paul Dano.
Yes.
So, and then we also have what's the guy's name? The guy that's Polka Dot Man.
Oh, David Desmachin.
Yeah.
Desmachin.
Yeah.
Mm.
Dude, he. I bet that guy is a super nice, super regular dude.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he
Sounds
gets
like it.
cast in some of the
Most
weirdest fucking
interesting.
roles.
And he's a
dude.
phenomenal actor.
And
He's
great.
so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's so good at being
Yeah.
awkward and weird and kind of frightening.
kind
Yeah.
of frightening.
At the
Yeah.
same time,
Uh-huh.
like, yeah.
Just on that creepy line,
He
right?
just seems like he has secrets.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
You got-
Just his face is like, ooh, he's hiding
He's
something.
hiding
Yeah,
something. He's
Uh-huh.
got something in
He's
his
sneaky.
closet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What's up
real.
with this guy?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I mean, across the board, I think the acting in this movie is fantastic. I mean,
Fantastic.
overall, it's a great movie. I will say, trying to watch this morning,
Yeah.
I kept nodding off.
Look, okay, so what happened?
Yeah, what had happened?
Let's get everybody caught up before we
What happened?
dissect it.
All right, so we have two families that live in a nice little cul-de-sac with each other, and that would be Hugh Jackman's family and Terrence Howard's
Dovers.
family.
The Dovers and the Birches.
Dovers and the Birches.
Birches, yeah.
And they obviously hang out with each other on the weekends or wherever
Christmas
they can.
or whatever.
Yeah, you know, they
Thanksgiving,
do the
yeah.
special
Thanksgiving,
events with each other.
Yeah, it starts out, open. It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh, it is Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that they walk down the street.
The both families have husband, wife,
Yep.
middle child,
Yeah.
or older child and younger child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the younger children are kind of our main focus. They're the ones who
Yes.
want to go out and
Yeah.
go out on walks, but they always have to have the older siblings with them when they do these things.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
So the two younger daughters, and then a boy and a girl for the middle children.
Yes.
And so they're doing their Thanksgiving thing, and the kids want to go outside and play.
Joy and Anna.
And so they're like, well, you got to take your older siblings with you. You got to make sure that you're safe. And they come upon this weird RV. And nobody's seen this RV. They start trying to play on it, and they're like, "Oh no!"
The girls are like climbing on. Actually, it's just Anna.
It's just Anna
Yeah.
trying to
It's
climb up
Anna.
that
Anna's
ladder.
a donkey, bro.
Dude, seriously.
Anna a donkey. They're like, get
God.
off the RV, Anna. And Anna's
Yeah.
like, I want to climb
I
it.
want to climb it.
God.
Yeah, dude. It's like, what is that? Somebody trank her.
For real. Yeah. Well, they do.
So do, don't they? So do.
Drink this grape soda.
Yeah.
For real.
That ain't great soda.
That's that lean.
That's that's what it is.
Lean.
That's straight promethazine.
No.
So anyway, these the girls and the middle kids all go back to the house, and then the girls again ask, "Oh, hey, we need to go back home. Well, she forgot her hat."
No, she lost her whistle.
Oh, it was her whistle. That's
She She lost
She said
a
she
whistle
lost her
that
whistle.
Her dad had given her. It was like a emergency rape whistle or whatever.
Yeah,
the fuck,
yeah,
you know
totally,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? You're in
Red
danger.
whistle.
Real
Panic
red
whistle.
Yeah.
Let's say maybe.
And she said that the other little girl, Joy, was going to help her find it. They were
Right.
going to go back to their house.
But
to
again,
Right.
they were supposed to take their older siblings.
Yes.
They didn't tell their older siblings and just dipped off.
Yeah.
After about 15, 20 minutes, everybody's going, hey, where are the girls? Where'd they go?
Mm-hmm. I think it was longer than that. They made it seem like, the kids had already eaten food and
You're
the older
right,
kids
you're
were
right.
downstairs watching television.
TV.
Almost going to sleep and
acting
shit.
like they're not, fooling around with each other.
Right.
Well,
I'm just saying they don't say that in the movie, but
it's implied.
come on,
We know.
we know. But the of course both families flip the fuck out, and they're
because
trying to find their
girls are
their
missing.
2 young daughters, because what are they, like 7 and 8?
7. Yeah. Is she 6? No. She's 6. Anna's 6, and Joy is 8.
Joy's 8. Oh, okay,
Yes.
that's it. Okay, yeah,
6 and 8.
Yeah, so they're a little gap, but still,
Yeah.
and so once Anna and Joy go missing, everything
In
goes
which
to
case,
shit.
here's one of my things, and this is going to be a running theme. I just want to go ahead and say this right now. During that whole looking for the kids, of course, it starts raining immediately because that's what it do in movies. How come they yelled Joy's name one time, and the rest of it was just like Anna. I was like, Joy, anybody? You know what I'm saying? Terrence Howard said it once when he ran out. He said Joy, real quick, and it was like Anna. I was like, ain't nobody yelling for Joy? Ain't nobody yelling for Joy. It seemed like they would be like, Joy, Anna, Joy. No, man, Anna. And I was like, Anna, a donkey, man.
Yeah.
This is all her fault. Anyway, go ahead, man.
Because it's most likely her fault that they didn't ask the
You
siblings.
know.
Yeah.
You know.
Badass little
She
kid.
probably left.
Fuck.
She probably
dude.
just ran out the door.
Yeah,
You know
really.
what I'm saying?
And Joy was like,
Started climbing on
wait,
the RV.
hold on.
you gotta tell. Yeah.
Yeah. So shortly after that, you end up meeting Jake Gyllenhaal's character, who is this cop,
Very sleepy
detective Loki.
A very, very
Detective.
sleepy
Yes.
detective.
Detective Loki here,
Yeah.
who
Yes.
is
He's never failed a case. He's cracked every case that he's ever
because he
worked on.
doesn't sleep. Because the
Yeah.
man doesn't fucking sleep.
Yeah.
He's very serious about his job. He's very serious about helping out. But you can tell that he's that dynamic in the police force where he's trying to do what's best for the situation, but he has to deal with the red tape. He has to deal with all
But he's
that
also
bullshit.
so good that he can talk shit to his boss and be like, "Fuck
Right.
you."
He
Yeah.
walks
You know what
right
I'm
up to his boss and is like, "Hey, you fucked up. You were
Well,
supposed to be watching him."
there's a
But
level
anyway,
of
that's
jadedness in his character.
Oh, but dude,
Kinda
he's
that,
seen
like,
too much.
he's seen
And
too
also,
much,
he comes
yeah.
from an abusive background because he was part of the church that, had some problems with children, let's just
Yes.
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he was from a boys' home and abused a bunch and all that kind of stuff, So he grew up with that mentality, which is the whole reason why he's so diligent about these kind of cases.
Right.
Because that's him. He sees himself in these fucking
Right.
cases.
Yeah.
And so he starts trying to piece together what's going on. They tell him about the RV, at which point they find Paul Dano's character,
Yeah.
who's driving the RV.
Well, the RV was missing at first,
And they started
they had
chasing it down.
Yes, they chase it down.
Yeah.
They finally find the RV.
Well,
Paul
he-
Dano,
he
his
tries to
character
take
tries
off.
to take off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Runs
trouble.
into a tree, and then he goes hides in his RV, and
So we have our culprit.
right, we have our culprit. We caught the guy. Okay,
Right.
well, it turns out that our guy has the intellect of a 10-year-old,
Right.
Yeah.
and he's very
he can't communicate.
no, he can't.
Like,
He cannot
really at all.
At all.
Well,
Yeah.
Other than like a lot of like just kind of one word sentences.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, he's very emotionally imbalanced, very mentally not there. He's which again, Paul Dano, fucking amazing.
Oh,
Nails
he's
it.
great.
Holy
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah, he
dude!
nails
Like
it
his
all.
subtle hand movements and the things like that, and just the little. Oh my god, he sells it so well.
Yeah, he does.
And so then you start feeling sympathy for this guy, and you're like, well, okay,
We don't know what the situation is,
Yeah.
or is he pretending?
right? Because
Right.
you,
You know?
you still don't know in this thing,
Mm-hmm.
but
Because he's denying everything while he's in the interrogation rooms.
right.
And but then they end up releasing him because they have nothing really to hold him on, and he's mentally inept.
And as he's leaving, he says to
Well, this is when Hugh Jackman's character
Keller,
yeah.
Dover Keller finds out that they're going to let him go,
And he
and
rides
so
up
he
there.
rides up
Yeah.
there. He rolls up on him, and he just pushes through everybody and grabs him. And
he says they didn't scream until until I dropped them off.
Well, he's like, they didn't
said?
scream until they didn't start screaming until I left them.
They didn't start screaming until I left them. And the look on his face
But
is
he
like,
was
what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah,
What'd you just
Keller was
say?
the only one that heard it.
Right.
Nobody else heard him
And
say
from
it.
that point on, he claims he never
He's
said
obsessed.
it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
He doesn't say anything.
He doesn't say
claim
anything
that he
at all.
didn't say it.
You're right.
He just doesn't say anything. There's nothing else for him to say. And so he ends up being who is that? Jake Gyllenhaal. What's his name? Loki.
Loki, yeah.
ends up going back and questioning the guy again and asking him about if he knows anything else, et cetera, et cetera.
And he just
of
doesn't
course
say
he's
shit.
Like, no.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't say shit.
That's it.
And
Dude, and he starts getting
so-
uncomfortable with that man.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
He
When he's
really
got him up
does.
against the wall and everything. Ooh, because
Yeah.
the cops have to pull him off of this kid.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
he knows something's afoot. He knows
right,
something's going
but
on.
are we talking about the same guy? I think
Yeah,
this happened
dude.
with the second guy.
Loki got up on.
That was the second dude.
That was the second dude.
That was the second dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one
He
Loki
still-
was just like he's just he doesn't he's an idiot, man. There's nothing we can do with
Yeah.
this. We gotta just let him go.
Yeah.
He asked his police chief to surveil the guy, but the
Right.
police
Put him on
chief's like
24-hour surveillance,
right, and
which
the
he
chief's
promises
like,
him to do.
Yeah, he says that he's gonna do it, but he's like, I don't want to allocate the budget towards it. He doesn't actually do it
Because he's trying to get him to
So-
hold him for one more day.
Just
he's
one
like,
more
just
day.
let,
Just one more
just
day.
have him here so I
Right.
can figure this shit out. Okay.
Yeah, and so then Keller's like,
And the next scene that we see is this boy walking around with a dog, and Keller's stalking him, and he picks
That
this dog up
shit.
by the leash and is strangling
him.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and immediate psychopath territory
Right.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? And so then Keller is convinced,
That is
Yeah.
him.
100%,
Yeah.
this is the kid that did it.
Right.
There's no way about it. And abducts him.
yeah,
Yep.
And puts him in an abandoned building that Keller's working on with his construction company.
yeah, it's a building that he owns. He got it from his father.
I thought it was
and-
his father-in-law.
No,
Whatever.
it was his dad.
Yeah.
He got it from his dad, and they were talking about it earlier, like if they were going to fix it up, and he's like, it's too expensive to fix it up, and it's a shithole,
Yeah.
so whatever. But he owned this bit of property.
That's right, yeah.
That he used to live in that house,
And
a
it
long
was
time ago.
being worked on, but now it's just an abandoned,
It's-
boarded up
yes,
place.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so he abducts this kid and puts him there, and during this whole situation, they're still out looking, right? And Keller keeps playing it off as though he's out wandering,
Looking
for his
Anna.
daughter.
looking for
Yeah,
his
looking
daughter
for-
and
yeah.
getting drunk, basically, you know?
Yeah.
And
She
he-
plays to the letter.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, seriously, yeah. And then he hits up Terrence Howard's character.
Terrence Howard's character
Yeah.
is Franklin.
Franklin, and he says, Franklin, you're coming with me.
Mm-hmm.
Bring
Gotta
a
show you
change of
something.
clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time, Franklin's like, are you going to tell me why I'm bringing a change of clothes?
Better,
better
if
that
I
I
show
show
you.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he shows that he has this kid handcuffed in a fucking bathroom
Mm-hmm.
and proceeds to beat the shit out of him to get this information
Beat his
out.
eyes shut.
Dude.
Oh my God, his swollen face.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was horrific. It was and of course, Terrence Howard's like, man, I don't know about this shit. Like,
And he's
this
like,
isn't
he
the
has
way.
our fucking daughters.
Right.
What do you think we're going to do about this?
And he's like, ooh, I don't know. Like, I love my little girl, man, but this is a little bit.
He was
Because
like,
we don't.
yeah.
Because he's like, we don't
He
know
says
for a
that.
fact that this is even the guy
Yeah.
who did it.
Yeah.
You know, and so, but doesn't matter. Keller is activated.
Ooh, Keller. Dude, and he beats that kid within an inch of his life. He
Yes.
really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's like because Franklin tells his wife eventually, and she's like, "Well, I need to go see him."
And she's a veterinarian.
yeah.
So when she sees this, she's like, "Oh, I got to do something about this."
Well,
Well,
but
she
still,
follows along with Keller.
Her first instinct is to heal him.
Her first instinct is just like, oh God, man, this is fucked up.
What have you
but
done?
At
What
the
have
same
you done?
time,
Yeah.
what's done is done. We're already here.
Yeah,
I want to know where my little
you're in
girl
too
is.
deep at
and
this
then I was
point.
so mad at
So
this
put the
point because I
boots
was
to
like,
him.
I
It's
was like, do not show him a picture. I knew she was gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it, and she was just like, "Well, this is a picture of my little girl. His eyes are swollen shut. That dude,
Dude,
can't see
and,
shit."
and the one eye that he did have, he closed it. He didn't even look at the picture.
Yeah.
He
Uh-huh.
just closed
Yeah, he
it.
just closed
He
it.
sat
Yeah.
there and just curled up.
Yeah, he was just taking it, dude.
And then since he wasn't given any information, Keller decided to board him up in a shower.
yeah, because they can't beat him anymore, or else he'll die.
And rig the shower to only spray out boiling hot water
Or
Or
freezing.
or freezing cold water.
yeah.
And he would alternate it on this kid with a pipe in the wall that he could talk to him
Talk
through.
to, yeah. Who knows if he was even feeding the kid?
No,
You
I'm going
know.
to say no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, so for days he tortures this fucking kid. While the whole time Loki is kind of
he's trying to crack the case.
He's trying to crack the case.
Yeah.
Loki ends up going to a vigil that was held for Anna and Joy, and there is a person that arrives at that vigil. Polka Dot Man arrives, and he's like kind of caressing the face of a little teddy bear, and he sees the guy doing it. And the guy looks up and sees him,
and then he immediately gets
like,
oh shit, I've been caught.
His character's name is Bob Taylor. So Bob sees him, and Bob's just like, oh shit, and starts trying to walk away, whatever. Loki starts following him. Bob starts running, and ends up catching up to him. Boom! All of a sudden, he chases him all the way down to his house. Ends up finding out that Bob had been going. Wait, no, he didn't catch him yet.
Yeah, because he went to the thrift store. He went to the thrift store, and it turns out that Bob had been buying children's clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then he ends up actually after that whole exchange, he ends up going to investigate Keller because he finds out that Keller's father committed suicide in this house, in the same house because he saw Keller going to the liquor store.
Yeah.
And Keller was walking down this road, and once Keller saw that he was being followed, which I don't know why, homeboy just sat there in the middle of the road while the dump truck was behind him, blowing his horn, and he knows that Keller's.
He hadn't slept.
I really
got to give a lot to Loki's folly in that you can tell that he's really at his breaking point.
Right.
Yeah. The whole time.
Right. So there's a lot of little things that I think Loki fucks up.
Right.
Because he's not all there.
He's not all there.
He's trying as hard as he can just to stay awake.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's like
Keller
Insomnia.
saw
You ever
him.
seen Insomnia?
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Keller saw him and ends up going to the liquor store, buying a bottle of liquor, and walking up to him and fabricating the story that
I've just been drinking my life away because what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Exactly. And why haven't you found my daughter yet?
And his wife's at home on sleeping pills all the time.
Yeah. She immediately starts just pounding sleeping pills and staying in bed the whole time. She also blames Keller for the disappearance of Anna. She's like, you said you were going to protect us. You made us feel safe.
That's such a fucked up.
It's a fucked. Yeah, it's super fucked.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. It's just
dude.
I
that's some tough grief, though, dude.
That's tough grief right there.
She feels helpless and makes him feel very, very helpless in the process. So he's got to do something, which is why he just goes and beats the fuck out of.
He's got to put his anger somewhere,
right?
You know,
he's got a lot
at
of
a certain point, and I think he even realizes it.
Alex. His name is Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. Isn't that funny?
Enough. But
I know Bob Taylor. I find that hilarious.
Oh, you know Bob Taylor?
I do.
At some point, Keller actually realizes that he's not really doing this to this kid to really find his daughter. He is on some level, but on the majority of it is just he needs somewhere to put this anger.
Yeah, he's got to put his anger.
He needs somewhere to point this. He needs somebody to point this at, and he's just the right candidate right now.
And it's at this point where Keller realizes, well, maybe I need to dig a little bit deeper into this, and he goes to Alex Jones's aunt's house. And that's when he goes to offer his services. Hey, I'm sorry, things got a little weird the other day. Would you like it if I can help you out?
I thought that's further. That's way towards the end of the movie.
That's not that much further down the line.
That's further down the line.
When he came to the conclusion that he was done beating the fuck out of this kid.
No. We haven't gotten to Loki actually finding Alex, because Loki found Alex. Loki found Alex's home and found a whole bunch of these containers that were locked shut.
No, not Alex, the other guy. That's the other guy's home.
Or Bob.
Yeah,
he went
Bob's
to Bob.
home.
Yeah, he found while he's okay. So Loki ended up after trying to track down Keller Dover. Keller plays the whole shit off. Loki goes and does some research, finds out that Keller's father killed himself in that property that was on that same street that Keller was walking down before he doubled back and went to the liquor store. And so he goes back to that place. At that time, Keller's actually in there torturing Bob.
And
Loki's trying to break in. That was the worst, man, because he immediately starts pulling this board off of a boarded up window. Instead of checking the perimeter, I'm sure there was probably another way you could have gotten in, kiddo.
Seriously.
But so while he's trying to break in, Keller hears him, and Keller goes and lays down on the ground with a bottle and acts like he was just passed out drunk. And so Loki's like, okay, well, get up, take me on a tour. And so he starts walking him around, and of course, Loki's got them instincts, And so he ends up getting closer and closer and closer to where Bob is now.
To where Alex is. Yeah.
And Alex had been threatened by Keller, like, if you make another noise, I'll fucking kill you. I'll turn this pipe on full blast. Just know that. And so, Alex wasn't making a sound, which was amazing. But while he's looking around, right before he was about to approach the little closet that Alex was in, his phone rings, and it's the owner of that the little shop that Bob had been buying all the little girls' clothes.
I mean, I guess it's a thrift store, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And so she's like, he just came back, bought some more shit, and I got the license plate for it. And so then
tracks
Loki's
down his
like,
house.
I know where this fucker lives.
Right.
Goes to see him, finds out he has all these little containers that are full of little girls' clothes and snakes, and they're covered in blood.
And then the secondary thing is the mazes.
Yes.
Mazes. Because there's a point that we skipped over for a bit, which is
the father.
Right.
Yes.
Well, so Loki knew this priest that was on a watch list because he had sex offended, I guess.
Offender,
yeah. And so he was on this list, and he would check in with this guy occasionally.
Yeah.
Well, he goes into this guy's house.
That's what he was going to do to try to find Anna, is check out all the local sex offenders.
Exactly,
sex
yeah. And this is the only one that we actually see because, I mean, I imagine that's the only one that actually has important.
Pushes the plot.
Yeah, it's right. Pushes the plot, yeah. But when he finally, checks out the whole house, in the basement, there's a dead guy.
The father was passed out drunk on the floor.
So
when he first, he's knocking on the door, he looks through the window, and the father is on the floor. He looks dead as fuck.
Yeah.
But he goes in, and there are just liquor bottles everywhere, and he's snoring, just passed out.
And he's like,
he's like, hey, you mind if I look around? To the passed out priest, whatever. So he starts looking around, and he can see that his refrigerator had been slid. This is video game logic 101, right?
Seriously, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you see the fridge in its position, but there's like a clean path, clean drag path right there. So he slides it back. It turns out to be a hidden room. He goes into that hidden room. There's a desiccated body down there.
Yeah.
And he's got a necklace with a little maze on it. Whatever the fuck.
And it doesn't seem like it's any kind of essential thing at that point in time.
Right.
But then when he's in this
or maybe
house,
father's been kidnapping people and killing them.
Right.
We don't know that.
We
It's all
really
about
don't
just
know,
kind of subverting your expectation. Yeah.
I think he said something. What the father said something along the lines of like that he was trying to help the guy out.
Yeah, the guy came to him and said that he had killed 13 children
Yeah.
and that he would kill again.
Yeah.
And so because they take the father into custody and they're just like, okay, well, who is this guy? What the fuck did you do? Where are the girls? And he's just like, I don't know. This guy just said that he'll kill again. And so he asked me to, I guess, kill him or contain him or do whatever it was.
Yeah.
But he told me that he would continue to kill, so I did what was right in the eyes of God, and that's just what it is. So we also have the father as a suspect at this point.
Absolutely.
So now we've got 3 suspects.
Yeah.
Okay. So now,
So back to Snake Man. So Bob has all these bins of bloody children's clothes with snakes in them. Yeah, and they're all locked up. And so
there's
Loki's
one that has a book that says, if you can solve all the mazes, I'll let you go home.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then
There's a lot of little pieces. Talking about this movie is weird because it's kind of convoluted.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a lot. It is a maze.
But
That's the
yeah,
thing. That's why
right.
the maze is such a prevalent point here, because
Yeah.
the
Right.
movie is a maze itself. And so then they take pictures of all of the garments that are in all of these boxes, and they start showing them to the parents.
Yes.
And
We'll
it
see if
turns
they
out
can
that
confirm,
they identify one
Any
of
these
Joy's
items
articles.
They
and one of
identified
Anna's socks.
No, they identified 2 of Joy's articles and 1 of Anna's socks.
And one of Anna's
Because
socks.
once
Yeah.
they bring the Birches in first, and they see a couple of articles of clothing covered in blood. They freak out when they walk out. Keller's there because he's going to go in next to see if he can find any of Anna's personal effects. But his wife's not there. But when the Birches come out, they walk right past Keller.
They
Keller
don't even fucking
they
talk
don't
to
even
him,
look
dude.
at him.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't even look at him because they're like, you've been holding this person, and they both know that he's got this dude that he's been torturing this whole time, when this other guy is clearly responsible for the disappearance of Joy and Anna.
Yeah. Or
now
at least
whether
it seems so.
it seems so, but for them that's confirmation, because
That's
that's more
confirmation
information
enough,
that they've ever had.
Yeah.
So it's like that's cracking the case to them, while Keller's just like they're in cahoots.
This
You know
is
what
an
I'm saying?
interesting point in the movie too, because everybody thinks that they're right,
Yeah.
but they're all looking in different directions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling.
So
But
at that point, I think that's about when what I was saying happened, where Keller goes to Alex's aunt's house.
Yeah, because that's when he goes. Well, he goes to go and torture Alex somewhere after he finds that one of the pictures was Anna's socks. He goes and tortures. No. At that point, Bob is in custody.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah,
they're in the interrogation room.
And that's when Loki gets tough on
Loki
him.
gets
out,
he's sitting there watching Bob, and Bob is spending all of his time drawing these mazes.
Yep.
He's drawing these mazes, and he's saying he told he told Loki that he was drawing a map to get to the kids. Like, this is going to be a map to get to the children, but he was drawing these mazes. Now, one of the forensics analysts was like, "Oh yeah, that was the last maze in this book, and it's unsolvable."
Right.
And that's what he's drawing. Loki freaks the fuck out, goes into the interrogation room, pushes him up against a wall, and starts trying to fight him and or intimidate him. Other cops come in, draw Loki off of Bob,
and in that exchange, Bob pulls the gun out
because he shouldn't have gone in there with a motherfucking gun.
So then everybody's pointing guns at him, and then Bob
blows his head out,
Yeah.
right? And so all of a sudden, there's one suspect who knows everything. Gone.
Yeah.
Gone, right? Come to find out that Bob was also abused, and all of those little girls' clothes were just covered in pig's blood.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it's like he was
wasn't even human
reenacting some
he was
things
just
that he had seen
pretending.
before.
Yeah.
Right,
He was just
it's like almost like he was just reliving these
like
moments.
that's
and
his
things
trauma stuck in that moment. So
Yeah.
he just constantly did it over and over again.
Yeah, so at that point, once Keller finds out, he's just like, fuck, that was our only lead, and now he's dead, so I've got to go and talk to Alex, because Alex has got to know something. And then Alex ends up finally cracking and being like, because Keller's like, I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
And Alex is like, well, I just wanted to play games, And he's like, wait, what? He's like, I just wanted to play games. And that's the point at which he's just like, okay, this motherfucker knew something about something, so he goes to visit his aunt. He had gone to the aunt's house before, and the aunt was just like, oh no, it's like, my husband passed away long ago, and Alex was always just kind of a quiet kid, and he
and
never
they
really
adopted
said
him
much.
when he was, however,
and so he's adopted, and all this kind of shit. But he shows up like with his hammer right there in front, and he's just like, I'm here to do some work on the house for you,
dude. No,
you were
he approaches very wrong.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, like, even the first time I watched this movie, when you see the aunt come to the door and she's
covered,
got
her hands
got,
are wrapped
I was
up.
like, she's got a gun.
Oh yeah,
I was
she's
immediately like, no.
She's like, oh, I hurt my hand, whatever the fuck. And he
Burned
walks
it,
in,
something.
and he's just like looking at her hard,
Dude, he's
And
like,
so-
don't make me be Wolverine.
Exactly. I can't wait to get redemption for Logan. And then, of course, she ends up turning the tables on him, pulling a gun on him, and she's like, motherfucker, okay, you gotta back away from all your shit.
Yeah.
She gives him some psychotropics.
That lean.
She give him that lean. She's like, chug it.
It's like a bunch of LSD and other stuff, and just
Yeah,
She's like, you don't have to drink the whole bottle. About a third of it probably
would
do good.
He drinks a lot of it, and I mean,
She's
the
like,
shit
a
might have been
little bit
delicious.
more.
She's like, wasn't that good?
Yeah.
She's like, okay, chug a little bit more, whatever. It'll make you more manageable.
And then asked him to get into a car that we've
well,
seen so many times up to this point. They keep showing you this fucking car.
Yeah, she was like, if you don't, the thing is, she was like, if you don't do these things, then I'll have your daughter come down here and mop your brains up off the floor.
Yeah.
So she admits to having his daughter, but she has him dead to rights.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so she makes him move the car up a
The
car
Trans
length.
Am.
The Trans Am, that's right, with the busted ass wheels. And then
There's a trap door underneath
so
it.
she shoots him in the fucking knee and pushes him into a hole.
like she makes him open up the trap door.
Yeah.
And this is one of those moments where you're just like, you can hear the people in the crowd like, no, don't do it. You can hear him because he opens the trap door. There's a giant hole in the ground, and he starts looking into the hole. And I'm like, oh, she's just gonna kick him in the back.
Yeah.
No, that's not what happens. She lets him look down there, and then she's like, now get in. And he's like, I'm not getting in there. And she's like, get in there. Dead to rights, get in there.
Yeah.
He's like, you're gonna have to shoot me. And she said,
All
Boom.
right.
have you ever seen Harlem Nights?
Oh yeah.
Remember that shit?
Yeah, totally.
That was the same thing.
Wow,
He was like, I'm gonna shoot
yeah.
off your pinky toe. She's
Yeah.
like, do it, motherfucker. You ain't gonna do shit.
Boom, yeah.
Blam.
Yeah.
Like, ooh. That's the sound she made. She said, ooh. And so so she kicks him down in the
Harlem
hole,
Nights,
and he finds the little red whistle down there, and then she covers him up. End of Saw, game over style.
Yeah.
Parks the car back on top of it. Now we're moving forward.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So after that, what happened next?
Loki eventually comes to her house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Or
yeah.
something. Or he actually goes back and he finds Alex. Which leads him back to
Barry. He leads
there. Yeah.
Yeah, it leads him back to another. It comes to be that Alex was actually a kidnapping victim himself.
Right.
Yeah,
So
he
it
was
turns
actually-
out that both Alex and
Bob.
and Bob were both kind of in the same situation.
Well,
they were
guy-
kidnapped as kids. They had this thing.
The
and
guy that was dead in the father's basement, that was her husband.
And Joy had escaped.
and
Joy
yeah, that's right.
They
And Joy
found
escaped,
Joy.
yeah.
Joy escaped.
Not Anna.
Yeah,
just
Anna.
Joy.
They found Joy.
Mhm.
And Joy, when they go to the hospital to see her, the Birches are all there. Keller shows up with his wife, who's completely lucid, by the way, which is very odd to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they all
that's
start
that's
pressing this girl. This girl's like knocked out, and they're just
Yeah.
like, "Where's Anna? Where's Anna? Joy, where's Anna?" That was like they said Anna. They said Joy 5 of the, I think it's 11 times that they ever said her name in the movie.
Oh, Dave, you took notes on this.
Did.
Yeah,
It was
this,
getting
this
me,
is
man.
fucked up, man.
They said it 6 times in that one scene. They said it 8 times over the course of the entire movie. 6 of them were in that one scene. Crazy shit. Anyway, and so
crazy.
I was mad, man. I was mad.
Nobody cares about Joy. Come on.
They never do. They never do. This happens all the time in society.
Seriously.
It's real, man. It's real. But yeah, so they end up pressing the girl, and she wakes up a little bit, and she's like, she tells Keller that you were there. Now here's a plot hole, because she was like, you were there. It put tape over our mouths, right? And so Keller, at that point, the story makes you think that maybe he's involved in some way, because I mean the whole movie, the way that it's shot, really adds a layer of doubt to everything.
Everything.
To
Yeah.
everything. Like you never feel confident.
You feel
that-
like Loki.
Yes,
throughout
right.
this movie.
Yeah, you feel tired.
Yeah.
and so it's like you feel like you ain't got sleeping days. And so
Seriously.
it is. It's like, wow, this whole thing could be in Keller's head. Keller could be the actual villain. That's easy. You know what I'm saying? He's going all falling down over here. And so who really knows? He's going Michael Douglas on that ass. And so who really knows what the actual situation is?
Yeah.
But Joy ends up saying like, okay, well, here's the situation. And so Keller, while he's trying to chase down, Loki, while he's trying to chase down Keller, actually, at that point, Keller goes to see the aunt, puts him underground. Loki finds out about Bob's kidnapping.
Right, and this is when he has the freak out at his desk.
And that
this is when
Alex-
he's sitting at his desk, and
Oh,
he's sitting there, and he
yeah.
starts bashing his fucking computer and starts
Uh-huh.
knocking everything over, and then he knocks all the photos over.
Uh-huh,
And on the
that
ground,
maze-
he sees the maze pendant that we see at the beginning of the movie with
In
the
the
guy,
father's-
and that's
yeah,
where
basement.
everything clicks to him, and he's like,
which is asinine. Like he should have remembered that because that was the only.
I still got to give
that
it to
was
him.
the only detail.
That was the only detail,
of
right?
that
Right,
corpse
right.
was
That's that Pavlov's gun, though, right?
Right, yeah.
yeah. They got to show you show the gun, right? You
Right.
show the object, but it was obvious that was a point,
Right,
that
because
was
he found
a
out
point
who
of
that
interest.
guy
Yeah.
was. He found out that it
Yeah.
was a guy who had been kidnapping kids and killing people, and he kind of had a little cult situation going on.
And he's
kind of.
what's her name's husband that
the
died.
aunt's husband,
Right.
the aunt that was
Alex's
aunt.
Yeah.
And so he goes to visit her. Now this is after she put Keller in the ground. So when he goes to visit her, she's standing over Anna, and she's like injecting her with more drugs to keep her sedated. And he shows up and he's got her at gunpoint. He's like, get away from the little girl. She's already pumped her full of drugs.
she already did it.
And she
didn't
stands up,
stop at
and
all.
she's like, the last thing I want you to do is like. What was her like last week? She basically.
What did she say? Yeah.
I forgot what she said, but she knew she was gonna get shot. Like
She
this
knew
was
it.
a
She-
killer
she
be
knew
killed
she was
moment.
dead.
She was gonna
Yeah.
turn around and try to shoot him, and whoever shot first is gonna win, right?
she grazed him?
She grazed his head. Because I don't know why he didn't lower himself.
I know, man, come
or,
on.
or tuck around the wall. I
Yeah.
don't know. He just stood there and just goes blam.
Yeah.
So he shoots her dead. All right.
Why did he
Ends
let
up-
her turn around? I would have just,
I don't.
burn
her down, man.
Yeah, do
I
it.
don't, he
Burn
was
her
tired.
down.
He was tired. I
He was
guess
tired.
He sleep-
I gotta give it
And
give it
so-
to that the whole movie. You could tell this man is breaking.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
so he ends up, getting Anna, who is at this point, pumped full of drugs, putting her in the backseat of the car,
Overdosing.
overdose. Yeah, she's
Overdose.
foaming in the
Fuck,
mouth. I've seen that
dude.
happen to people,
Dude,
man. That
and,
was
and
very
it's
believable.
snowing, and he's got this girl, and he's going fucking
And he's
more than
you
100
can
miles
tell,
an
dude,
hour
he
through
is
curvy
so
roads.
tired.
Dude, not only is he tired, he's losing blood. He's
losing blood.
passing out.
Yeah,
he
he
can't
is
see because of the
passing
thing.
out, yeah.
People
Yeah.
aren't moving out
He's
of his
got blood
fucking
in
way.
his eyes. You
People
can't
aren't
see.
moving out of the way.
Right.
Like,
Well, he didn't have sirens. He had lights.
He had lights. He didn't
man,
have
why didn't he
sirens.
have the sirens
That's
on,
man.
dude?
Like I said, I got notes.
This-
There's a lot, man. But so he gets her to the hospital. Come to find out, the aunt and her husband, who the priest had get killed
Connection,
or whatever, whatever. But they had been kidnapping kids for like 30 years.
Right.
And so Bob Taylor was one of those,
and making
Alex
their own
was
acid
one of those,
too.
exactly, making their own, feeding the kids psychotropic drugs, whatever. And so that's just what they did. They just stole kids and would just hold on to them, you know. And so, Alex ended up reunited with his family, which I don't know what you're gonna do with that by this point, but okay. And Keller is still underground. So they end up going to Loki ends up going to the aunt's house. They're trying to excavate a lot of the grounds.
They're digging everything up.
Yeah,
digging
they're
as
trying
much
to
up as
find
possible.
bodies. Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, look, it's frozen out here. We're not going to be able to dig until it
go.
thaws out. We got to go home. And you know, Loki's
Everybody
walking around
leaves,
just like,
but
okay,
Loki's
I
still
guess.
there.
And then you hear a whistle.
You hear the whistle.
And that's the end of the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, I will say this: another detail is that they were specifically talking about Keller earlier, and they were
his
talking
wife
about
was like he hasn't contacted me. I know you think that he's contacted me, but he hasn't contacted me. And what happens if you do find him? He'll just go to jail. Like what?
He's like, yeah, probably.
Right.
Yeah, probably,
you know?
because I mean, he did torture a kid.
He tortured a kid.
Yeah. So it's like.
And ultimately, probably halted the investigation.
He probably fucked up what was going on. They could have, because part of what he was, which I mean, it's funny because Keller even brings this up.
Yeah.
But Keller even brings this up to Loki. How he's like, "You've been wasting time following me around." Well, because you've been doing crazy shit, dude.
But I mean, it goes to, you know, in theory, if they would have had like Alex and Bob together, then a correlation between the two could have been found out, and it could have been discovered that like, oh shit, well, all signs really point to this aunt. And
so there's so many collapsing points here. There's the collapse of Keller as an individual that kind of sullies a bunch of what's happening.
Right.
There's the ineffective nature of the police force,
right?
You know, being tied to what they can do legally and what they can afford to actually do to help the situation.
Especially considering that the police force was really kind of reluctant to do anything.
You know,
yeah,
they were like, well,
Loki,
you know, 2 days,
right?
You know,
it's like, man, it's time to go on break,
right?
You know, and so
I mean,
Loki's
really,
like,
after
no!
48 hours, they stopped fucking looking.
That's real.
That's real,
yeah,
dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
dude, it's all about money and manpower.
You
know,
God,
man.
And so, so they roll credits. So you never get to see what happens after they find Keller, because
and I feel mixed about that one.
I do too,
because I in my head I'm like, damn it, well, come on, they could have just had a little bit more, you know, putting you in this space. But then I'm also like, what the fuck could have happened to make this situation, to make this movie better, is what I'm saying. At the end there, what possibly could they have done with Keller's character to make anything different from what you already know?
They needed to explain what the fuck Joy was talking about when she said he was there. That's
he was in the house. He came into the house when the kids were there.
So she was saying like you.
They both had tape over their mouths in the other room when he was talking to the aunt.
That makes more
That's
sense.
all that is.
I was sitting
That's
there
all
thinking
that
that she was trying to say that he was involved.
No.
Thank you.
He just happened to walk in,
right?
And they heard him, but because they were drugged and taped up, they couldn't fucking.
Yeah, because Joy wasn't actually passed out.
Yes, Joy was awake. Yeah, but Anna was knocked out.
Oh boy, yeah.
You know, I think, and that might be a dosing issue thing. You know,
right?
I mean, like you know, Anna being a couple years younger maybe took it harder, and then Joy was actually able to remain cognizant enough to not only hear that, but then also get away at the certain point. You know, what I mean? Like.
Because she got out of there pretty easily.
Dude, she ran the fuck off.
Yeah.
She saw an opportunity and took that shit.
And it's like, honestly, she was right down the street from her house, right?
Dude,
you know what I'm saying? Like, this wasn't very far
and that's another
away.
thing that's really fucked up, right? Is that all of those I hate this movie.
Everybody thinks their neighborhoods are safe.
Right, and I hate this movie because of those things, because there are too many real things in this movie.
Right.
There are too many things that you're like,
sometimes you never know who your neighbors are, man.
Man. Yeah, it makes you distrust everyone.
Yeah.
This is the kind of
They've
film
been doing
where
that
you
shit
start
for 30
looking
years. 30
Dude.
years, dude, that's crazy. You know, but I do really believe, like the reason that the movie is called Prisoners is because everyone's a prisoner of something, right?
Yes.
Right.
So you've got Keller, who's a prisoner of rage. I wrote all this shit down. You know, Terrence Howard, prisoner of guilt.
Yeah.
His wife is a prisoner of grief.
Yep.
Grace is a prisoner of blame and denial.
Yep.
You know, Loki, he's a prisoner to his duty.
Yeah.
You know,
wow,
older kids are prisoners to their parents.
The priest
You know
is a prisoner to his faith.
To his faith, absolutely. Like everybody in the movie is a prisoner of
some
something.
kind.
It's almost like Requiem in the way that Requiem is really about addiction and the different forms of addiction.
Here's
it's
all
like,
of these different types of the same thing. It's a faceted jewel, right?
Yes.
It's
yeah, you know.
Wow.
You know, but
and they're all trapped in the maze.
And they're all trapped in the maze. Everyone's trapped in the maze.
And there's
no way out. There's no way out. And so, but all of that to say, man, I think that movie was kind of trash.
Whoa.
I think that it was well acted. I think that like it's like one of those movies that's like taken scene by scene on a scene by scene basis is very, very strong. But tying them all together to me felt kind of silly. Because there were a lot of things like Loki shouldn't have gone in that room with a gun. That is heavily forbidden.
He made a lot of mistakes. He made a lot of mistakes.
Everybody made a lot of mistakes in this show. You know, like,
but I don't think
like
the
when he made him drive that Trans Am,
you know what I'm
and
saying?
he's like handcuffed and shit.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, that would not have been.
Nah, man, you gotta have one of them little bitty steering wheels to do
for
that.
Real.
You know,
yeah,
you gotta
dude,
have that.
And I mean, a Trans fucking Am, dude. That's a giant ass transmission.
That
ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the whole shooting of the aunt thing, that was problematic. The whole him trying to break into the like, there are all these little things where I'm like, damn, if you would have just taken a little bit more care, then I think you would have made this a bit more believable overall. It's like you're doing so much right that the things that you're doing wrong become very, very glaring. You know, and so it became just difficult for me.
It's the uncanny valley of story.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then. Yeah. I mean, Anna was a donkey. And then how about you remember when Terrence Howard was brought out his trumpet?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm gonna play a song. What are we gonna play?
Let's
and
take
she was
requests.
like, yeah, for real. And Grace says that Keller, he's like, oh, he loves the Star Spangled Banner. He sings it in the shower all the time. I started thinking about that, just the concept of it. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine living with somebody?
This thing's
who
a
sings
motherfucking
the
Star Spangled Banner
in the shower at the top. At the top of their lungs, you know, the land of the free. Like, I'd be like, get out of my house.
Every day, I'd just be disappointed.
Dude.
This fucking guy.
I prefer if you sang the David and the Gnome theme song. I'd be like, all right, I'm with you. You know, Star Spangled Banner. I was like, that's just fucking weird, man. That's just fucking.
Well,
weird.
they were trying to push the idea that he's, you know, the American
survivalist patriot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I mean, they also continue to hint about his prepper kind of mentality.
Yeah, because he told him to stay out of the basement.
Right.
And the basement's nothing but weapons
and
food and lie
rations
and rations. Yeah,
propane tanks.
Yeah, because his father used to be a cop, and his father was always like, and he was in the army as well. His father was like, you know, expect the best, but prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
So in any situation, be ready for the worst thing that could possibly happen.
Yeah.
Right. And he pushed a lot of that onto his son, who felt abandoned. You know, because Keller's out here whooping.
And he's a paranoid individual.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really what they're trying to push more than anything with Keller. He's paranoid, and then Terrence Howard's character is. Well, weak, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's kind of spineless.
Right.
He goes along with whatever
his wife
or Keller
and
or
if
whoever
it was Viola Davis and I was married to her,
yeah, you'd be like, yes,
whatever
ma'am.
You want.
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
Whatever you want.
when he showed up at, I guess that was after, in the hospital as well.
Yeah.
Pardon me, but whenever she's on the scene and he's on the scene, he always just sits down.
Dude, he did.
You know,
He just sit down and shut the fuck
he just
up.
Sits
Yep.
down and shuts up.
It's he did. Good dog.
You know, for real. And I'm like, Terrence Howard, it's hard out here for a pimp. Man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I know.
You know,
Really.
we're talking about some hustle and flow.
Man.
And so no, man, there was just.
Well, so did you not enjoy it, or did you just find these things stupid?
I ultimately enjoyed it because, like I said, there were some very powerful performances, man.
And the overall tone of the film is great, and the way that it's shot technically is great, and like all these other things.
It's just,
well,
I feel like
Villeneuve is a great director.
Oh, amazing!
You know?
I just feel like the glue was weak. That's the only thing.
I can
like,
see,
I feel like a lot
the
of
way
the
things pieced together, I ultimately think it's too damn long.
It is. When I first saw 2.5 hours, I was like, God damn it, man.
I think they could have. I think they could have streamlined it a little bit and made it a more satisfying watch. But at the same time, I can't really even think of very much that they could have taken.
They needed the
because
time
they needed
for tension.
They needed it to build like that, right?
Right.
I see. I think as a psychological thriller, it very much does what it's set out to do.
Oh,
right.
absolutely.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And if I'm
it's
looking
like
at
nobody's
it as
right.
Right, nobody's right, and I love that part
Nobody's
about it, right? Because
Yeah.
I think that them constantly, you know, fucking up. That's really the only way to put it.
Yeah.
Is the point.
It's
right.
red herring.
Because if Grace hadn't,
Yes.
if Grace
Yeah.
hadn't
Red
have
herring's the
been
movie.
the same way, if she hadn't been that way towards Keller, Keller probably wouldn't have gone off a deep end that bad.
And that's what it was.
You know?
It's a domino effect, right?
Exactly.
He broke as soon as he heard her say, "Why haven't you brought her back
Yeah,
yet?
like you haven't protected us.
You
You
haven't
lied.
done
This is
anything."
all on you.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh.
and it's just like,
And it
oh.
breaks him.
Yeah, and he
doesn't
goes to
know
his
what
son.
to
He's like,
do.
"You have to be a man. You know, you've got to stand up
Yeah.
and protect this family."
Uh-huh.
While his son is like, "No, man,
Yeah.
I'm not ready for this shit.
I'm not trying to be you, dude.
Yeah, man. And so it's
Yeah.
like he's pushed into his prison.
Well, because to parallel what you're saying about this movie having these moments and seeing the glue and looking at it as an entirety and being like, well, this is kind of dumb if you think about it like this. That's how I feel about Interstellar.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Interstellar is a fucking brilliant movie,
Uh-huh.
and I think like it does so many things in so many directions. You know, I even love Mumbles over there.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
I love that shit. You can't understand half what he's like. Oh, TARS, we're going to black hole TARS. But you know, and when that movie came out, I fell in love with it. And
Right.
recently we watched it. And that was like a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we watched it and we talked about it, and I realized, oh shit, Interstellar's a dumb movie.
It kind of, yeah.
Oh.
When you really start picking
it
it apart
doesn't-
and you get past how good it actually looks, like it's
kind
a
of fucking
dumb
dumb.
movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of a
Yeah,
dumb movie.
so it being dumb in those parts, I guess, doesn't diminish my enjoyment of the film. You know what I
Right.
mean? But it is not 7.
No.
You know what I mean? Like 7 plays a lot of the same tonality, I think, to Prisoners. I think they have a very similar thing going on. I mean, to be honest, this movie has a Fincher vibe to it. It very
Yeah.
much
It
has a
does.
David
That's very
Fincher
true.
vibe.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is part of the reason I have a connection to it, because
Right.
that Fincher vibe is woo.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you're right. If you're looking at it from a bird's eye view and you see the whole map, you're going like,
Dude, the second I saw Anna climbing up on that motherfucking RV, I was just like, God
this
damn it.
no
Yeah.
shit, no
Like,
shit.
Yeah.
It's
dude.
well, it's like I said with the cloth, with the
Uh-huh.
ant. Like, man,
Like,
you
come
telling me
on,
he didn't
man.
look in and be like, what the fuck you
What
got
the
in your
fuck is
hand?
that?
What
Uh-huh.
you got in your hand?
Right.
You know?
He's just like, okay, I'm going to come in and do some handiwork.
Yeah.
And it's all going to go according to my plan. You know, and I guess by
Right.
that point, he's so psychologically broken, too.
He's
That's-
also
You know,
broken.
because
yeah.
he's not actually
These are
drinking
all
like
fucked
that.
up people.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like he's in there. It's so great. Like when, because at first I thought like, okay, he bought that bottle of liquor to kind of throw Loki off, right? And he starts chugging out of it, right? And I'm like, okay, so maybe he's gonna spiral because he's like, I don't drink anymore, you know? But no, he throws the bottle away. That's just
He
part
didn't
of the
want
plan.
it. That was
Yeah.
just his. That was just the shtick right
Yeah,
there. Yeah,
you
and
know?
which is solid. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
And man, isn't that a weird thing though? Is there's a lot of these little moments that seem genius in that moment,
Right.
But in full context, you see
Right.
where there's a
All the holes,
disconnection,
yeah.
right?
Right.
There's a
Yeah.
disconnection.
Exactly. Like you're so close. You're so close. But it still was very enjoyable to watch. I was like, man, this better not be one of those like, oh my God, it was actually Keller the whole time, or
Yeah,
you know, it was
yeah.
all in his head.
And
or
at some
he-
point, you kind of think it might start leaning that way.
right? you
But,
know.
I mean, obviously it doesn't. But,
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
You
but
got-
I did think
You guys
that
have
for a
both seen
second.
damn it, what's it called? The aliens that make the ink in the air.
Oh, Arrival.
Arrival. You've seen
Yeah.
the
I have
Arrival?
not seen the Arrival.
Okay, well that's gonna have to
They
be
make
on
the ink in the air. Interesting.
Just that doesn't ruin
Is it
too much,
Arrival?
so I'm
Right.
glad I didn't
Yeah.
say a whole lot. But yes, the Arrival. This is so. Okay, so Denis Villeneuve really has only done like 6 or 7 movies, right? So he did the 2 Sicario films, which are fucking
They're-
amazing.
I
great.
still need to watch that.
Whoa,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's Prisoners, The Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, and now Dune. Okay,
Now
that's
Dune, yeah.
all that I know that he's done.
Yeah.
Maybe he did something else, but as far as Hollywood films, that's all he's done, right? I think the Sicario movies have their own thing going on, and they're really,
Right.
really well done. And those are not dumb movies. Those are very, they
Yeah.
get their goddamn point across. You know what I mean? And plus Benicio
That's
del
Beni-
Toro,
yeah.
dude.
Right.
the,
He's
the,
the man.
the man. He's the
man.
motherfucking man.
Oh yeah.
Right, even as the Wolf Man, he was still the man.
Absolutely.
But I feel like to me the most Denis Villeneuve movies are actually The Arrival and Prisoners. Like I feel like they're more what he's got going on, because I don't think that he is a director that's as worried about the technical workings of the story in a way that's he likes a dream state. He likes taking you on a journey. He wants to go in this more ethereal vibe of what he's got this auteur thing, but he still has the backing of that AAA studio production thing.
He knows how to put you in that state of mind just from like his cinematography and and a lot of that would be the people that he works with, his cinematographers, fucking editors. It's not just him that
he's got a good team, dude.
These movies, he's got a great team behind him, and he just knows how to put you in that state of mind. Yeah. And it's not that but he can still tell a very compelling story.
Right. So although he might have plot holes, I think the feeling of the film is so.
You're right.
It's because that's all this movie is about. It's that feeling it conveys to you.
But then they convey these ideas within the characters themselves. Like Loki is so brilliant and on it. But he also didn't notice that pendant. He also he went over and looked at the Trans Am. That's the first thing that he did when he went to the aunt's house. And she's like,
that's my husband's car.
It's for sale if you want it, like whatever, and doesn't even think anything else about it.
Which I think that's, again, it's like he was saying, it's red herrings the movie. They're constantly giving you these breadcrumbs and being like, there's so many breadcrumbs.
They give you 3 slices of bread in a bag.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying? There's like, here's what it is.
Yeah.
But here's some other crumbs to lead you away from the
Exactly.
Yeah. And so it is. It's very subversive.
Man, you know what we should watch? Spiral.
Heard that.
You know that, guys? We should watch Spiral.
Heard that. Huh.
Chris Rock was so about that script that he volunteered. Like, he was like, I've always wanted to make a fucking Saw movie. I have these ideas about this, and he helped actually write something.
I'm curious about it, man, because I've
heard good things about that movie.
He was amazing in that last season of Fargo.
Oh yes, I haven't seen that either,
him
dude.
Into a more,
man, him as a
serious
serious role is actually fucking good.
Yeah, it's frightening.
It's like when you hear Chris Rock just calm down and start talking, you're like,
it's
you're
way
not
better.
just a silly bastard
Dude,
all the time.
I saw Chris Rock live one time and I couldn't stand it.
Yeah, because he's playing that character, right?
And
he's almost got
his voice. I'm like, God, man, please stop. I don't need it. I get the jokes. I know what you're gonna say.
Exactly.
But when he is like serious,
you're like, oh my God, you're a brilliant dude. You're a fucking brilliant dude.
He's almost scary, man. Yeah. So, not to hate on Chris Rock, but
no.
Still just
it's I feel you, man. It's not exactly hating on Chris Rock. It's more just being like his shtick is played.
And I was in an elevated state of consciousness at that point in time, anyway. So every sound that I heard kind of echoed and reverberated, and I was just like, "That's not the one that I needed."
This is
I was just leaving from seeing MIA live.
Yeah. Oh
and
wow.
So I had the them tribal beats in my heart, and then Chris Rock over here yelling at the top of his lungs. And I'm like, Jesus, man, no.
Yep.
I'm bopping right now.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute.
Yeah. He's harsh. He's harsh sounding.
Yeah. It's very abrasive.
Yeah,
very abrasive.
But no, as a psychological thriller, though, I think it hits all the marks that it needs to.
It does.
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie. It's really not a bad movie.
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah.
It's just once you start seeing those holes and then they keep coming, then it's just like why is this?
Yeah.
Why is this?
Yeah.
Why is this?
And I think I noticed those more this time that I watched it than the first 2 times. Because this is the 3rd time I've watched the movie.
Oh, wow.
The first time I watched it, I actually wasn't really paying that much attention. So like halfway through the movie, I kind of like woke up and was like, "What the fuck is?" And I watched through the rest of it, and then had to watch it a second time. And then when I watched it the second time, I was paying attention and really got into it and just loved this film. But this time, I did see a little bit more of those issues.
Right.
I did see what you were saying. I did start to actually judge the beat to beat story. So I get you. I totally get you.
Right. Because at the end of the day, Bob really had nothing to do with anything, right?
Poor
So
Bob.
Alex was really just trying to hang out with the girls.
Man,
and so when he said
Alex
that,
might have helped
when he
abduct
said
them,
that,
sure, but
well,
that doesn't mean that he because he brought them to the aunt.
Right. He wanted to let him ride in the RV.
He just wanted
that's the thing.
wanted
he
friends.
wanted to hang out with the girls, and then the aunt's like, "Okay, great."
Right.
And so that's why when he told him they only screamed when I left them. He wasn't saying it seemed menacing.
He didn't seem
but
like
it's
he was
just
rubbing
like
it in his face.
Well, at the time it
at
seemed
the
like
time.
it, but
It's
when
at
you
the time.
understand what was actually
What's
going
going
on,
on.
it's like, oh man, that's so fucking sad because he didn't want anything bad to happen to them. He was just there, and his aunt's like, okay, well, I'm taking these girls, you take the dog for a walk, and then he never came back. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry, he ended up getting arrested. So that's what happened. So he immediately gets arrested, and then when he gets out, he gets kidnapped, And so he gets set down this path when all he did was just take these little girls for a ride in his RV and try to be chill.
Man, this absolutely makes me want to see what he's like as the Riddler.
Yeah.
It really does. Paul Dano as the Riddler is crazy shit.
Well, I mean, y'all want to go tomorrow?
Yeah.
I mean, we can do it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Let's see if we can make a Batman happen.
Well, I might go with or without y'all, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I've got to know. I'm very curious.
Man, I've been wondering what's up with this fucking movie.
Yeah.
They keep calling it like 7, and I'm like,
that says a lot, man.
It's lofty. It's lofty.
You know?
Because seriously, I mean, I don't know if anybody can even argue this, but 7 is the best psychological thriller ever made. It just period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think between 7, I have a soft spot for God damn it, it's not called Vacancy.
Yeah.
Well, what's the one I'm talking about? The guy that's it's like God damn it, this person, not personality, Identity.
Identity.
Did you ever see Identity?
No, I've never seen Identity.
Identity
Okay.
is really, really good.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Identity?
No.
Okay. That's one we'll have to explore.
Okay.
But that one's up there. That one comes to mind. That and Shutter Island.
Shutter Island's real good.
You know, all of those.
See, I think Shutter Island's kind of dumb.
I mean, a lot of people did.
Dumb.
A lot of people did.
But I still enjoyed the movie
and
quite a
Shutter
lot. That's the
Island,
thing. I enjoyed it a lot.
I enjoyed Shutter Island the more I saw it. I saw
Okay.
it I've seen it maybe like 8 or 9 times, and the more I watch it, the more
I could
I'm
see
just
that.
like,
Yeah, it unfolds a little bit.
right
Huh?
when you
Okay.
understand what's actually going on,
Yeah.
and it's like, wow,
They've
man.
been setting this up
They've
since
been
the
setting
beginning.
it up the
Yeah.
whole fucking time,
I can see
and
that.
yeah, and so it's one of those that just stays with you.
So did
but
they
I
do
think
that
it's
with
too-
this film, do you think? Do you think they actually set up what the real plot was from the beginning?
I mean, I think that they did, and I think that due to some very smart editing and just shot for shot, they made some really smart decisions that just lead you to uncertainty.
Yeah.
You know, and which I think that, like you said, red herring the movie. That's the whole point of the movie is that you are just uncertain the whole ride, and every time you think you figured it out, there's another layer to that.
There's another wall and dead end for that maze.
Yes,
yes,
exactly.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think it comes together again. The only thing I can really lay into it about is I just think it's way too long.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Yeah.
That's what would keep me from watching it again.
Maybe my brain's a little fucked up on long movies, because when I think long movies, I love long movies first off, and second off, like, I don't think any movie is as long as the extended version of Dances with Wolves.
Oh yeah.
Which was already a slow ass 2.5 hour movie, so when it
Right.
became a 4-hour movie, you kind of want to scalp yourself watching the film.
Yeah.
It's yeah, okay. Like, but no, I tend to like long movies. I know that. You know, I like a drawn out situation. I like that kind of slow pacing to a film. You know, but I don't think this movie was particularly slow. It was just long.
It was just very, very long.
Yeah, because I think they keep a beat. You know what I mean? And they also
have a good pace.
You know,
They have a good pacing.
Yeah.
And again, like
if
I
they
said,
cut
even though I
anything,
think
it
if they cut
it would
anything,
kinda
it probably
yeah.
wouldn't work as well as it does.
it wouldn't
So,
make
I
as
mean,
much sense.
Yeah.
Right.
So again, it's just a criticism, because seriously, just watching it this time, because I had seen it before. Watching it this time, I was just nodding off.
Okay.
Well,
Like,
but
I
it
was
is
just
way better
getting
as
out.
far as beat for beat, as far as its length, than like The Empty Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
True.
ooh.
You know?
True.
Woo.
Yeah. Woo.
I mean, you get rewarded more frequently, even
Yeah.
if your reward is just
Man,
some
that
violence
that almost
or,
makes
or
me
something,
sad
yeah.
that you compared this to The Empty Man.
Well, I mean, if we're just talking about length of movies, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, I
that's
hear
another
you, man.
long ass movie that's like, wow,
Yeah.
I see where they could have cut a
Uh-huh.
lot. You know what I'm saying? Even though, once again, that extra time is for emotional buildup, is for tensional buildup.
Yeah.
You know, and so
yeah.
like I totally get it, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in general, I would say not only people should check this out. If you care about psychological thrillers at all, I think it's
worth a watch.
It's a
Yeah,
worth watch,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
But I'd also say go fucking watch everything Denis Villeneuve made.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
I hope you
He's
have
one
time.
of the greats.
It takes some time.
It takes some
definitely
time.
takes some Yeah.
But it's totally worth it.
He's my new modern favorite director. I'll
Yeah,
say that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Heard that.
I mean, he has surpassed Christopher Nolan in my eyes as far as
Oh yeah, I
know.
believe. I agree
Yeah.
with that fully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I really like Tenet. I don't care what anybody
I
said.
mean, it's all right.
I really liked that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it also is kind of dumb now, isn't it?
10 is real dumb.
It's kind of dumb. There's so many moments in that where you're like, who the fuck would do that shit? Right?
I mean, but it's cool to watch.
It's cool to watch.
Yeah.
It's a good time. Yeah, it's a good time.
So I guess final thoughts. Anything else that we need to add?
Well,
Yeah, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Do not
How about
drink
that?
the Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
don't.
That's how we should have started this whole thing.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Oh, there you go. I thought of your intro.
Down in
there we
a
go.
hole.
Yeah, down in a hole.
Down in a hole. Yeah.
Nah, I think we pretty much knocked it out, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Speaking of things being really fucking long, this
Yeah,
was
right.
a long one, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking around. Those of you that did,
We
thank
took
you
3.5
guys so much.
hours to talk about a 2.5-hour movie.
Right.
That's funny. That's funny.
But thank you guys for being in the chat. Thank you
Yes,
for the
thank you
new
for hanging out.
follows. We got a couple of new
Absolutely.
follows.
Absolutely. We got
here.
Big Demigod.
Yeah, thank you.
Who's right beneath that?
Moxie Locks.
Moxie
Locks.
Locks.
And
So
then
welcome to
I
the
Hate
squad.
Me More Than You.
Yeah.
Hey, I think
Shout
good
out.
one.
Name's
Yeah,
fucking great.
love
Shout
that.
out. All right. So thank you for joining us.
Thank
Yeah,
you guys
absolutely.
for joining. Check us out every week here on Twitch, and come back later tonight for our late cast. where
DNF
we're gonna
Duel.
throw some
DNF
fucking
Duel.
hands. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcast, and iTunes. Anywhere else you'd like to listen to podcasts.
Yep.
And we'll be seeing you next week
On the flip.
on the flip. Thank you
Hello.
and goodbye.